Don't want to face the founder of the Evil Sky Pavilion. How can we say retreat when the great cause is in front of us? Zuke Hall Chief Yang Yan continued. We must buy time for the sect leader. Yu Hongyi can't resist for long. The defensive restrictions on this third mountain are about to be broken. We can't retreat, Hua Zhongyang said in a deep voice. I repeat again, retreat. The sect leader is not here. I order you on behalf of the sect leader. The other three had to bow and take orders. Yes, sir. The four quickly stepped aside. Leng Luo and Pan Lishan looked at each other, and then looked at Lu Zhao, who was still indifferent. There were no fluctuations of aura on Lu Zhao's body, but the invisible aura was enough to make people fearful. 3 inches of ice are not formed in a day of cold weather. Thousands of years have tempered Lu Zhao, helping him to obtain this powerful aura. Lu Zhao just stood there looking into the distance. Hua Zhongyang, Bai Yuqing, Yang Yan, and Di Qing had respectfully retreated far to the side. Duan Musheng understood, and immediately controlled the flying chariot to fly towards the third mountain of the pure bright Tao. The foot of the mountain was full of trees that were as tall as the sky, and the cloud-piercing flying chariot nimbly passed through the mountains and forests like an eel swimming in the sea. Xiao Yanher quickly looked ahead. Master is over there, Leng Luo also continued. That's where the pure bright Tao imprisons prisoners. There are more than 1,000 restrictions there. No wonder the 4 great guardians of the underworld church were just buying time for Yu Zhenghai. With Yu Zhenghai's strength, it will take a while to break these more than 1,000 restrictions. Hearing this, Xiao Yanher jumped up and urged. Third senior brother, hurry, hurry, don't let senior brother escape. She pointed to the area where the body's ki had swept across before, where the trees were broken and the rubble was all over the ground. The cloud-piercing flying chariot didn't have much advantage flying in the forest. It had to constantly dodge the towering trees. When flying in the high sky, the flying chariot could exert its extreme speed. But under the low sky, it often couldn't fly fast. The roar of Mount Kui Bull rang out again. The sound became more and more distant. Xiao Yancher urged. Third senior brother, hurry up, he wants to run. Lu Zhao tapped his toes and jumped out of the cloud-piercing flying chariot. Seeing Master jump out, Xiao Yanher clapped her hands and said, Master is making a move himself. Senior brother can't escape this trip. Lu Zhao jumped out of the flying chariot, but had no intention of performing great divine magic. Bian had now appeared within sight, letting out a low growl. Bian's tail quickly wrapped around Lu Zhao's waist, then it carried Lu Zhao onto its back and sped forward. Bilan's speed was extremely fast, darting through the trees like lightning. In the blink of an eye, it descended to the area where the mystic heaven stellar beam had just appeared. Lu Zhao looked around. The surrounding trees still held traces of astral energy. Only the great mystic heaven palm could create such devastating power. Lu Zhao walked toward the prison. He saw an entrance beneath the cliff. The 2 pillars outside the entrance were damaged. One had fallen. It was still stained with traces of astral energy. There were obvious bloodstains on the ground. A battle had taken place here. Blocking the way forward were the pure bright Tao's thousands of layers of restrictions. The talismans surrounding the area looked like a spiderweb. There was a crackling sound on the restriction net, like electricity zapping. The extremely strong restrictions were constantly weakening, on the verge of dissipating. Where's Yu Zhenghai? Just then, a loud shout rang out. Hurry! The roar of Kui Niu echoed nearby. Lu Zhao turned his head and saw the figure of Kui Niu appearing between the trees. Its entire body was gray. It looked like an ox but without horns. It shimmered with light. The one sitting on Kui Niu's back must be that traitorous disciple. Lu Zhu didn't hesitate. He flicked his hand slightly, and the enhanced version of the binding cage card instantly flew out. Lu Zhu had never used the enhanced binding cage card before, but in the instant he cast it, he could feel that the energy fluctuations on it were completely different. The enhanced binding cage card had a much stronger energy source and was extremely fast, but its size wasn't as big as he'd imagined. Taoist incantation, binding curse. Lu Zhao was completely speechless. He couldn't understand why the enhanced version wasn't a cage as big as the sky, but instead looked like a Taoist binding curse. A large seal character for bind was written in seal script, with a rotating bagua-shaped golden seal around it. With a whoosh, it shot towards Kui Niu, carrying a majestic force of primeval energy. Chasing after Lu Zhao, he was sure that Yu Zhenghai wouldn't escape this time. Bian stepped on the clouds and rushed forward, chasing after the binding curse. Ahead was a steep cliff. The binding curse plunged straight into the cliff and disappeared without a trace. The disappearance of the curse meant it had successfully bound the target. There was no way that traitorous disciple could escape. Traitorous disciple escaped. Escaped? What? You can escape this old man's binding curse. Lu Zhao stood on Bian's back, looking around. Unfortunately, this time wasn't like the pursuit of Yan Ziyun. The curse's speed was too fast, it just flashed and disappeared. Fortunately, Bian had a good sense of smell. Yu Zhenghai should still be around here. Bian landed in the forest ahead, then quickly searched around. Just then, Lu Zhao heard the system notification. Zhang Ziyi, the traitorous disciple, has been punished. Reward, 300 merit points. Zhang Ziyi. This was the first time he'd heard this kind of notification, which also proved that the binding curse had definitely hit its target. Bian slowed down its pace. Its nose twitched, sniffing. Lu Zhao, sitting on its back, kept urging, sniff it out, quickly sniff him out for me. Bian, with its extremely keen sense of smell, was just like a hunting dog, constantly sniffing on the cliff to find its target. Occasionally, it would growl. If it spotted the target now, it would rush over. Without hesitation, Lu Zhao wasn't in a hurry, letting Bian do its thing. From the cliff, it sloped down into a forest. The trees in the forest were too dense, blocking most of the sunlight. Lu Zhao observed the situation in the forest but didn't notice anything unusual. Truly cunning! Bian continued to search, gradually increasing its speed. Lu Zhao saw some broken trees ahead, with traces of collision from a ferocious beast. The traitorous disciple must have passed through the fallen trees just now. Bian suddenly stopped under a big tree. Bian raised its head and roared. Lu Zhao also looked around. Next to the tree there was a torn piece of clothing. There were a few drops of blood on the clothes. Bian's sense of smell wouldn't be wrong. It stopped here, which meant the target was right here. It was still completely silent all around. Lu Zhao looked around for a moment, then shook his head slightly. Too bad, Yu Zhenghai escaped. Lu Zhao frowned slightly. That's absurd. He opened the system interface to look at the description of the enhanced binding cage card. It clearly stated that the probability of binding the target was 100%. Moreover, the system had issued the notification, traitorous disciple has been punished. With his cultivation sealed, how did Yu Zhenghai manage to control his mount, rush out of the forest, and flee? Lu Zhao jumped off Bian's back and went to the pile of clothes left behind. He bent down to check Yu Zhenghai's clothes. Lu Zhao still remembered Yu Zhenghai's measurements when he was cultivating on Golden Court Mountain. Lu Zhao stroked his beard and muttered, golden cicada shell or ash, a golden cicada shell escape. Even so, there was no way Yu Zhenghai could have left so quickly. Could it be that he, like Yan Ziyun III, used some kind of earth escape technique? Lu Zhao stopped Bian and jumped down. Lu Zhao raised his hand and shouted, quick! Follow the trail! Streaks of astral energy, like petals, scattered in all directions. These astral energy seals weren't offensive. They were a type of seal used to track cultivators. Also a type of introductory seal for cultivators. This seal was easy to cast and didn't consume much power. Before, when Zhao Yanhair's clansmen were captured, Mu Ronghai used this trick to track the hostages. At the same time, this seal could also find living creatures nearby. Of course, if the target had cultivation, it wouldn't work. The seal would be neutralized by their protective astral energy. But since the effect of the binding cage had been activated, the opponent's cultivation had been completely sealed. In a state without cultivation, he couldn't stop the tracking seal. But the tracking seal was like a soap bubble. After flying a short distance through the dense forest, it gradually disappeared, without any movement, proving that there were living things around. Could it be that Kui Niu carried him away? In the records of various classics, Kui Niu was also a legendary mount. If it flew with all its might, it wouldn't be easy to catch up. It was just that it left here silently without a sound. That was unbelievable. Lu Zhao looked at the bloodstains on the clothes. Yu Zhenghai must have used some kind of spell that didn't require cultivation to control Kui Niu to leave. The Great Flame World, the 100 schools contend. The Confucian, Buddhist, and Taoist, 3 cultivation schools, occupy the mainstream and huge branches, except for witchcraft. This type of spell required a high time requirement. Most people prefer to cultivate Taoist methods. Some cultivators, in addition to using auxiliary tools such as cloud-weaving feather garments, cloud stepping shoes, or heaven-rank weapons, like to cultivate auxiliary Taoist techniques. Lu Zhao circulated his energy. A 5-pointed star-shaped halo appeared in his palm, then grew larger. Traitorous disciple. It seems that after leaving the Evil Sky Pavilion, you've learned quite a few other miscellaneous things. Lu Zhu activated his primeval energy, condensed Quan into astral energy, then flicked his hand. That astral energy circled around and then transformed into a small mystic heaven stellar beam. Although Lu Zhu was only in the divine court realm, he could still cast this kind of refined technique. The mystic heaven stellar beam split into 2, 2 split into 4, 4 split into 8. In the blink of an eye, the trees within 100 meters were chopped down by the astral energy. From above, you could see a bald, circular area of forest. Lu Zhao nodded in satisfaction. As his cultivation gradually recovered, Lu Zhao found it easier and easier to use his disciples' techniques and skills. When he first transmigrated, he couldn't cast his disciples' techniques. When his lifespan was increased, this was also resolved. Although its power wasn't as strong as the nascent soul realm, the scene was still magnificent. At least it could be used to cut down trees. Without cultivation, let's see how long you can hide. Lu Zhu leaped onto Bian's back. His gaze swept over the forest for a moment. Then, Bian obediently followed Lu Zhao's orders, going around to check. Unfortunately, there were still no discoveries, so it could only obediently continue to fly. Lu Zhao didn't think anyone could break the binding curse unless the continuous duration of the binding curse wasn't long. Otherwise, sooner or later, this traitorous disciple would have to beg him to return. Behemoth let out a low growl, then shot towards the third peak of Jingming Dao. The cloud-piercing flying chariot was still waiting there, motionless. Lu Zhao returned to the previous prison. It looked exactly the same, unchanged. He looked towards the thousands of layers of restrictions. The crackling sound continued incessantly. Clearly the restrictions of Jingming Dao were about to collapse. The remaining people in Jingming Dao were probably hiding inside, otherwise Yu Zhenghai wouldn't have bothered using the Great Xuan Heavenly Barrier to forcibly break the restrictions. Lu Zhao deliberately paused to wait a moment. Maybe he could glean some information about Yu Zhenghai from these people. Crack! The thousands of layers of restrictions completely disappeared. Just then, a woman led the way out, holding a long sword in her hand. Behind her, several disciples warily looked around. 14 people stood in 2 crescent-shaped rows, each with wounds on their bodies. The Nether sect retreated. The group's faces were full of doubt, looking left and right. This woman was the only remaining expert of Jingming Dao, Elder Yu Hongyi. Yu Hongyi saw the old man standing on Behemoth's back and hurriedly said, "Everyone, be careful." The Jingming Dao disciples also noticed the old man, the legendary Behemoth mount, was looking menacingly at them. Yu Hongyi didn't dare to be careless and cautiously asked, "Are you from the Nether sect?" Lu Zhao was riding Behemoth. Flying quickly closer, Lu Zhao shook his head. "If it weren't for this old man, you would have lost your lives long ago." Yu Hongyi understood immediately and hurriedly bowed. So it was Senior who drove away the great devil Yu Zhenghai. The remaining Jingming Dao disciples also bowed in salute. Thank you, Senior, for your help. We can't repay your great kindness. System notification. 15 people respectfully bowed, gaining 150 merit points. Lu Zhao was startled, thinking to himself, this old man really has boundless merit. Pity your life and death has nothing to do with this old man. Yu Hongyi sighed, looked around, and shook her head. If it wasn't for Senior's timely arrival, I'm afraid Jingming Dao would have, alas. 2 of the Jingming 7 disciples behind her added, the Nether sect is really too much. Yu Zhenghai has the old devil of the Demon Heaven Pavilion as his backing, so he runs rampant everywhere. Jingming Dao once besieged Golden Court Mountain, so meeting this calamity is only right. Another of the Jingming 7 disciples said with emotion, I don't know if the sect leader is still alive. Don't, Yu Hongyi scolded. Don't mention the sect leader again. If it wasn't for his collusion with forces in the palace, how would Jingming Dao have fallen into this situation? The Jingming 7 disciples all lowered their heads, not daring to speak anymore, no matter what they had survived. Lu Zhao waited for them to calm down before speaking. This old man has something to ask you, answer truthfully. He pointed at Yu Hongyi. Yu Hongyi pointed at herself, asking doubtfully, me? She stepped out of the restricted area, instinctively looking around. The place was in an unbearable state of chaos. Black smoke rising from the other peaks. Yu Hongyi's face was extremely unsightly. She endured the pain in her chest, then clasped her hands and said to Lu Shizhu, please, Senior, ask away. Are you the great elder Yu Hongyi of Jingming Dao? This junior is. Lu Zhao asked. Was the person who fought with you just now the sect leader of the Nether sect, Yu Zhenghai? Yu Hongyi revealed an expression of anger. Even if he turned to ashes, I would recognize him. My Jingming Dao has had several thousand cultivation practitioners. Now we are in this situation, I beg Senior to uphold justice. Lu Zhao was on the verge of laughter, but on the surface remained very calm. You want this old man to uphold justice? Senior was able to repel the devil of the Nether sect. Jingming Dao has encountered this great calamity. Sooner or later, other famous righteous sects will also be eliminated by devils. At that time, the world will be in chaos. The people will suffer. Yu Hongyi knelt down to show her sincerity. Please, Senior, lend us a hand. The other disciples also knelt down, clasping their hands towards Lu Zhu. Although the destruction of Jingming Dao was not caused by Lu Zhao, Yu Zhenghai was ultimately his disciple, and once the news of Jingming Dao's destruction spread, the cultivation world would still place the blame on the Demon Heaven Pavilion. Did they want him to kill himself in front of everyone to uphold justice? Lu Zhao's tone was extremely cold. The Nether sect wants to destroy Jingming Dao is because Jingming Dao sowed the seeds of their own destruction. Yu Hongyi. This old man asks you, what is righteous? What is demonic? Lu Zhao paused slightly, then continued. Practicing demonic arts is righteous. The 2 incidents 30 years ago, Jingming Dao and 7-Star Mountain Villa were constantly killing each other in order to compete for territory, affecting several thousand commoners within 100 liz. Is that righteous? Did it? He didn't need to say anymore. There were countless similar examples. Ultimately, only the fittest could survive. The wise live, and the foolish die. Compared to the Demon Heaven Pavilion, Jingming Dao's actions were the real evil. Yu Hongyi was stunned. If she had been asked this question before, she would have answered without hesitation. Jingming Dao in particular, or the 10 great famous sects in the world in general, are all righteous paths. The Nether sect, Demon Heaven Pavilion, Demon Slaughter sect, and Azure Dragon Society are all demonic paths. But sect leader Monchi secretly practiced demonic arts, devouring the blood essence of other cultivators. This is 100 times more evil than the demonic path. For this senior to not kick them while they were down was already very good. Yu Hongyi thought for a long time, gradually feeling ashamed. She softly replied, I have been taught. Lu Zhao stroked his beard and nodded, asking again, besides Yu Zhenghai, did you see anyone else? Yu Hongyi blushed and nodded. There was also the 7th disciple, Si Wuyai, of the Demon Heaven Pavilion. This person is sinister and cunning, good at using schemes. The Nether sect was able to take control of the 7 peaks of Jingming Dao, all because of this person, adding fuel to the fire. As soon as she said this, the Jingming 7 disciples standing behind her were all burning with anger. This guy is extremely despicable, planting over 100 spies inside Jingming Dao. Such scheming is really hateful. Over 100 people. This Lu Zhao also felt was too exaggerated. Others would be amazing if they could plant 1 or 2 spies. But Si Wuyai could plant over 100. Did he use some weird method of having collaborative spy teams? Yu Hongyi explained. Every year Jingming Dao accepts new disciples. There are many people planted by him. No matter what method Si Wuyai used, to be able to do this is really unfathomable. Lu Zhao asked, where is Si Wuyai now? Yu Hongyi asked back in surprise. Senior, do you have a feud with the Demon Heaven Pavilion? Lu Zhao thought for a moment, then replied, no feud. These words in Yu Hongyi's ears carried a different meaning. No feud meant the relationship wasn't very good. If Senior could deal with the Demon Heaven Pavilion, that would be fortunate. Lu Zhao shook his head slightly. Perhaps he had seen this scene too many times, so he was numb and didn't bother explaining. Yu Hongyi suddenly remembered something and said, may I ask which sect Senior belongs to? If you help us overcome this calamity, Jingming Dao will definitely come to your door to thank you. Lu Zhao straightforwardly answered with 3 very short, concise, easy to understand, and extremely complete words. Demon Heaven Pavilion. After hearing the old man in front of them say the 3 words Demon Heaven Pavilion, the 2 Jingming 7 disciples behind her were both dumbfounded, blankly saying to each other, "Did the old man say Heaven Above Human Pavilion?" The other one immediately asked, "Are you sure you heard correctly?" Yu Hongyi was also dumbfounded. She thought she didn't hear clearly, so she asked again, "I'm sorry, which sect did Senior just say?" Lu Zhao coldly stood still looking at her. At this moment, the cloud-piercing flying chariot appeared waiting in the forest. It seemed to have waited too long and was impatient, so it slowly flew closer. The Great Xuan Heavenly Barrier had chopped down all the trees within 100 meters, so it was very suitable for the cloud-piercing flying chariot to dock here. All the attention of the Jingming Dao group was focused on the cloud-piercing flying chariot. Yu Hongyi recognized its origins with one glance. She was shocked. "Retreat! Quickly retreat into the prison." The Jingming 7 disciples also trembled, retreating inside, but when they retreated behind the 2 pillars, they suddenly remembered that the 1,000 layers of restrictions had been destroyed. Charging in now would just be helping someone wipe them all out in one go, wouldn't it? "Old mister, hurry! People from the Evil Sky Pavilion are here." Old mister? They pinned all their hopes on Lu Zhao, who was standing firmly on Bion's back. Lu Zhao looked at their frightened appearance, not at all surprised. Just then, Zhao Yanhair left the flying chariot, descending through the air. The heaven-sundering silk wrapped around her, making Zhao Yanhair, covered in treasures, look extremely dazzling and eye-catching. "Master," Zhao Yanhair happily flew to Lu Zhao. "Master, this disciple was anxious and rushed here. Where are the traitors?" The Pure Clarity 7 and Yu Hongyi staggered unsteadily. She suddenly felt like she wanted to cough up blood. "Escape? Can we even escape? Elder Yu, what's wrong?" Elder Yu was hit by Yu Zhenghai's palm. She must be seriously injured. The Pure Clarity 7 looked worried. Yu Hongyi hurriedly said, "Run! Run now!" That's the cloud-piercing flying chariot of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Evil Sky Pavilion. The Pure Clarity 7 looked up at the flying chariot, then at the little girl who had just appeared, and finally turned their eyes to the old man on Bielan's back. Everything became clear. Without a word, the Pure Clarity 7 immediately fled. "Want to leave? Too late!" Zhao Yanhair's heaven-sundering silk fluttered in the air like a blazing red flame. It quickly tied up the Pure Clarity 7. They were terrified. Their souls almost left their bodies. Miseries and screams filled the air. But in short while, the heaven-sundering silk has already captured the Pure Clarity 7 and the group of escaping disciples, and all laid there, unable to move. Yu Hongyi stood still. When she saw the heaven-grade weapon heaven-sundering silk display its divine power, she revealed shock. Yu Hongyi could almost be sure that this little girl was the 9th disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Yu Hongyi and the Pure Clarity 7 were all at the end of their ropes. How could they escape from Zhao Yanhair's heaven-sundering silk? From the flying chariot, an old voice suddenly came. "Everyone, stop!" The person speaking was the former #1 expert of the Pure Clarity sect, Pan Lishan. Yu Hongyi raised her head, exclaiming in shock, "Elder Pan!" She was overjoyed. The Pure Clarity 7 also struggled to get up, looking towards the old man standing on the flying chariot. "Disciples greet Elder Pan!" The group saluted in unison. No one had time to think about why Pan Lishan would appear on the cloud-piercing flying chariot. The Pure Clarity 7 looked with hopeful eyes. The #1 expert of the Pure Clarity sect has returned. They had hope of surviving now. Pan Lishan replied blankly. "This old man isn't any Elder Pan. This old man is an elder of the Evil Sky Pavilion." Pan Lishan's words almost extinguished all hope in Yu Hongyi's group. Yu Hongyi's face was filled with disbelief. She shook her head and said, "Elder Pan." This form of address had just been uttered when Pan Lishan loudly shouted, "Shut up!" This shout startled Yu Hongyi's group. Lu Zhao also didn't expect Pan Lishan to have such enlightenment. This was good. In the future, he could serve the Evil Sky Pavilion, becoming a right-hand man. At this moment, Leng Luo suddenly spoke. "The Pure Clarity sect's current state is all because sect leader Mon Qi did wrong, following Mo Li's orders. This matter doesn't have much to do with Yu Hongyi. I suggest letting them go." As far as Leng Luo was concerned, he only had Mo Li and Mo Qi in his eyes. Pan Litzian heard this, and for the first time, cupped his hands towards Leng Luo. Duan Musheng looked at Pan Lishan, thinking, "Elder Pan is cupping his hands towards Elder Leng for the first time." Seeing Pan Lishan standing alone on the edge of the flying chariot's bow, Leng Lugo then said, "Come over here. Don't fall to your death over there." Pan Lishan snorted coldly. The expression on Lu Zhao's face didn't change, but in his heart he grumbled. "Does this old man look like a heinous villain?" Lu Zhao was too lazy to argue with Yu Hongyi's group. He was just about to speak when Zhao Yanhair suddenly pointed towards the front of the flying chariot, hovering above the headquarters. "Master, the 4 great protectors of the Nether sect are running away." Duan Musheng, seeing this, glared and bowed, saying, "This disciple is willing to steer the cloud-piercing flying chariot to pursue the traitors." Lu Zhu leaped onto the cloud-piercing flying chariot. He glanced at the group on the ground and said, "Go." At the same time, looking towards the Nether sect's flying chariot, already faintly visible on the horizon, he thought, chasing now might not be in time. After all, the opponents are 4 great experts in the nascent soul realm, controlling the flying chariot flying like the wind, and with the cloud-piercing flying chariot being in the middle of the forest, the speed is much slower. Zhao Yanhair hurriedly flew onto the flying chariot. She stuck out her tongue, making a face at Yu Hongyi's group. "For Elder Pan's sake, I won't kill you, neener neener neener." Pan Lishan coughed a few times upon hearing this. The flying chariot immediately sped across the sky. Yu Hongyi was still in a daze, not understanding what was happening. On top of the flying chariot, the old man Pan Lishan was giving Zhao Yanhair pointers. "Little girl, heaven-grade weapons aren't used like that," she exclaimed in surprise. Pan Lishan continued to say, "Whether it's a heaven-grade or earth-grade weapon, once it recognizes its master, there will be a certain degree of understanding between the master and the weapon. The higher the degree of understanding, the greater the power. This old man sees that you use the weapon with great power, but it's not refined enough." Pan Lishan took out the wine gourd from his waist, holding it in his palm, and tried to wrap it up. Zhao Yanghair took a quick look and replied, "What's so difficult about this?" She casually waved her hand, and the heaven-sundering silk danced nimbly, then flew over and wrapped around the wine gourd. The heaven-sundering silk easily coiled around the gourd, lifting it up. Zhao Yanhair revealed a disdainful expression, looking at Pan Litian, as if saying, "Making such a fuss, this is extremely simple." Pan Litian took back the wine gourd, then yanked it down forcefully, opening the gourd's stopper. Pan Litian then said, "Put it back!" The meaning was very clear. He wanted her to use the heaven-sundering silk to stuff the gourd stopper into the gourd. Zhao Yanhair controlled the heaven-sundering silk to fly over. Clack. Failure. Clack. Another failure. She stamped her foot in anger. After trying again and again, she was covered in sweat. She thought it wasn't difficult, but why was it so unexpectedly difficult? Zhao Yanhair refused to admit defeat. She mobilized the primal chi throughout her body. The heaven-sundering silk brandished its fangs and claws, looking ferocious like it wanted to kill someone. Clack. Continuous failures. It was just a simple object, but no matter how she tried, she couldn't put it in. Weird, strange. Even Lang Luo was attracted by this scene, eagerly watching. Zhao Yanhair unwillingly said loudly, "What's going on? Could it be that you deliberately tampered with it to play with me?" Pan Lishan shook his head. Hands are one of the weapons with the greatest degree of understanding. He took the gourd stopper from the heaven-sundering silk, using his fingers to press it into the gourd. Clack! The gourd stopper perfectly sealed the gourd's mouth. Then, when the degree of control over a weapon reaches a level of understanding no less than a hand, only then can it be considered entering the subtle. The heaven-sundering silk is your arm. He called hands weapons. In some ways this was very reasonable. Zhao Yanhair frowned and said, "I don't believe your words. I only believe master." As she spoke, she went to Lu Zhu's side. Pan Lishan helplessly shook his head. He said to Lu Zhu, "This old man was rude. Please forgive me." Lu Zhu stroked his beard and said, "It's fine." Pan Lishan thought, all of his cultivation has been lost. Even if he has the heart to teach her a few things, his words wouldn't be convincing enough. And what's more, she's a disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Me doing that would be a bit too much. After all, Pan Lishan was the #1 expert of the Pure Clarity sect, a person of the same era as Lang Luo. His knowledge and experience were definitely much higher than those of young cultivators. Him being willing to guide the younger generation was a good thing. Speaking of which, it was true that Lu Zuo hadn't paid much attention to teaching his disciples. Lu Zhu took out something, making Zhao Yanjier's eyes light up. He turned his head to look at Zhao Yanjier. Elder Pan's words are all correct. A higher degree of understanding can improve the ability to control heaven-grade weapons. It's also thanks to Elder Pan's reminder. After returning to the Evil Sky Pavilion, this master will take some time to impart some skills to you. Zhao Yanjier happily replied, "Thank you, master." Lu Zhao looked towards the wine gourd in his hand, and Pan Lishan understood. Pan Lishan was stunned for a moment, then nodded. "Pavilion master has sharp eyes," Lang Luo hoarsely said. "Wine gourd. Admirable, admirable. Just good luck. I burned the entire Blackwood Forest for 49 days, and only this gourd remained." Pan Lishan was very satisfied, lifting the wine gourd and taking a sip. Lang Luo was like, "Damn, that wine gourd looks like something you'd find at a yard sale, but turns out it's a freaking weapon." For a dude who's lost all his cultivation like Pan Lishan, holding onto this gourd till now is seriously impressive. Suddenly, Zhao Yanhair, acting like a total sweetheart, zoomed over to Duan Musheng. "Third senior brother, let me help you out." Duan Musheng was all, "Master, those 4 guardian dudes are piloting the Flying Lian like pros. It's tough to catch up." The cloud-piercing Flying Lian zipped through the trees and over the hills, its tail looking like a shooting star as it chased after the Nether Sect's Flying Lian. A bit later, the Nether Sect's Flying Lian had vanished into the clouds. Poof! Gone without a trace. Flying Lians are all about the pilot and the crew in the cockpit. The higher the cultivation, the more power and speed you get. Lu Zhao knew this, so he said, "No worries, Yu Zhenghai's got my curse on him. Sooner or later, he'll come crawling to our door." Yu Zhenghai's gotta fulfill his ambitions, right? How's he gonna be happy without the power and cultivation? And how's he gonna keep those 4 guardians in line? Duan Musheng and that granny, plus the leopard dude and Zhao Yanxier, were driving the Flying Lian like a bunch of maniacs, swerving all over the place. Those 3 old geezers were getting seasick, puking their guts out thanks to the junior siblings' crazy driving skills. Lu Zhao, getting all stressed, yelled, "Stop chasing them!" Duan Musheng and Zhao Yan shocked. "Huh, why? We're doing great." Lu Zhao was like, "Just slowly fly the Flying Lian back to the Golden Court Mountain." Those 3 old fogies were thinking, if this keeps up, we're gonna be pushing up daisies. Somewhere in the deep, dark woods, sunlight peeked through the leaves and landed on Si Wuyai. He was leaning against a tree, looking helpless, staring at the huge, glowing character right in the middle of his chest. It was like it wanted to melt into his skin and turn blood red. He looked up at Yu Zhenghai's back. Yu Zhenghai was sitting by a tree in front of him, right hand holding the jade green saber stuck in the ground for support, his face calm, but there was blood at the corner of his mouth. Body binding curse, master. You old fox. You've got so many tricks up your sleeve, Si Wuyai said with a helpless chuckle. Yu Zhenghai looked ahead, all bummed out. 7th junior brother. Hearing his senior brother say he was getting a raw deal, Si Wuyai chimed in. No need to be polite between brothers. Blame me for being careless and overconfident. I thought riding Kuyox would draw out master, so senior brother could finish off Yu Hongyi's bunch. But no, he trailed off. Seems like Si Wuyai didn't have any strength left and drifted off to sleep. Yu Zhenghai clenched his left fist and swung it forward. Boom! A fist-shaped blast of chi shot out, blasting through the towering trees in front of him. Even the nearby rabbits were like, nope, not hungry anymore. It's fine, Yu Zhenghai said, suppressing his inner turmoil. Yu Hongyi and the Pure Clarity 7 are done for. The Pure Clarity sect is only around in name. Now I achieved my goal. No need to worry about it, junior brother. Without your help, I wouldn't have taken down those 7 mountains so quickly. Cough, cough. Si Wuyai coughed a few times. Yu Zhenghai turned to look at him, his face full of confusion. Body binding curse. Cloud-piercing flying lien. Mounts. Formations. Master's tricks haven't gotten any worse. But he's getting old. Why is he still making trouble? The first half sounded calm, but the second half was low, and you could tell he wasn't happy. Si Wuyai replied, maybe he wants to cultivate the strengths of all the schools to break the secret of eternal life. Hearing the words, eternal life, Yu Zhenghai's left hand clenched, making a cracking sound. He said, if eternal life were real, why hasn't anyone succeeded after all these years? The cultivation world changes, generation after generation. Every generation has geniuses and powerhouses who don't want to be bound by the heavens. Everyone wants to change the ancient truths, but it's easier said than done. Easy there, senior brother, no need to get worked up at master. Si Wuyai, even though he was bound by the body-binding curse, didn't look angry at all. Yu Zhenghai slowly stood up, looked up at the sky, and sighed. Good thing I have junior brother Wuyai. Si Wuyai shook his head, saying, it's nothing. If it weren't for senior brother using his essence blood to help me escape, I'd be caught by master by now. Remembering the scene in the woods, Yu Zhenghai frowned again. I'm so confused. Master always looked down on using the Great Xuan Heaven chapter. Why did he suddenly use the Xuan Heaven Star Light? The chi fluctuations weren't high, but his control was far better than mine. Si Wuyai struggled to stand up, pointing to the curse on his chest. Master even used the body-binding curse, so he probably used Xuan Heaven Starlight to warn us. Yu Zhenghai looked at the body-binding curse on Si Wuyai again. That giant glowing character on his chest was an eyesore. Don't worry, junior brother. I'll find a way to undo this body-binding curse. Si Wuyai gave a confident smile, not caring about the curse. It's no big deal. It doesn't matter if I have cultivation or not. Yu Zhenghai nodded. Junior brother Wuyai is so broad-minded. No wonder you can control the dark web. Senior brother is too kind. Yu Zhenghai responded. Either way, this curse is my fault. I'll send someone to the Heavenly Master Dao's. Senior brother trusts you to control the dark web, but being without cultivation is a hidden danger. Having cultivation is always better. Who can guarantee that no one in the dark web is two-faced? Let's head back to Pingdu Mountain first. I'll handle both matters. And then we'll quickly head back to Pingdu Mountain together. Inside the main hall of the Golden Court Mountain, Hua Wudao, Lang Luo, Pan Lishan, and a bunch of disciples were sitting, watching Lu Zhao, who was deep in thought. They wondered what he was thinking. Lu Zhu looked at the merit points on the system interface. 10,020 points. Buying 4 Thunderous Fury talismans and only killing Mo Chi was a waste. I have to earn back some merit points. I should do a lucky draw when I have time. Lu Zhao waved his sleeve. The interface disappeared, and no one dared to pick up their food. Recalling Yu Zhenghai's escape, Lu Zhao frowned. How did he get away? Lu Zhao picked up a piece of meat, and everyone else dared to eat. Xiao Yanjie stuffed her mouth full, Lu Zhao thought. The effect of the body-binding curse was clearly activated, and I even got merit points for it. All the way back, Lu Zhao kept thinking about this, but he couldn't figure it out. Where was the problem? Hua Wudao glanced at Lu Zhao and said, Sect leader doesn't need to worry about it. People who walk by the river are bound to get their shoes wet. What's more, he stopped mid-sentence, realizing what he was saying was like telling Lu Zhao, what's more, you're getting old, and your disciples are so strong, it's not weird that someone got away, Lang Luo thought. Giving advice like that is a death wish. Hua Wudao, knowing his big mouth was in trouble, quickly changed the subject. The food's good. The food's good. Everyone, eat up. Hearing this, Lu Zhu looked up. Hua Wudao immediately switched gears. I heard Yu Zhenghai was hit by sect leader's curse. Of course, he'll try every trick in the book to undo it. There are only 2 ways to undo the body-binding curse. One is to find a powerful curse master at the Heavenly Master Dao, where there are many cultivators skilled in curses. And the other is to come to the Golden Court Mountain. Duan Musheng nodded in agreement. Elder Hua makes sense. Master, let's use this opportunity to camp out at the Celestial Master Dao. Hearing this, everyone looked at Duan Musheng, who blankly asked, Why are you looking at me? They all remained silent. Lu Zhao mused. Celestial Master Dao isn't like Jingming Dao. They don't have many experts like Pan Lishan. But Celestial Master Dao has many cultivators skilled in incantations and formations. Zhao Yue, seeing her master deep in thought, said, Master, please eat something. Little Yanker stared at her master with wide, car-sized eyes. Lu Zhao continued thinking, No one dares to underestimate Celestial Master Dao on their turf. What's the point of a bunch of old, weak, and sick people going there? Offering their heads as gifts? Forget about Leng Luo and Pan Lishan. It's good enough if they don't get in the way. As for weaklings who can only cower, like Hua Wudao, he's better off guarding the house. Lu Zhao shook his head and said, Celestial Master Dao might not be able to undo my curse. That unfilial disciple has nowhere else to go. Sooner or later, he'll come to the Evil Sky Pavilion. The disciples chorused, We understand. Lu Zhao picked up some food for Zhao Yaner. Eat more meat. Look at your senior sister. She obediently said, Thank you, Master. Lu Zhao looked at Zhao Yu. How is Pan Zhong? Zhao Yu lowered her head and replied, Pan Zhong's injuries have stabilized. He's out of danger, and he'll recover after some rest. Pan Lishan cupped his fist towards Zhao Yu. Thank you. His attitude revealed the relationship between them, and she smiled secretly. Leng Luo curiously asked, I'm very curious, what exactly is the relationship between you and Pan Zhong? Pan Lishan narrowed his eyes at Leng Luo and retorted, What business is it of yours? Judging by age, Pan Zhong is at most 30 years old, considered a youth in the cultivation world. Pan Lishan and Leng Luo are from the same era, having left Jingming Dao hundreds of years ago, so there's no way they could be grandfather and grandson. Just then, Lu Zhao spoke up. I have always been a man of my word. Lu Zhao flicked his hand, and a black brocade box flew over, landing in Pan Lishan's hands. As Pan Lishan received the black box, his old hands trembled slightly. He bowed his head to Lu Zhao without saying anything. 1,000 words couldn't express his gratitude. For many years, it wasn't that he didn't want to find the Blackwood Lotus, but because he had lost all his cultivation, obtaining the Blackwood Lotus was harder than reaching the sky. Pan Lishan bowed his head sincerely in thanks. Seeing Pan Lishan so excited, Leng Luo felt very strange. With your status and position, just relying on Jingming Dao, how could you not obtain a piece of the Blackwood Lotus? Pan Lishan shook his head slightly. Leng Luo, if Mo Li destroyed your cultivation, would she give you the Blackwood Lotus? Leng Luo fell silent. Everyone else in the hall was also silent. Pan Lishan cupped his fist and said, This old one takes his leave. Go, Lu Zhao said. Leng Luo also cupped her fist, indicating she wanted to leave. Lu Zhao waved his hand. Go. These two need a lot of time to recover their cultivation. Before that, their use to the Evil Sky Pavilion isn't great. After the two left, Lu Zhao asked, Any news from Ming Shiyin? Zhao Yanhe quickly replied, Master, fourth senior brother is really too much this time. He's been gone for so long and hasn't returned. Lu Zhao also found it strange, but the system hadn't given any notifications related to Ming Shiyin. However, Lu Zhao had great faith in Ming Shiyin's survival skills, so he wasn't worried that something would happen to him. Suddenly, Zhu Jifeng entered the hall from outside with a strange expression. Lu Zhu asked, What's the matter? Zhu Jifeng's expression stiffened, paused for a moment, and then continued. Hua Yuexing has returned, and brought back the head of Ye Chengji from the Heaven Sword sect. Although Lu Zhao's face remained unchanged, he was surprised inside. He didn't expect Hua Yuexing to kill an expert from the 10 great sects in order to join the Evil Sky Pavilion. But he was even more surprised that she would choose an expert from the Heaven Sword sect. Lu Zhu looked at Zhu Jifeng. You're not happy? Zhu Jifeng's whole body trembled. He hurriedly knelt down. This junior wouldn't dare. This junior only wishes he could stab Luo Changfeng to death himself. But Luo Changfeng had already died at the hands of the old senior. This junior and the Heaven Sword sect have long since had no feelings for each other. Duan Musheng spoke up. That's for the best. Don't forget how you survived back then, Zhu Jifeng replied. Third senior brother's teachings are correct. Hua Wudao also joined in the excitement. The Heaven Sword sect hasn't had any movements for a long time. Since the siege of the Evil Sky Pavilion, Luo Changfeng died, and the Heaven Sword sect was severely injured. Hua Wudao continued, cupping his fist. It's said that Luo Xinghua handed over the position of sect leader to his son, Luo Changfeng, before going into closed-door cultivation. Now that Luo Xinghua is grieving over the loss of his son, we must be prepared. Lu Zhao turned to Zhao Yu. Any news from the Yi Station? Zhao Yu replied. Currently, the outside world is spreading rumors that Master... She hesitated, not daring to continue. Lu Zhao ordered. Speak. Zhao Yu lowered her head. The outside world is spreading rumors that Master's cultivation is rapidly declining, and that you are absorbing the power of the barrier to maintain your cultivation. After saying this, she quickly added, This disciple is willing to repair the barrier. Lu Zhao waved his hand. It's meaningless. Repairing the barrier now won't conceal the previous movements. In other words, the outside world now believes that Lu Zhao's strength has drastically declined, and even if the barrier is repaired, it won't change their perception. As he spoke, two female disciples led Hua Yuexing into the hall. Hua Yuexing looked disheveled, as if she hadn't slept for days. Her eyes were swollen and red, and her hair was slightly messy. In her hand she held a gray bow and arrow. The material wasn't very good, probably a yellow-grade weapon. Her other hand held a box with a heart-shaped symbol wrapped in a piece of yellow cloth. Hua Wudao looked at Hua Yuexing walking into the middle of the hall with an incredulous expression. Hua Yuexing hurriedly knelt down, cupping her fists. Hua Yuexing hasn't failed everyone's expectations, and has beheaded a second-leaf nascent soul realm expert, Elder Ye Chengji of the Heaven Sword sect. The box was placed in front of her. Because it had been a while, the bloodstains had turned black, flowing out from within. Recalling what Zhu Jifeng had said earlier, it wasn't hard to guess that it contained a human head. Seeing the bloody box in front of him, Lu Zhao asked, Ye Chengji. Hua Yuexing used both hands to hold up the box. Please, Pavilion Master, open it and see. Lu Zhao frowned and wrinkled his face, replying, No need, he didn't have the habit of looking at human heads. Lu Zhao then waved his hand. Dispose of it. The two female cultivators cupped their fists in unison. Yes, the two female cultivators carefully carried the bag of heads out. One of the girls kicked the box hard, sending it flying high. Before falling into the abyss, Lu Zhao's gaze returned to Hua Yuexing. Curious. With your strength and cultivation, beheading a second leaf expert can barely be considered qualified. Hua Yuexing blushed with embarrassment. This junior knows her strength is insufficient. The people of the Heaven Sword sect are too cunning. This junior waited a long time without an opportunity to strike. Lu Zhao continued to ask, why did you choose the Heaven Sword sect? When Lu Zhao asked this question, Hua Wudao was also standing beside him, looking over. Hua Yuexing earnestly cupped her fists. It's said that the Heaven Sword sect is restless. Luo Jinhua has always wanted to seek revenge on the Evil Sky Pavilion. Instead of passively waiting for them to strike, it's better to strike first, to let them understand that the Evil Sky Pavilion isn't a place to be trifled with. Lu Zhou frowned, continuing to think. How high is this enlightenment? This is the attitude a disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion should have. Hua Yuexing hadn't even entered the Evil Sky Pavilion yet, but her words were no different from a true disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion, making listeners feel very comfortable. The Evil Sky Pavilion really needed an archer at this time. Hua Wudao proactively spoke. Pavilion Master, Hua Yuexing has passed the test. If possible, please let me guide her future cultivation. Hua Yuexing was overjoyed upon hearing this. Just as she was about to thank him, Lu Zhu spoke. Wait. Hua Wudao was slightly startled. The Pavilion Master hadn't even spoken, and he had spoken on his behalf. He had indeed overstepped his bounds. It was due to my impatience. Please forgive me, Pavilion Master. Lu Zhao slowly walked in front of Hua Yuexing. Hua Yuexing was filled with worry and unease. Facing the #1 demonic cultivator of the era at such close range who wouldn't be agitated or terrified, Lu Zhao slowly sat down and said, raise your head. Hua Yuexing started to tense up like crazy. As she slowly raised her head, Lu Zhu's face remained expressionless. He just glanced at her, and then reached out towards Hua Yuexing's forehead. Hua Wudao was stunned and gaped at their sect leader. That usually quick-witted Xiaoyan hair didn't even dare to look today. Zhao Yue was also shocked. This is it. In a flash, Hua Yuexing thought, I'm done for. Everyone's throats tightened. Not daring to watch this scene, even Hua Yuexing closed her eyes. Just when everyone thought Hua Yuexing was about to eat a palm strike, golden light suddenly burst forth from Lu Zhao's palm. Streams of primal chi fell upon her, and golden light of universal salvation enveloped Hua Yuexing's entire body. Hua Yuexing immediately felt her primal chi and injuries recovering at a terrifying speed. After a short while, Hua Yuexing opened her eyes wide and bowed to Lu Zhu. Thank you, sect leader, for healing me, the system immediately announced. Gained a sincere bow, rewarded 10 merit points. What a pity. If sincere bows could be rewarded with unlimited merit points, that would be amazing. Then he could just grab a wretch like Old 8 and make him kowtow non-stop. 1 kowtow per second, and he could accumulate over 80,000 points in a day. It wouldn't take long for him to have enough points to buy all kinds of Dharma bodies and dominate everyone. But hey, even mosquito meat is still meat. Something is better than nothing. What the heck am I daydreaming about? That's clearly impossible. Lu Zhu nodded slightly and said, having joined the Evil Sky Pavilion, you must abide by the rules of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Hua Yuexing was overjoyed. This junior understands. Gained a subordinate. Rewarded 1,000 merit points. Lu Zhao turned and walked away, then asked loudly, how many leaves? Hua Yuexing said awkwardly. 2. 2 leaves. Only 2 leaves? And she's been hailed as one of the 3 great divine archers of God's capital? That's a little embarrassing. Sensing the strange gazes around her, Hua Yuexing lowered her head. Her face flushed red. With her cultivation base, she'd be considered a standout genius in any other sect, cherished like the moon surrounded by stars. When she cultivated in the Luo sect, she was also considered a key genius to be nurtured. But this is the Evil Sky Pavilion. Lu Zhao didn't show any disgust, only said, not bad talent. Able to kill Ye Chengji of the same level with a 2-leaf cultivation base. Truly commendable. Hua Yuexing obediently replied, thank you for the senior's praise. There are many classics related to archers in the West Pavilion. Everyone in the Evil Sky Pavilion can freely browse them. Hua Yuexing had long heard that the Evil Sky Pavilion had countless kinds of classics and weapons, and every one of them was a top-notch treasure. She was extremely happy in her heart and quickly kowtowed and sat down. Thank you, senior, Lu Zhao ordered. Withdraw, yes. Hua Wudao also cupped his fist to Lu Zhao and left the Evil Sky Pavilion's main hall with Hua Yuexing. Lu Zhao walked back and forth near the throne. He slowly called out, Zhu Jifeng, was startled and hurriedly bowed. Yes, sect leader. He hesitated for a moment and then continued. Since this junior joined the Evil Sky Pavilion, I have never regretted it. This junior only regrets not being able to kill them myself. Feeling a bit dry in his throat after talking so much, Lu Junju lightly sipped a cup of green onion milk tea and said, take it. Being released and becoming powerful is what you need to do. Instead of wasting time thinking about meaningless things, you'd be better off going to the West Pavilion to read the classics. Zhu Jifeng nodded in agreement. This junior understands. Lu Zhu waved his hand slightly. Dismissed. Everyone bowed and left the Evil Sky Pavilion's main hall. At the same time, on Pingdu Mountain in the Underworld Church, Yu Zhenghai stood with his back to the 3 great protectors. Behind him, Hua Zhongyang, Yang Yan, and Di Qing were respectfully bowing. Church leader. This subordinate acted ineffectively and failed to stop the old senior. Please punish me, church leader. The others all apologized in unison. Please punish me, church leader. Please punish me. Yu Zhenghai turned around to look at the three protectors. The underworld church has the power it has today because of your great contributions. The three protectors hurriedly cupped their fists. This subordinate dares not take credit, Yu Zhenghai continued slowly. Since I left the evil sky pavilion and established the underworld church, it has all been for the grand cause of the world, and you are my most capable arms. Among everyone in this world, the people I trust the most are the three of you. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Yu Zhenghai clasped his hands behind his back and strolled to stand in front of the three protectors. Chief of the Azure Dragon Hall, Hua Zhongyang. Hua Zhongyang knelt on one knee, his head bowed low, his hand clenched into a fist, and pressed against the ground. Hua Zhongyang is willing to be punished. I made the decision on my own initiative on behalf of the church leader. This subordinate's actions have nothing to do with the three of them. As soon as he finished speaking, the chief of the Vermilion Bird Hall, Yang Yan, also knelt on one knee. Brother Zhongyang was also thinking of the big picture. We fully cooperated. If you want to be punished, then this subordinate is willing to be punished together. Next with the Black Tortoise Hall's Di Qing, who also knelt down. Di Qing has nothing to say and is willing to be punished together. All three thought about it, and in the end, the four of them chose to retreat when facing the evil sky pavilion. If they could buy Yu Zhenghai a little more time, he could have destroyed the entire Jingming path. Their goal was the grand cause of the world, not a child's game, and the most taboo thing was to retreat in the face of battle. But Yu Zhenghai patted Hua Zhongyang on the shoulder, helped him up, and said, "You are my capable arms, how could I punish you?" Hua Zhongyang was extremely surprised. Church leader Yu Zhenghai continued, "You did very well in this matter." Hua Zhongyang, Yang Yan, and Di Qing were all confused by Yu Zhenghai's words. All three protectors had the same thought. We gathered all of us here today, aren't we going to be severely punished? Why is the church leader suddenly praising us? This made the three protectors not understand at all. Hua Zhongyang was startled and immediately knelt down again, maintaining his original posture and stammering, "Church leader, you said that. This subordinate can't bear it." Yu Zhenghai then told him to stand up, and then spoke. Yu Zhenghai did not continue to help them up, but continued, "Every word I just said came from the bottom of my heart. You are all my most capable and trustworthy arms. How could I punish you?" Yu Zhenghai recalled the Tao-binding divine curse. If it weren't for his seventh junior brother taking his place, the consequences would have been unimaginable. He was extremely wary of his master in his heart, but he couldn't reveal it. How could the prestige and dignity of a church leader be discarded? Hua Zhongyang, Yan Wang, and Di Qing were all very moved. Only then did they dare to stand up, and all cheered in unison. "Thank you, church leader." Yu Zhenghai nodded slightly. However, in the future, if you meet Master Old Man again, before Yu Zhenghai could finish speaking, the three protectors hurriedly expressed their loyalty. "Church leader, rest assured, we subordinates will definitely swear to die to stop him." Yu Zhenghai shook his head. No, Yu Zhenghai carefully instructed. "You guys misunderstood me. What I mean is, from now on, if you ever run into our old man, Master, avoid him like the plague. Run as far as you can." The three of them exchanged glances, totally puzzled. What kind of medicine is the sect leader selling in his gourd? Of course, they knew the rule. Unless it's absolutely the last resort, you never mess with the evil sky pavilion. That rule's been set in stone since the Nether sect was founded. Yu Zhenghai turned his face away and ordered. Dismissed. Yang Yanwang and Di Qing acknowledged with a yes and retreated. Hua Zhongyang, about to leave, suddenly remembered something and said, "Sect leader, is it enough to have Bai Yu Qing alone to protect 7th senior brother?" Yu Zhenghai spoke up. "This seat has my own plans." Hua Zhongyang didn't dare say anything more and took his leave. This subordinate takes his leave. An hour later, Bai Yu Qing, one of the 4 great protectors and head of the White Tiger Hall, was nowhere to be found on Pingdu Mountain. Yu Zhenghai, seeing that Si Wuyai's cultivation was restricted by the body-binding curse, sent Bai Yu Qing to escort him back to the Crouching Dragon flying shuttle. The Nether sect flew through layers of azure clouds. Si Wuyai sat quietly in the flying shuttle, closing his eyes to conserve energy, occasionally trying to mobilize his vital energy to break through the divine incantation. Unfortunately, the vital energy in his body was currently completely empty. Right now, he was no different from a mortal chicken powerless in front of him, with the exception of the thoughtful body strength was still there. Everything else was completely gone. For cultivators, not being able to mobilize vital energy is equivalent to becoming a cripple. Si Wuyai is currently a cripple. He opened his eyes, sighed softly, and then said, "Bai Yu Qing, stop." Bai Yu Qing was the one driving. She stopped the flying shuttle, maintaining its hovering state in mid-air. Bai Yu Qing asked in surprise. "7th senior brother, we're almost at Crouching Dragon Ridge. Why are we stopping here?" Si Wuyai then said. "Our old man master was able to get from Crimson Red Lake to Pure Clarity Dao in such a short time. Someone must have leaked information." Bai Yu Qing flinched slightly. "7th senior brother suspects me." Hearing Bai Yu Qing ask you suspect me, Si Wuyai felt a little awkward. After all, Bai Yu Qing was the one who carried out the mission to surround Monochi that day. Si Wuyai scratched his head and shook his head. "You misunderstood. He couldn't exactly say that he had spies within Wei Zhuoyan's force on the shore of Crimson Red Lake, could he? Change direction, we're heading south. Crouching Dragon Ridge is just a temporary intelligence point used to fool people. 30 miles south is another intelligence base, Huangfeng Mountain. It's very safe there." Bai Yu Qing replied. I've heard that 7th senior brother is more careful than anyone else. It's indeed true, I admire it. With that, she immediately changed direction, controlling the flying shuttle to fly south. A moment later, the flying shuttle slowly descended. 7th senior brother, we've arrived at Huangfeng Mountain, Bai Yuqing responded. The flying shuttle almost touched the ground, and then she took the initiative to say, let me help 7th senior brother down. Oh, let's go. The two left the flying shuttle. Inside the conference room at Huangfeng Mountain, Si Wuyai and Bai Yuqing entered together. Several subordinates were overjoyed. Sect leader, Si Wuyai felt extremely comfortable being back home. Si Wuyai spoke. Thank you, Miss Bai, for escorting me all the way. After returning, please help me thank my eldest senior brother. Bai Yuqing replied with a smile. Sect leader has instructed that 7th senior brother's cultivation has been lost, so before your cultivation recovers, I will stay by your side to protect your safety. The two looked at each other affectionately. Several subordinates felt weird after witnessing that scene. Isn't this a bit strange? And so, Si Wuyai kept staring at Bai Yuqing. After a while, Si Wuyai was startled. Then he turned away as if nothing had happened. Please, have a seat, Bai Yuqing said softly. I've heard that 7th senior brother likes peace and quiet. I won't disturb you much. Just have them arrange a place for me to stay. Bai Yuqing actively pointed to the covert network members outside and walked away. Several subordinates praised after hearing this sentence. The sect leader is really amazing, able to acquire internal spies and moles at this level. The person next to him gossiped. Do you have any news? Let's exchange some. Another person continued to be nosy and joined the fun. I have, tell me, another person said. Don't talk nonsense. Perhaps Si Wuyai did not object, letting Bai Yuqing leave the conference room. A person quickly led Bai Yuqing away. As soon as Bai Yuqing left, a slight smile appeared on Si Wuyai's face. The subordinate in charge of guarding Huangfeng Mountain stepped forward, took off his mask, and bowed in apology. Sect leader's sudden arrival. This subordinate was slow to welcome you. Please forgive me. It's all right, Si Wuyai instructed the subordinate very carefully. Bai Yuqing is one of the 4 great protectors of the Nether sect, and also a friend of this sect leader. There must not be any negligence towards her. This subordinate obeys. If there's nothing else, then be dismissed. After being tortured, Si Wuyai was exhausted. He wanted to find a way to break through the body-binding divine curse once again. Suddenly, the subordinate still did not retreat, and continued to say, this subordinate has something to report. Si Wuyai ordered him to speak quickly. At this moment, a very familiar person whispered to several subordinates behind. The sect leader really has a mole on his butt. Several subordinates asked incredulously, is your information accurate? The person delivering the news confirmed, 100% accurate. The subordinate in charge of guarding Huangfeng Mountain then reported to Si Wuyai. A few days ago, a distinguished guest with the surname Ri came to visit Huangfeng Mountain. He wanted to find the sect leader to ask for something. Si Wuyai frowned. A friend with the surname Ri. The thing Si Wuyai disliked the most was sudden, unexpected factors that were beyond his control. The person in charge immediately jumped in shock at the sect leader's questioning. He not only knew the sect leader's identity but also said the password. How could he be fake? Si Wuyai then asked curiously, where is he? Right here in Huangfeng Mountain, as a guest. For some reason, Si Wuyai suddenly had a bad feeling. Everything seemed too coincidental. At the same time, that strange man said to Si Wuyai's subordinates behind him, move aside, I'm leaving. Coming closer was a man wearing strange clothes, with a very long beard on his face, and his hair tied in a bun on top of his head. The robe was in the style of merchants from foreign lands. But that face, it's so familiar. A familiar voice came. Junior Brother B, long time no see. As soon as that voice came, Si Wuyai shook his head slightly. He already knew who it was. He immediately ordered the subordinate, I have nothing else for you, dismissed. The subordinate was worried, sect leader, Si Wuyai said calmly. He's a friend of mine, it's all right. The subordinate then obeyed. This subordinate takes his leave. Seeing the man approaching, Si Wuyai was first a little surprised, then immediately regained his composure and said with a smile, 4th senior brother, long time no see. What friend with the surname Ri? He just made that up on the spot. Ming Yin ripped off the wig and beard on his face, took off the foreign-style robe, and, in a blink of an eye, restored his original appearance, saying happily, were you surprised? Si Wuyai sat down. On the surface, he looked as calm as if he didn't know anything, but in his heart he was indeed a little surprised. Is this Master's idea? Ming Yin leaned back in his chair and said with a smile. Master ordered me to bring you back to the Evil Sky Pavilion. Hearing this, Si Wuyai felt very strange. Thinking back to what happened at Pure Clarity Dao, Si Wuyai felt it hard to understand. Master didn't hesitate to use the cloud-piercing flying shuttle, and personally went to Pure Clarity Dao, even using the body-binding divine curse. But why would he only send 4th senior brother here alone? And it seems that 4th senior brother has been at Huangfeng Mountain for 2 days. Si Wuyai's head ached even more as he wondered. Wouldn't it be better for Master to come directly and wait for him to show up? Although Si Wuyai was more intelligent than others, he couldn't figure out the key point. At this moment, Ming Yin opened a bottle of water, preparing to take a few refreshing gulps. Talking nonsense with Si Wuyai's subordinates earlier made my throat dry. Si Wuyai remained as calm as water. How did 4th senior brother know I would come here? Ming Yin didn't stand on ceremony. He plopped his butt down on the chair across from him, grabbed a bottle of water and chugged it down like it was nothing, then said, just one word I remember, dude, that flying chariot at Cloud Sparrow Pavilion, Nino, junior brother. You were too careless. No matter who you rented it from, how could a flying chariot be something a normal person can get their hands on? Siwu Yai nodded, couldn't help but clap his hands in admiration. So how did senior brother know the password of the Hidden Dragon Hall? Shengyin continued to pop open another water bottle, then continued. I went to Hidden Dragon Ridge for 2 days, and sorry not sorry, I couldn't sit still so I flipped the whole place upside down. And also I've searched this place several times already. Siwu Yai looked at Ming Xinyin with a complicated expression, not knowing what to say for a moment. He didn't expect Ming Xinyin to put in so much effort to track his whereabouts. Siwu Yai still seemed very calm, accepting the bottle of water from Ming Xinyin. As long as fourth senior brother is happy, Ming Xinyin picked up the second bottle of water, drank it all in one go, then looked at Siwu Yai. Why does your face look so bad? Siwu Yai went silent. Ming Xinyin smirked, pressing, don't be so petty, okay? This time I didn't lose to you. Being played by me once isn't anything to be ashamed of. Beating Siwu Yai made Ming Xinyin extremely happy. He felt a sense of joy like a little man getting his way. After a moment of silence, Siwu Yai spoke. Fourth senior brother, I have a question I'd like to ask. Speak, Ming Xinyin said gleefully. Nostrils flared. He was super happy right now for some reason. To be honest, he wasn't even sure Siwu Yai would show up here. He kind of felt like a cat that caught a fish by sheer luck. Sure, luck played a part, but luck is also a kind of strength, you know? Especially for a sly and clever guy like Siwu Yai. Siwu Yai asked. The Demon Heaven Pavilion's barrier is weakened on a large scale. I heard that Master, in his old age, forced the absorption of the barrier's power in order to maintain his cultivation. Is that true? Ming Xinyin wasn't even at Demon Heaven Pavilion during this time. He'd also heard about this, but since he didn't see it with his own eyes, he couldn't tell if it was true or false. Sorry, if you want to know, just come back to Demon Heaven Pavilion with me. Siwu Yai smiled, nodding. I have to say, fourth senior brother has changed a lot. Ming Xinyin was taken aback. Huh? He made a sound. I still remember. You resisted fourth senior brother the most back then. Back then was back then. Now is now. Times have changed. Siwu Yai asked doubtfully. Then why didn't you make a move to capture me and bring me back last time? Bringing you back now is the same. Ming Xinyin couldn't exactly say that his strength wasn't up to par back then. Siwu Yai laughed loudly. We're all fellow disciples. Why make things difficult for a traitor? After all, I am still a traitor. You should feel lucky that I'm the one who came today. If Master made a move himself, I wouldn't be surprised if he used one hand to turn you into ashes. Siwu Yai replied. Master's cultivation is unfathomable. How would I dare doubt him? It's just that I have many things left unfinished. Returning at this time makes me a little unwilling. Ming Xinyin gave Siwu Yai a look. I don't care what you have going on, you have to come back to Demon Heaven Pavilion with me. Now, Yuan Qi fluctuations appeared on his body. Master's 10-year tribulation from absorbing the barrier's energy must have been reduced to 5 years. After 5 years, Demon Heaven Pavilion will still be the same, everyone going their own way. Siwu Yai must have told Ming Xinyin this logic countless times. Siwu Yai wasn't afraid, and calmly said, So what if I go back? Can it change the current state of Demon Heaven Pavilion? What will happen in 5 years? Ming Xinyin replied. We'll figure out what happens later. Later. Siwu Yai scornfully said, Then I have to copy fourth senior brother and say something rebellious. If I don't want to, even if Maester himself comes, he can't do anything to me. Traitor, I have to clean up the sect on behalf of Master now. As soon as he said that, Ming Xinyin slammed his palm down on the table. Bam! The table shattered into fine powder, and the 2 bottles of water spun in the air. Siwu Yai's expression remained indifferent. Without moving at all, Ming Xinyin raised an eyebrow and said, Arrogant. Do you think my cultivation is still standing still? He unleashed an extremely powerful palm strike. To Ming Xinyin's surprise, the palm imprint hit Siwu Yai's chest directly. Siwu Yai flew backwards, crashing through the wooden door. Huh? Ming Xinyin questioned. Not understanding, successfully punished Siwu Yai, gaining 200 merit points. Lu Zhao, who was comprehending the heavenly book in the East Pavilion of Demon Heaven Pavilion, was suddenly startled by the system's notification, not understanding what was going on. After carefully considering it, only Ming Xinyin could have done something like this. Because he was still half asleep, Lu Zhao was also dumbfounded. He forgot that Siwu Yai's cultivation was sealed, and felt strange that Ming Xinyin's cultivation was only Golden Lotus Opening Leaf. How could he be Siwu Yai's opponent? Forget it, if I can't figure it out, I'll just keep sleeping. Back at Yellow Wind Mountain, Siwu Yai spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. He struggled to support his body and sat up. Ming Xinyin hurriedly ran towards Siwu Yai, who had been knocked away. He originally thought that he would fight Siwu Yai to a draw, but he didn't expect Siwu Yai to not only not fight back, but also stubbornly take a palm strike from him. After investigating for a while, Ming Xinyin finally understood. Siwu Yai wasn't hiding his aura, but had his cultivation sealed. Ming Xinyin sat on one leg, observing Siwu Yai. So you had your cultivation sealed. Even 7th junior brother has a day like this. Siwu Yai wasn't angry, he just said, 4th senior brother is indeed stronger than before, but if my cultivation was still there, you still wouldn't be my opponent. Ming Xinyin's face was as bright as a flower, gleefully replying, A loser under my hands, too bad there's no what if in this world. Siwu Yai shook his head, gnashing his teeth. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Alright, losing is losing. 4th senior brother, just do it. Ming Xinyin grabbed Siwu Yai's collar with one hand, lifting him up. You think I wouldn't dare? Siwu Yai didn't flinch at all, looking straight at Ming Xinyin. Do you really dare? Siwu Yai understood this 4th senior brother very well. He was sure that Ming Xinyin wouldn't dare make a move, so he took a gamble. Who said Siwu Yai always worked carefully and meticulously? without any chance of error. Sometimes he would also choose to bet once, such as the current situation. Ming Xinying grabbed Si Wuyai's collar. His eyes seemed to be on fire. He didn't rush to attack, but glared at Si Wuyai. Since I am your senior brother after all, before I really make a move, I want to know the real reason why you guys left Demon Heaven Pavilion. You guys here, including both first senior brother Yu Zhanghai and second senior brother Yu Shangrong. Si Wuyai indifferently smiled and said, the reason is very simple. Master's temper is volatile, and we are also people, we also need dignity. Who can endure it like that forever? After getting the weapons and cultivation techniques, we just left, cutting off contact afterwards. Ming Xinyin scoffed and glared. You think I'll believe that? You talk about betraying the sect so calmly. When did you become so thick-skinned? Si Wuyai slowly said, as if he had seen it with his own eyes. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and the experts of the 10 great sects besieged Golden Court Mountain. I remember fourth senior brother also thought the same way. You probably won't believe it, but that day, among the experts besieging Golden Court Mountain, there were quite a few of my spies. Fourth senior brother really angered Master quite a bit, huh? Ming Xinyin angrily stood up and shouted, "Shut up!" A sound wave struck, and Si Wuyai was knocked backwards. Si Wuyai raised his head and continued, I'm just telling the truth. Please forgive me, senior brother. Ming Xinyin slowly said, the past is different from the present. You are not us. How can you know the situation on Golden Court Mountain? Similarly, you are not us. How can you understand our feelings? You still dare to argue. Ming Xiyin exerted force, sending Si Wuyai flying out with a bang. Si Wuyai smashed through the door and landed in the courtyard. The system immediately notified. Punished Si Wuyai, gained 200 merit points. Lu Zhao at the Demon Sky Pavilion just opened his eyes for a moment, then closed them again, continuing to comprehend the heavenly book. For cultivators who have gone through the 9 levels of body tempering, if the opponent doesn't use primal chi, this kind of attack won't cause any damage whatsoever. Ming Xiyin jumped out of the council hall, looked at Si Wuyai strangely, and said, Heaven's way has reincarnation, and retribution is certain. Who has the ability to seal your cultivation to the point where even you can't unlock it? Si Wuyai leaned on the ground, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. While also glancing outside the courtyard, Ming Xiyin said, Don't hope that someone will come to save you. I've been free these past few days and have been cultivating here. They're probably so scared that they've all run away. Si Wuyai suddenly realized that this fourth senior brother was much smarter than he thought. Si Wuyai forced a smile. Fourth senior brother, why don't you join the dark web? I'll give you the position of leader, and I'm willing to assist you. No cure for that. Master isn't here, so I'll teach you a lesson. In his place, Ming Xinyin unleashed a palm strike towards Si Wuyai. Just as the palm was about to hit Si Wuyai's chest, boom, another, even faster palm strike blocked it in front of Si Wuyai. That palm was extremely powerful, as fast as lightning, completely neutralizing Ming Xinyin's energy. Ming Xinyin turned his head, frowning as he looked at a girl who walked out from behind. I am Bai Yuqing of the White Tiger Hall, Underworld Sect. Greetings, fourth Mr. Underworld Sect. Ming Xinyin took a few steps back and quickly looked around. Afraid that the eldest senior brother would suddenly appear, Bai Yuqing smiled and said, Fourth Mister, don't panic. The sect leader has a lot of things to do and can't come here. Ridiculous. Am I afraid of him? In his heart, Ming Xinyin breathed a slight sigh of relief. Bai Yuqing continued. Fourth Mister, I just heard some noise over here. The sect leader repeatedly instructed us not to interfere in the private affairs of you misters, but the sect leader also instructed me to protect seventh Mister completely. Fourth Mister, why do you have to be so aggressive, making things difficult for seventh Mister? Ming Xiyin raised his head, brushing his sleeves, and replied, Your sect leader has repeatedly instructed you, but you still dare to oppose me. As for your sect leader, the first person I'll kill is someone like you who doesn't follow the rules. Bai Yuqing was speechless after hearing that. Si Wuyai barely stood up. Fourth senior brother, why are you so angry? Even if you kill me, it won't solve anything. Ming Xiyin with his sharp eyes and cold face. My business is solving you. Si Wuyai was rendered speechless by this sentence. Si Wuyai looked at the fourth senior brother in front of him, and for a moment he suddenly felt that this person was very unfamiliar. He couldn't understand why fourth senior brother had changed so much. The Ming Xiyin he knew back when he was at the Demon Sky Pavilion had an attitude that wasn't much different from theirs. After pondering for a moment, Si Wuyai lifted his shirt, revealing his slightly thin but well-defined six-pack abs. It's hard to imagine that someone with a scholarly and weak appearance like Si Wuyai would have such a beautiful body. However, right in the middle of his chest was a glaringly large character. Written in seal script, the character was bright red, as if it had fused into his skin, looking extremely prominent. Si Wuyai pulled his shirt open. The glaring character almost covered his entire chest. Ming Xiyin frowned, extremely shocked in his heart. Body-binding curse! When he was at the Demon Sky Pavilion, in order to increase his cultivation, Ming Xinyin also studied a lot of books in the West Pavilion. At time, Ming Xinyin's Azure Wood Sutra had not yet been perfected, and his knowledge of various spells was also quite accumulated. The body-binding curse in front of him was an extremely terrifying method of binding cultivation. Ming Xiyin now understood why Si Wuyai hadn't fought back just now, because all of his cultivation had been sealed, and he wasn't deliberately hiding it. Si Wuyai smiled faintly. Fourth senior brother, do you know whose handwriting this is? Ming Xinyin replied, I didn't see it with my own eyes. How would I know? Ming Xinyin's answer made Si Wuyai even more sure that Ming Xinyin wasn't on the cloud-piercing flying chariot that day when they went to the Pure Nether sect. So Ming Xinyin's presence at the Yellow Peak Mountain now wasn't ordered by the master. Thinking of this, Si Wuyai's heart eased a lot. Si Wuyai slowly said, This body-binding curse is from Master. Ming Xinyin was extremely surprised when he heard the two words, Master. He remembered that recently Master often used some extraordinary methods, from the Buddhist imprint to the Taoist imprint, which made him feel very strange, and now even the curse has appeared. Even so, Ming Xinyin still found it a bit hard to believe. Si Wuyai then said, Senior brother, don't doubt it, this is indeed the handwriting of Master himself. You will understand when you return to the Demon Sky Pavilion. Even if that's the case, you deserve it. The body-binding curse has caused me to lose all my cultivation. In the cultivation world, danger lurks everywhere. Many sects can't wait to skin me alive. Even Senior Brother can find his way to Yellow Peak Mountain. So what about others? Aren't you afraid that Master will also use such cruel methods on you in the future? Ming Xinyin paused slightly and then said, Stop trying to bewitch me with sweet words, betraying the sect and defying the Master. Even if Master kills you, I wouldn't feel strange. Come back with me to see Master. Si Wuyai claimed to be a divine strategist, but he didn't expect fourth Senior Brother to be so stubborn. The body-binding curse had such a great threatening power, but he could still ignore it. Then what else could he rely on to change Ming Xinyin's mind? Since talking doesn't work, he had to use other methods. Si Wuyai straightened his clothes and smiled faintly. Fourth Senior Brother, it's true that force is very important at times, but what really determines victory or defeat isn't just force. If you want to take me away, I'm afraid it won't be that easy. Ming Xinyin angrily shouted. You'll know after you try. The four words carried a powerful sound wave towards Si Wuyai. The space in front of him seemed to be distorted, but the sound wave hadn't even reached Si Wuyai's face when it was blocked by a transparent force, as if there was an invisible, thick wall in front of him. Ming Xinyin raised his head and looked towards the great seat holder of the White Tiger Hall, Bai Yuqing, who was standing in front of Si Wuyai. Bai Yuqing spoke up. I'm sorry, fourth mister. I must ensure the safety of seventh mister. Ming Xinyin then asked, What's your name again? Bai Yuqing cupped her hands. I am the seat holder of the White Tiger Hall, Bai Yuqing of the Underworld Sect, Ming Xinyin. Your cultivation isn't bad. Why don't you join the Demon Sky Pavilion? Bai Yuqing was startled by Ming Xinyin's words. This, Bai Yuqing said embarrassedly. Thank you for fourth mister's kind intentions. I have already joined the Underworld Sect, so I won't think about leaving. As soon as she said that, Ming Xinyin immediately looked at Si Wuyai, a hint of sarcasm in the corner of his eye. See? Even she understands you can't betray your sect. Look at yourself. Si Wuyai didn't even bother with his senior brother's mockery. For many years, countless people had mocked him like that. Traitor, patricide, disloyal and unrighteous, shameless, scheming, treacherous, petty, and insidious. He was already numb to these curses. Ming Xinyin looked towards Bai Yuqing. Alright, I'll remember you. Even though Bai Yuqing's cultivation was higher than Ming Xinyin's, she still felt a little uneasy hearing those words. She thought of the sect leader supporting her and her brothers, and only then did she breathe a slight sigh of relief. Besides, Si Wuyai was also on the side of the underworld sect, so how many more years could the Evil Sky Pavilion withstand anyway? In the cultivation world, the most valuable thing is time, and the most worthless thing is also time. Bai Yuqing cupped her hands. Thank you, Fourth Excellency, for understanding. Please return. Ming Xinyin spat out two words. Return. Immediately, Ming Xinyin stomped his foot. Bam! The pavilions on both sides immediately collapsed, and Ming Xinyin's entire body soared into the sky, ascending higher than Bai Yuqing. Ming Xinyin stood in midair, looking down. Bai Yuqing's eyes met Ming Xinyin's. Deep down, she really wanted to spar with a disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Since embarking on the path of cultivation, she had heard so much about the legends and stories of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Everyone feared the Evil Sky Pavilion, especially its master, who was also the sect leader's teacher. The last time the four great seat holders faced the Evil Sky Pavilion together, they didn't dare make a move. Now that she had such a rare opportunity, how could she not be excited? Bai Yuqing smiled and said, Fourth Excellency wants to make a move? Whoosh! Ming Xinyin's figure shot forward like lightning. Arriving in front of Bai Yuqing in an instant, Bai Yuqing's expression turned serious, not daring to be careless, and the two plunged into a fierce battle. In an instant, astral energies intertwined. Astral energy B scattered across the sky, and the astral seals of both sides collided endlessly. Seeing this, Si Wuyai shook his head slightly. The person in charge of Huangfeng Mountain rushed over, bowing low and saying, This subordinate is guilty. This subordinate should not have let a wolf into the house. Si Wuyai glanced at him. This matter is not your fault. The person in charge was relieved and breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, sect leader, for your grace. But now, you may retire and enjoy your old age in peace. Sect leader. This is the rule of the dark web. Considering your loyalty over the years, I will spare your tongue. Si Wuyai spoke these words with extreme composure. The person in charge wanted to say something, but seeing that the sect leader had already spoken to this extent, he didn't dare to object any further, so he sighed, bowed to Si Wuyai, and said, Thank you, sect leader, for your grace. This subordinate takes his leave. Si Wuyai didn't even look at him, and until the person in charge left, he didn't even turn around to look once. A great man does not dwell on small details. Some mistakes cannot be made, nor can they be allowed to exist. Not long after, another person came to Si Wuyai's side, looking at the battle in the sky while saying, Sect leader, please enter the room to rest. How could Si Wuyai be in the mood to rest at this time? He took a few steps forward to get a clear view of the fight between Bai Yuqing and Ming Xiyin, and then replied, No need. That person immediately looked puzzled. Sect leader, these two are fighting to a standstill. Who will ultimately win? Si Wuyai replied. Don't worry, Bai Yuqing is a seven-leaf expert. Although fourth senior brother has a heaven-grade weapon, he is no match for her. Bai Yuqing is only being considerate, Si Wuyai continued. Although heaven-grade weapons are powerful, it is almost impossible to rely on them to fight across so many levels. This subordinate understands, Si Wuyai then said. Go and inform them that the intelligence point on Huangfeng Mountain has been exposed, and the core personnel should relocate immediately, yes. Just at this moment, the trees all around shot up taller. Si Wuyai sighed. It seems that fourth senior brother's Azure Wood Heart Sutra is complete. Master? Has he figured it out? So like in the cultivation world, right? Whether you're talking about the Taoist seals from Taoist sects, those chanting Dharma seals from Buddhist sects, freaky demonic meditation, or even the super noble vast righteous chi from Confucian sects, all of them gotta use origin energy. They either use it to beef up some crazy strong astral shield, or, for some gentle healing vibes. No matter how fancy their techniques get, they don't really stray from that basic playbook. But the Evil Sky Pavilion's Azure Wood Heart art, man, that's a whole different ballgame. This technique actually uses origin energy to make plants go totally wild and grow like crazy. At this moment, the tangled vines filling the sky simultaneously attacked Bai Yuqing. Bai Yuqing was secretly astonished, watching Ming Xinyin's figure flash, and telling herself not to hold back any longer. Bai Yuqing said, I won't be polite. At this moment, a 7 zang tall Dharma body appeared. In the instant the Dharma body appeared, a powerful astral energy shot out, centered on Bai Yuqing. The azure wood was destroyed by the majestic astral energy in an instant. A droplet-shaped astral energy shield appeared in front of Ming Xiyin, floating in the air. In his hand, the departure hook flashed with a cold light. When the azure wood was shattered, Ming Xiyin immediately soared through the air. Bai Yuqing gasped. Feeling an extremely dangerous aura of threat, she immediately unleashed her entire body's primordial energy, and, in an extremely short period of time, her hands had struck out countless palm imprints. Ming Xiyin wielded the departure hook, constantly shattering the incoming palm imprints. Seeing the departure hook in Ming Xinyin's hand, Bai Yuqing recognized it as a heaven-grade weapon. Bai Yuqing shouted, worthy of being the fourth excellency of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Bai Yuqing's Dharma body suddenly shrunk, then expanded again. From 7 zang to 1 zang, she confidently said. But it's still far from enough, Si Wuyai wondered. This is the righteous heavenly astral energy? The underworld sect is reputed by the world to be the #1 great demonic sect, yet a member of the demonic sect is cultivating the righteous heavenly astral energy? But even if it is orthodox or demonic cultivation, the methods of cultivation between the two schools are still different. It's not strange that the underworld sect has a righteous heavenly astral energy expert like Bai Yuqing. In an instant, the Dharma body expanded, and the righteous heavenly astral energy struck towards Ming Xiyin with overwhelming force. The gap between their realms was too great. Ming Xiyin somersaulted several times in the air, flying backward to reduce the force of the incoming astral energy. This righteous heavenly astral energy attack was beyond Ming Xiyin's expectations. But Ming Xiyin had also prepared a defensive move. How could one of the 4 great protectors of the underworld sect not have some tricks up his sleeve? Ming Xiyin continuously spun around, retreating several hundred meters before controlling his body in midair. Even so, this righteous heavenly astral energy had caused his blood to surge, and his whole body to tremble. If he hadn't prepared early, this move would have injured him. Ming Xiyin glared at Bai Yuqing in midair. Bai Yuqing withdrew her Dharma body, and everything became quiet again. Bai Yuqing didn't feel proud of having defeated Ming Xiyin. On the contrary, she was very surprised in her heart. Bai Yuqing humbly cupped her hands. I concede. She could gauge Ming Xiyin's strength. In other words, she felt that Ming Xiyin was still holding back his strength. Although Bai Yuqing was confident of 100% victory, she was still shocked in her heart. The Evil Sky Pavilion is feared for a reason. Any disciple who has left the Evil Sky Pavilion has the ability to dominate a region. This is absolutely not an exaggeration. Ming Xiyin spoke. 7th junior brother, I underestimated you. You actually managed to invite someone to help you. Si Wuyai then replied. 4th senior brother, why bother with such hardship? Ming Xiyin also said. 7th junior brother, is it really necessary? Si Wuyai continued. Words are useless. Please return, 4th senior brother, and tell master for me that I am living well, and that the great senior brother and I won't do anything to upset him. Ming Xiyin rebuked. You scoundrel! How dare you say you won't upset master, you unfilial wretch! Then, Ming Xiyin turned to Bai Yuqing and said in a deep voice, I advise you to mind your own business, and scram. His shout carried sound waves that swept towards Bai Yuqing, but when it reached within a few feet of Bai Yuqing, it dissipated. Bai Yuqing shook her head helplessly. If 4th senior brother remains stubborn, then I won't be polite. Ming Xiyin frowned, feeling a bit unwilling as he looked at that primal body. He had meticulously investigated and laid low for a while, trying to understand everything, and finally found Huangfeng Mountain, lying in wait. All his efforts were now wasted because of this Bai Yuqing, gone down the drain. How could Ming Xiyin accept this? The 7 zang tall primal body reappeared, towering in the sky. The surrounding primal chi gathered at an incredibly alarming rate, and vital energy swirled around Ming Xiyin's body. Bai Yuqing lightly tapped her toes, and both she and the primal body soared into the air. Ming Xiyin felt a heavy pressure and quickly retreated. Bai Yuqing had no intention of showing mercy. Her whole body, along with the primal body, shot towards Ming Shi Yin like an arrow. This was the most effective crushing method for opponents of higher realms. Previously, Elder Xiang Chunlai of the Zhengyi Dao had also used this method to break Zhu Honggong's 8 trigrams formation. All tricks were meaningless in the face of a primal body. Si Wuyai looked up in surprise at the scene in the sky, Bai Yuqing's figure rushing straight ahead, accompanied by the primal body like a shadow. Si Wuyai softly wondered, "Great senior brother, is this really your intention?" Ming Shi Yin retreated rapidly. The primal body's speed was too fast. The members of the Darknet couldn't help but look up at the earth-shattering attack of the Supreme Expert. It seemed that the 4th excellency of the Devil Sky Pavilion was going to suffer this time. After all, Ming Shi Yin was a disciple of the Devil Sky Pavilion. How could he have any face left if he was crushed like this? Everyone shook their heads and sighed. In an instant, Bai Yuqing's primal body arrived before Ming Shi Yin, and 3 figures suddenly appeared in front of Bai Yuqing. The 3 figures merged into 2. She closed her eyes and opened them again. Bai Yuqing muttered, "What is this?" 3 figures merge into 2. 2 figures, looking faint, like reflections on the water. 2 become 1. It was the figure of a cyan-robed swordsman. Her primal body had to stop. Bai Yuqing had completely stopped, unable to move forward, her long hair flying in the wind, wearing cyan robes. The figure stood with his arms crossed, floating in the air, with a long sword on his back that was constantly vibrating. The sword on the swordsman's back suddenly flew out, unsheathed. Bai Yuqing's heart felt as heavy as lead. A terrifying name flashed through her mind. Yu Shangrong. Pieft. The everlasting sword emitted a spiritual energy never seen before, like fireworks blooming in a fan shape, slashing straight at Bai Yuqing's primal body. Whoosh! The extreme speed astonished everyone. The primal body was instantly cut in half, dissipating in midair. After a few seconds, Bai Yuqing fell straight down, spitting out a mouthful of blood. At the same time, Bai Yuqing's primal body was severely injured, and the entire sky was scattered with red liquid. Bai Yuqing fell freely. Seeing this scene, Ming Shi Yin thought to himself, having the primal body destroyed is no different from being seriously injured. This one sword is enough for Bai Yuqing to rest for half a year. While falling, Bai Yuqing widened her eyes and looked up at the sky. Then she looked towards the cyan-robed swordsman. The cyan-robed swordsman also slowly descended from above, with a faint smile on his face, the wind blowing his long hair. The crimson everlasting sword was sheathed again. Ming Shi Yin was also completely stunned, looking at the cyan-robed swordsman's back with a puzzled expression. This was his second senior brother, the sword devil Yu Shangrong. He struggled with whether to thank second senior brother or not. After all, that earth-shattering sword was second senior brother's doing. But second senior brother was also one of the Devil Sky Pavilion's traitors. Si Wuyai's expression was unusually calm. Si Wuyai's subordinates all showed fearful expressions. Some trembled, some panicked, and some trembled and panicked. After the sword strike, the whole world seemed to have become silent. The one who broke the silence was Si Wuyai. "Greetings, second senior brother." The others also bowed and saluted. "Greetings, Second Excellency." At the same time, just as she was about to touch the ground, Bai Yuqing suddenly struck her dantian with a palm, turning 180 degrees in mid-air. She landed on the ground on one knee, one hand supporting her entire body. Bai Yuqing stayed still, not daring to move. Cough, cough. She spat out another mouthful of blood, the blood staining the back of her hand, as red as a delicate plum blossom. Bai Yuqing panted, not daring to look up at all. She knew who had just arrived. This cyan-robed swordsman was the Devil Sky Pavilion's second disciple, Yu Shangrong. Yu Shangrong hovered in the sky, and then landed on the ground. He revealed a warm smile and waved to everyone. No need for formalities. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Yu Shangrong's attitude surprised them. One of Si Wuyai's subordinates thought to himself, "This is hardly a heinous devil. He's clearly a gentle, modest, and polite gentleman." Ming Shi Yin, standing behind Yu Shangrong, felt differently. He was still struggling with whether to say thank you or not. HMPH, what's there to thank? Yu Shangrong helped him, but a traitor's still a traitor. What can Senior Brother 2 even do to him? With Master backing him up, he's not afraid of what Senior Brother 2 dares to do. Yu Shangrong turned around, a warm and gentle smile blooming on his face. "Junior Brother 4, are you hurt?" Ming Shi Yin hurriedly grinned and replied, "Ah, no, thanks to Senior Brother 2 for lending a hand." Yu Shangrong's voice was extremely gentle and generous. "We're brothers, no need to be so polite." Ming Shi Yin nodded repeatedly upon hearing this. Yes. The unyielding backbone he'd spent half the day building up deflated like a punctured balloon in an instant. Ming Shi Yin didn't think that Senior Brother 2 would be like him, running around like an idiot looking for clues. Huangfeng Mountain is a desolate place, very difficult to find, Ming Shi Yin wondered. "Senior Brother 2, why did you come to Huangfeng Mountain?" Yu Shangrong replied with a smile. "I had a prior appointment with Junior Brother 7. Hearing this, Ming Shi Yin suddenly felt a chill run down his spine, goosebumps erupting all over. He looked towards Si Wuyai, who was standing straight as an arrow on the ground. If this Bai Yuqing was deliberately brought back by Si Wuyai to guard against experts arriving, then what was the meaning of him having an appointment with Senior Brother 2 to deal with Bai Yuqing beforehand? What kind of scheme is this? Ming Shi Yin couldn't help but want to give Si Wuyai a thumbs up. What a mind. The 3 senior brothers exchanged pleasantries for a while. Then all 3 of them turned their gaze towards Bai Yuqing. Bai Yuqing's dharma body had been shattered by Yu Shangrong's sword, and she still hadn't caught her breath. Yu Shangrong looked at Bai Yuqing and asked, "You are Bai Yuqing, chief of the White Tiger Hall under Senior Brother 1. Bai Yuqing swallowed a mouthful of saliva, enduring the pain, and slowly sat up straight, one leg still kneeling on the ground. She replied, "Greetings, second mister." She wasn't angry, nor did she dare to be. Sect leader Yu had advised them that, on the path to the great cause of the Nether sect, kill gods when encountering gods, and kill Buddhas when encountering Buddhas. But there were only two people they must avoid. One was the founder of the Evil Sky Pavilion, and the other was Yu Shangrong. The four great protectors had always deeply ingrained this rule in their hearts. However, deep down they still had a desire to spar with such powerful experts. Only by truly exchanging blows would they know if the legendary sword devil Yu Shangrong was truly on par with the sect leader. If she still had a sliver of doubt before, it was completely gone. Now, Yu Shangrong's sword strike just now had exquisitely displayed the gap between them. Even though it was only a difference of one leaf, Bai Yuqing had lost completely, a thorough and utter defeat. Leaving her without a single word of complaint, Yu Shangrong smiled and said, "Not bad," Bai Yuqing immediately said. "Thank you, second mister, for showing mercy." Yu Shangrong asked, "It seems you really like using your dharma body to bully the weak." Being asked this, Bai Yuqing didn't know how to answer. She stammered. This, Si Wuyai's subordinates began to whisper among themselves. Bai Yuqing's move just now of using her dharma body to forcefully suppress others was indeed bullying the weak. This subordinate was ordered by the sect leader to protect the safety of 7th Mister, but 4th Mister insisted on taking 7th Mister away. This subordinate had no choice but to make this move. I hope 2nd Mister understands. Hearing this, Yu Shangrong's gaze shifted to Si Wuyai, Junior Brother 7. Is this true? As soon as he asked this, he continued. No need to rush to answer. Think clearly. As long as you say it's not true, I will end her life with one sword. I am very willing to help Senior Brother 1 clear out these deceitful and lying disciples. Si Wuyai was speechless. Ming Xinyin also remained silent, a slight tremor in his heart. Senior Brother 2 is always consistent, making him impossible to see through. Senior Brother 2 is obviously very humble, but extremely elusive. It was very obvious that Yu Shangrong had placed Bai Yuqing's life in Si Wuyai's hands. Si Wuyai replied without hesitation. Of course it is. Yu Shangrong immediately cupped his fist at Bai Yuqing. Bai Yuqing felt her scalp go numb and hurriedly cupped her fist in return. This subordinate wouldn't dare. Yu Shangrong didn't pay attention to Bai Yuqing anymore, but turned to speak to Si Wuyai. Junior Brother 7, if this is to protect you, then the fault lies with you. Oops. Si Wuyai's eyelids twitched slightly. Yu Shangrong continued. Junior Brother 4 may seem shrewd on the surface, but he is actually a very loyal person. With his temperament, how could he do something that would endanger your life? Obviously, Senior Brother 4 insisted on taking him away, but why did Senior Brother 2 say? Hearing this, Si Wuyai stuttered in confusion. Senior Brother 2, Yu Shangrong interjected. No need to explain. Yu Shangrong looked at Si Wuyai calmly and said, It is a matter of course for an elder brother to discipline his younger brother. How can you be so disrespectful to your elder brother? Si Wuyai sighed softly in his heart, and reluctantly replied, Senior Brother 2 is right. At this moment, Ming Shiyin also ran to Yu Shangrong's side. Senior Brother 2 is still the most reasonable. Old 7, obediently come back with me to see Master. Yu Shangrong opened his mouth. Junior Brother 4, listen to me. Please speak, Senior Brother 2. Junior Brother 7 is exceptionally intelligent. He has helped me a lot these past few years. Give Senior Brother face this once, Ming Shiyin awkwardly chuckled. Then I'll leave it up to Senior Brother 2 to decide. Wuyai, hand over the peacock plume as compensation to your Senior Brother. Yu Shangrong smiled faintly and said, Also so that your Senior Brother has something to show when he returns. Si Wuyai was extremely surprised by this request. He began to regret having arranged to meet Senior Brother 2 in this place. At the same time, Si Wuyai also realized that Senior Brother 2 seemed unhappy. This unhappiness must have originated from Senior Brother 1. Or perhaps it originated from Bai Yuqing. Guessing was meaningless. Ming Xinyin immediately chimed in. Senior Brother 2 is right. Si Wuyai sighed and bowed his head to Ming Xinyin. Senior Brother 4, I was rude just now. I will accept the punishment. When has the Evil Sky Pavilion ever cared about these kinds of rules? These are all the old ways of those rigid, orthodox sects. Having to suddenly act like a gentleman made Ming Xinyin a little uncomfortable. But he didn't dare to object. Since you've said so, I won't haggle with you anymore. I've already prepared myself mentally not to be able to take you away. Ming Xinyin had come here originally intending to take a gamble on his luck, because Si Wuyai's strength wasn't bad. It's just that he didn't expect Si Wuyai to have his cultivation sealed, and by Master himself. But there was no point in talking about these things now. After returning to the Evil Sky Pavilion, he would ask the other senior brothers and sisters. Ming Xinyin reached out, holding his hand in front of Si Wuyai. Hand over the peacock plume. Si Wuyai waved his hand at his subordinate beside him, and not long after, the subordinate brought the peacock plume over. Sect leader, your peacock plume. From the outside, the peacock plume was cast from pure gold, shaped like a sparkling cylindrical tube. The cylindrical tube had two key ends, and when pressed, it could condense chi into power, then fire it out from the other end, looking as beautiful as a peacock, spreading its brilliant tail. However, in the moment you were shocked by this beautiful scene, it had already taken your life. Si Wuyai had no expression on his face, Ming Xiyin stepped forward to take the peacock plume, constantly clicking his tongue. After observing for a while, Ming Xiyin said, 1. You have no cultivation. 2. You have no weapon, but at least you still have your head. Si Wuyai gave a light laugh and asked, 4th senior brother wants to crack my head open. Out of respect for 2nd senior brother, I won't bother arguing with you. Don't blame this senior brother for not reminding you. The cultivation world is treacherous. Without the peacock plume and enough cultivation, be careful not to attract the attention of enemies. Si Wuyai cupped his hands and acted like he was seeing Ming Xiyin off. This matter doesn't need senior brother to worry about. Ming Xiyin snorted softly, too lazy to waste words with him. So he lightly leaped into the air, stepping on nothing as he left. Sooner or later, you'll fall into my hands. The sound gradually faded. Constantly echoing back and forth between the Huangfeng Mountains, Ming Xiyin's figure also slowly disappeared. Si Wuyai cupped his hands towards Yu Shangrong. Thank you, senior brother, for the assist. Yu Shangrong smiled faintly, saying, What assist? It's good enough you don't find me annoying. I wouldn't dare. 2 of Si Wuyai's subordinates whispered. Huangfeng Mountain already had Bai Yuqing protecting it, and Yu Shangrong suddenly appeared, not only injuring Bai Yuqing, but also taking away the sect leader's personal weapon. No wonder Si Wuyai said the sect leader was definitely regretting it. Yu Shangrong saw through this, but didn't say it. The one next to him immediately said, Don't spout nonsense. Do you want to die? Yu Shangrong turned his head to ask Bai Yuqing, Did the eldest senior brother send you here? Bai Yuqing endured the pain and replied, The sect leader carefully instructed me. I wouldn't dare disobey. After Ming Xiyin left and asked the reason for Bai Yuqing's appearance here, Yu Shangrong turned to say, After you return, tell the eldest senior brother, I don't care what he wants to do, and I'm too lazy to care, but don't go too far. Bai Yuqing was stunned, not knowing what to do. Bai Yuqing helplessly stared at Si Wuyai. Si Wuyai then said, Bai Yuqing, you should go back. She is the chief of the White Tiger Hall. Naturally aware of the conflict between Yu Shangrong and the sect leader, these two have never agreed with each other, and after leaving the Evil Sky Pavilion, this disagreement has only intensified. Bai Yuqing didn't dare to stay here any longer. It was best to leave as soon as possible. Yu Shangrong injuring her was clearly a warning to the sect leader. Bai Yuqing was just the cream caught between 2 Oreo cookies, unlucky enough to get caught. Bai Yuqing cupped her hands. In that case, 7th mister, please take care. Ming Xiyin flew straight towards the Evil Sky Pavilion. Flying through the air for half a day, he finally arrived at Gengzin Town. At least he had the peacock plume in his hands. He would have something to show his master upon returning. And Ming Xinyin's worries lessened a bit. He hadn't had a good rest in a while, always carefully investigating Si Wuyai's affairs. His mind was exhausted, and the battle with Bai Yunqing, though he wasn't injured, still affected him somewhat. So, Ming Xinyin decided to stop and rest a bit at the Gengzi Town post station. In Gengzi Town, a woman looked towards Jinting Mountain and said, The Evil Sky Pavilion's barrier is weakening again. Gengzin Town wasn't far from the Evil Sky Pavilion, but you couldn't see it with the naked eye. Yet these people could sit here and discuss the Evil Sky Pavilion. Clearly, there were many people silently paying attention to its every move behind the scenes. If things continued like this, the Evil Sky Pavilion wouldn't be able to hold on for more than a few years. I really admire the way this old ancestor does things. A man has to have dignity when he's alive. I'd rather lose a bit of lifespan than let those bastards trample on the Evil Sky Pavilion. Ming Xinyin didn't find these words strange. The great wide world is full of strange things. The demonic path can still exist because of people with the same aspirations gathering together. The Evil Sky Pavilion is the most prominent sect of the demonic path, naturally feared and admired by those in the demonic path. There are quite a few who want to go to Jinting Mountain and become disciples of the Evil Sky Pavilion. It's just a pity that the master is really old and doesn't take in any more disciples. The woman continued. Dignity doesn't last for many years. Yesterday, someone saw that the barrier's power had decreased by a third. The Evil Sky Pavilion doesn't seem to be planning to repair the barrier anymore. A scarred cultivator next to her chimed in. Barriers aren't easy to repair. It takes several years to possibly restore it. And after several years, the old ancestor, another woman, joined the conversation. That makes sense. I heard that the Heaven Sword sect is preparing to go to war with the Evil Sky Pavilion. The Heaven Sword sect is backed into a corner now. Ming Xiyin glanced at the people chatting, not interrupting but silently drinking his tea. But the group dug deeper and deeper into the problem. Hearing this, Ming Xiyin immediately glared at the woman and pressed, The Heaven Sword sect wants to attack the Evil Sky Pavilion. Everyone found Ming Xinyin's behavior very normal, not at all out of place. The post station was that kind of place. People coming and going, information flowing freely. The scarred man continued. The sect leader of the Heaven Sword sect, Luo Chengfeng, died at the hands of the Evil Sky Pavilion's old ancestor. Luo Jingkong only had one son. Moreover, you probably don't know that the Heaven Sword sect's eldest disciple, Zhu Jifeng, has betrayed and surrendered to the Evil Sky Pavilion. It's said that this made Luo Jingkong so angry, he was furious for 3 nights. Luo Jingkong has sent out invitations to other major famous sects. It's possible that before the Evil Sky Pavilion's old ancestor reaches his great tribulation, there will be another all-out attack. Ming Xinyin laughed and said, That old bastard Luo Jingkong is getting so bold. The group all looked at Ming Xinyin and wondered, Old bastard? The man frowned and replied, Brother, no need to use such harsh words, it's just idle chat, don't put personal feelings into it. Luo Jingkong sending out invitation letters is just for show. Seeing that Ming Xinyin didn't care much, the crowd of onlookers grew larger and larger, all gathering around Ming Xinyin to gossip. The man continued to reply, That's right, all of the righteous path's 10 famous sects, except for the Pure Illumination Dako, have received the invitation letters I don't know if the Cloud Heaven Luo 3 sects will participate. The blonde woman on the left chimed in. What is Luo Jingkong doing this for? The Heaven Sword sect is already like this. At this moment, the black-haired woman on the right spoke up. You can't say for sure. Luo Jingkong has been in closed-door cultivation for many years. He can't be underestimated. What's more, the Evil Sky Pavilion's barrier is weakening more and more. Perhaps this is an opportunity. Ha ha ha, Ming Shiyin stood up and laughed loudly. They always say that every time they besiege Jinting Mountain, I'm tired of hearing it. Even if there's no old ancestor of the Evil Sky Pavilion, there are still his disciples. The people nearby felt that was right. That made sense. At this moment, Ming Shiyin happily said, I'll treat everyone to wine. The crowd of onlookers were delighted. They thanked him profusely. Thank you, young master. But the shop owner poured cold water on their faces. We only sell tea here, no wine. At the same time, in the great hall of the Evil Sky Pavilion, Lu Xiao, with nothing to do, decided to draw a lottery. This lottery draw consumed 50 merit points, and he obtained reversal cards, quantity 3, not bad luck. The last lottery draw used up all the luck points, and this time he got a reward right away. It surprised Lu Xiao a bit. Lottery draws really depend on luck, and looks. Lu Xiao looked at the system interface. The selling price of the 8 methods of Dharma body was 20,000 merit points. Seeing this astronomical price, Lu Xiao decided to draw a lottery to test his luck. Draw a lottery. This lottery draw consumed 50 merit points, and he obtained Fatal Damage Block, quantity 5. Well, a little is better than nothing. This item card, except for the first time it was activated, hasn't been used since. It seems pretty useless. Lu Xiao continued to draw a lottery. Please. This lottery draw consumed 50 merit points. Thank you, host, for participating in the game. Luck points +1. The streak of winning finally ended. Lu Xiao was looking at the system interface when, just then, Xiao Yanhe ran in excitedly, happily saying, Master! 4th senior brother is back! Good! Lu Xiao's gaze looked out of the great hall. In the Evil Sky Pavilion, Ming Shiyin entered, holding up the peacock plume with both hands. Master, your disciple has investigated the situation at Cloudfinch Tower. It is indeed the plan of the traitor Si Wu Yai. Huangfeng Mountain is his intelligence base. Unfortunately, there are experts protecting Si Wu Yai. All I could bring back was his weapon, my disciple said. Lu Xiao, recalling the 2 times the system notified him for punishing Si Wu Yai, nodded. Ming Shiyin presented the peacock plume with both hands. Ahem. Retrieving the weapon. Cough, cough. This celestial tier peacock plume needs to be refined again before it can be used. This was Si Wu Yai's weapon. A type of hidden weapon that was both extremely special and rare. Little Yanner had never seen the real peacock plume before. She'd only heard about it from her senior brothers and sisters. Now, seeing it with her own eyes, she was captivated by its beauty. Little Yanner happily exclaimed, It's so pretty. Then she added, But it's still a bit rough. Not as beautiful as my heaven-sundering ribbon. Ming Shiyin was speechless. Talk about a cat praising its own tail. Ever since she got the heaven-sundering ribbon, little Shimei hadn't found anything else pleasing to the eye. Just a piece of red cloth. Is it really that pretty? Lu Xiao looked at the peacock plume and nodded slightly. How did you find Old Seventh's hiding spot? Ming Xingyin perked up and answered seriously. The story is kinda long. Lu Xiao waved his hand. Nah, no need for the long version. I'm too lazy to listen. Getting back this treasure is already awesome. Lu Xiao picked up the peacock plume. Ming Xingyin's face went blank, like he just missed the perfect opportunity to show off. Master, I also met Bai Yuqing, one of the Underworld sect's 4 guardians, and also the traitor, Yu Shangrong. Lu Xiao mused. Old Seventh must have been restrained. Li King's Yu Chao asked suspiciously. Your Shidi's cultivation base was sealed by me, so it's not strange that you can defeat him. But Bai Yuqing's cultivation is much higher than yours. Hey, if Bai Yuqing was there, how did you get this thing? Ming Xinyin thought for a moment the chance to show off was back. The young man replied, Bai Yuqing is, after all, a member of the Underworld sect. As soon as I mentioned Master, Bai Yuqing was so scared he peed his pants. How could he dare to stop me? Besides, the traitor, Yu Shangrong, was also there. Lu Xiao was curious. Yu Shangrong wanted to stop you. Ming Xinyin rambled on. No, I reasoned with him a lot. He realized he was in the wrong, so he didn't dare to argue. And he didn't stop me either. Little Yanxue thought about this, remembering when she met second senior brother Yu Shangrong in Anyang City. Second senior brother seems like someone who can distinguish right from wrong. Ming Xinyin continued talking while gesticulating wildly. Luckily I was smart, and took his peacock plume before I left, to prevent him from causing trouble and creating countless waves in the future. Lu Xiao nodded with satisfaction. You did well in this matter. Ming Xinyin bowed with clasped hands. Thank you for your praise, Master. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave to rest. Disciple has something else to report, he said. On the way back to the Evil Sky Pavilion, I stopped by the Gengzi Town Post Station, and heard that the former sect leader, Luo Jingkong, of the Heaven Sword sect, is sending out invitations everywhere. They want to besiege the Evil Sky Pavilion once again. As soon as he returned, Ming Xinyin deliberately observed the Golden Court Mountain's barrier, and discovered that the barrier's power had clearly been weakened a lot. He even sought out Elder Hua to confirm, and only believed it after receiving a definite answer. Ming Xiyin quickly looked around and saw that the barrier was indeed changing, because the weather was so hot, up to 42 degrees Celsius, so Pan Zhang and Zhu Jifeng were skinny dipping in a lake at the foot of the mountain. Seeing Ming Xiyin return, they were overjoyed. Fourth senior brother is back. Ming Shi-yin continued to ponder. Whether it's the disciples of the Evil Sky Pavilion or the external cultivators, everyone thinks that the barrier's power has been absorbed by Master, and too many people saw the activity in the secret chamber. Lu Zhao showed a look of disdain. Luo Jingkong only has a crippled body left. Not worth mentioning. Ming Shi-yin quickly bowed. I am willing to leave the mountain and go to the Heaven Sword sect to kill Luo Jingkong. At this moment, from outside, Zhu Jifeng strode quickly into the main hall, arriving at just the right time. Zhu Jifeng entered and saluted Lu Ju. Greetings, Pavilion Master. Fourth senior brother. Ninth senior brother? Lu Juju spoke. What's the matter? Zhu Jifeng replied timidly. Hearing that fourth senior brother has returned, I deliberately came to greet him. He looked like a shy maiden, Ming Shi-yin said annoyedly. Just say what you want to say. Stop beating around the bush. Instead of learning skills properly, why learn those stinky acting skills from the righteous sex? Shoo. Zhu Jifeng blushed red from Ming Shi-yin's words, and he clasped his hands and said, Pavilion Master, I am willing to go to the Heaven Sword sect. What are you going to the Heaven Sword sect for? Just based on your divine court realm, guiding Dao stage, Ming Shi-yin mercilessly attacked Zhu Jifeng. Zhu Jifeng said embarrassedly, I can persuade them. Ming Shi-yin was speechless at this narcissistic Zhu Jifeng. Lu Ju shook his head. You were once a disciple of the Heaven Sword sect. If you go, you will only provoke more conflicts between the two sides. Even if Luo Jingkong has been in seclusion for many years, I won't put him in my eyes. Ming Shi-yin immediately patted his butt. Master is mighty. Zhu Jifeng bowed his head and said, Luo Jingkong's seclusion is not simple. When I was in the Heaven Sword sect, I heard that Luo Jingkong seemed to be cultivating a kind of technique that can increase his cultivation in a short time. We must be careful. Ming Shi-yin sneered. Increase his cultivation in a short time? Isn't he afraid of qi deviation and exploding to death? I don't know the details. The path of cultivation has its own laws. If you want to break those laws, you have to pay a corresponding price. Leng Luo chose to explode himself to help the cloud-piercing flying chariot in order to resist the power of the Tenvu. If Lu Zhao hadn't intervened, how would Leng Luo have survived to this day? As the saying goes, a visible spear is easy to dodge, but a hidden arrow is hard to guard against. What if the old fart Luo Jingkong secretly runs over to play a game of mutual destruction like Leng Luo, who will be able to resist? Everyone looked at Lu Zhao, but Lu Zhao didn't care at all. Is just the Heaven Sword sect worthy of fighting with me? Ming Shi-yin continued to flatter. That's right. When the 10 great experts besieged Master before, they couldn't do anything to you. The son died, and the old father jumped out. You can guess the ending without saying it, Zhu Jifeng replied. Pavilion Master is mighty. Little Yanyer suddenly jumped out. Stop with the mightiness or not. Hurry up and go. Ninth senior brother, do you have any instructions? Zhu Jifeng felt his hands and feet tremble as soon as he thought of the heaven sundering ribbon, and he broke out in a cold sweat. Here comes another story. Little Yanner smiled and said, hurry up and practice the synergy of the heaven sundering ribbon with me. Don't worry, I was wrong last time. I guarantee I won't hurt you this time. Zhu Jifeng was frightened and wanted to run away, but how could he escape from the inevitable? And the old lady immediately dragged him away. Ming Shi-yin's hair stood on end when he heard these words. Is this really Little Yan hair? The style seems wrong. They had never seen Little Shimei apologize to anyone other than Master. It all seemed like a dream. Lu Jujiao nodded slightly. Little Yan hair seems to be more and more sensible. Ming Shi-yin rubbed his eyes, feeling like he was dreaming in broad daylight. He thought to himself, I'll slap myself to see if it hurts. Ming Shi-yin reached out and slapped himself. Ouch, damn it, it really hurts. What the HLL? It's not a dream, it's real. Lu Zhao frowned at Ming Shi-yin's series of actions. Oh damn, does Ming Shi-yin have stupid moments too? Ming Shi-yin saw Master staring at him and explained in embarrassment. Master, I'm fine, I'm very normal, I really don't have mental illness. At this moment, Duan Musheng strode in holding the Overlord's spear. Duan Musheng's footsteps were strong and powerful. Each step on the ground made a heavy sound. Disciple greets Master. Duan Musheng came to stand next to Ming Shi-yin and patted him on the shoulder. Ming Shi-yin thought in pain. Why do you have to hit me so hard when you greet Master? Lu Zhao asked. How far along is the repair of the secret chamber? Duan Musheng replied. Since the last retreat, the secret chamber has been destroyed, and Lu Zhao still doesn't have a place where he can feel at ease to comprehend the heavenly writing. Although he can still comprehend it while sitting in the East Pavilion, he loses the feeling of immersing himself in enlightenment, as when he was in the secret chamber. It should be a few more days. While I was collecting sundries, I found an unusual chest. Please take a look, Master. Lu Zhu was curious. A chest. At this time, 2 female cultivators carried a large chest into the main hall. The chest looked very old, but the surface was clean. It must have been cleaned once. The material was also very special, resembling both leather and wood, with a dark brown color. When the 2 of them put the chest down, Ming Shi-yin curiously went over and asked, What's in this? Duan Musheng replied. I don't know. Wouldn't we find out if we open it? If I could open it, why would I have someone bring it here? Duan Musheng glared at him. Ming Shi-yin awkwardly replied, Third senior brother makes sense. Lu Zhao slowly stood up, put his hands behind his back, and walked down the steps to the chest. There were quite a few chests in the secret room, but he hadn't paid attention to them. Many of them had been covered in a thick layer of dust from not being cleaned for a long time. Duan Musheng reported to Lu Juju. After the secret room was damaged, all the other chests were broken, but this one remained intact. This disciple found it strange, so I brought it for you to see. Ming Xinyan chuckled. Master, this thing must be a treasure. Lu Xiao ignored the two, and bent down to observe the chest carefully. This must be something Ji Tiandao left behind when he was alive, but it's been too long, and the memories are hazy. Lu Xiao couldn't recall it for a moment. Restrictions. Lu Xiao saw dense patterns around the chest. He recognized this as a very special kind of restriction. The patterns ran around all 6 sides of the chest. If you didn't look closely, you'd think it was just an exquisite design. What's strange is that restrictions or formations can be activated just by pouring vital energy into them. So where does this restriction get its power? That day, he was in seclusion in the secret room, using the divine power of the Book of Heaven. Under the immense power of the divine ability, from the chests to the cabinets, including some weapons of inferior quality, were completely damaged. But this chest could withstand the power of the Book of Heaven without any damage? Either it's made of a special material, or it has extremely strong defensive power. Duanmu Sheng observed for a long time and couldn't find any clues. Master, you're very knowledgeable about formations and restrictions. What kind of restriction is used on this chest? Lu Xiao didn't say anything, just continued to observe. When Lu Xiao looked at the side of the chest, he saw a small hole in the middle of the surface. A keyhole. Ming Xinyan also stepped over to look, examined it, and said in surprise, Duanmu Sheng also saw the keyhole. Master, this disciple will go find the key immediately, Lu Xiao ordered. Go. Duanmu Sheng turned and left. The secret room was still a mess, and it would take some time to find such a small key. However, it was possible that the key was not in the secret room. While Ming Xinyan was relentlessly smashing the chest, Lu Xiao looked at the system interface. Sure enough, a reminder had appeared in the Lost Key quest, used to open the lost treasure chest. There was no such reminder before, which meant that the chest in front of him was the treasure chest in the quest. The system reminder read, search for the lost key that can open the lost treasure chest. Talk about searching high and low, only to find it right under your nose. Lu Xiao flicked his sleeve and said, take it to the East Pavilion. This disciple obeys. Ming Xiying carried the chest away. Lu Xiao casually waved his hand to retrieve the peacock plume and returned to the East Pavilion. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. After 7 days of comprehending the Book of Heaven, Lu Xiao felt that the extraordinary power of the Book of Heaven had reached saturation. Lu Xiao nodded secretly, which meant that he could use the divine ability 1 or 2 times. Currently, he had mastered 2 types of divine power from the Book of Heaven. One was the divine power of universal sounds, which was sound-based divine power, and the other was the divine power of annihilation, which was a type of divine power that could repel opponents. Both types of divine power required a lot of the extraordinary power of the Book of Heaven, and to obtain extraordinary power, he could only comprehend the Book of Heaven. Lu Xiao sighed softly in his heart. 7 days, or even 10 days, to comprehend enough to use the divine ability once. Using the divine ability requires too much extraordinary power. But when he thought of its power, Lu Xiao felt relieved. The more you pay, the more you get in return. Outside, Xiao Yu's voice came. Master, Jiang Aijian sent a letter. She was flying in. Since Xiao Yanhair was obsessed with the Brahmalingo, the task of receiving letters fell to Xiao Yu, which was also good. Xiao Yu was more stable than Xiao Yanhair. Xiao Yu seemed more gentle. But somehow, when Xiao Yanhair received the letter, the bird could still fly, but now it looked like it was about to kick the bucket. Is this what you call gentle? Lu Xiao glanced at her and ordered, Xiao Yu, read it. Xiao Yu opened the letter and respectfully read, Old Senior, I have 3 things to tell you. 1 is that the former sect leader Luo Jingkong of the Heavenly Sword Sect has sent out invitations to gather the righteous sects, calling for an attack on the Demon Heaven Pavilion. However, the other sects don't seem to be moving. Luo Jingkong is very angry. You must be careful. 2 is the leader of the Underworld sect, who is also your eldest disciple, Yu Zhanghai, has seized 2 small sects in the demonic path, the 100 Refinements sect and the 10,000 Demons sect. Gotta give it to him. Yu Zhanghai's been pretty energetic lately. 3. Please look at the next letter. Lu Xiao frowned slightly. Xiao Yu's face was blank after reading this. It was the first time she had read a letter from Jiang Aijian, and it wanted to blow her mind. If you didn't understand Jiang Aijian's style, anyone who encountered this kind of letter would be stumped by him. Couldn't this guy write the letter on a longer piece of paper? After reading the letter, Xiao Yu also felt a little embarrassed. It was awkward to stand there and awkward to leave. Lu Ju was too used to it, he said calmly. Step back. After receiving the next letter, this disciple will come to report. Xiao Yue finished speaking and left the East Pavilion. Lu Xiao gently raised his hand, and the peacock plume appeared in his hand. Looking at the smooth surface of the peacock plume, Lu Xiao was secretly surprised. The time that his 7th disciple had received the peacock plume was much shorter than the time that Yu Zhanghai and Yu Shangrong had obtained the heaven-grade weapon, which showed that Si Wuyai used the peacock plume very frequently. Holding the peacock plume in his hand, for some reason, the 3 words, refinement talisman, appeared in Lu Ju's mind. If he refined this weapon, what would Si Wuyai think? Lu Ju casually waved his hand, and the last remaining refinement talisman appeared in his hand. Perhaps because the rapport had reached a certain level, Si Wuyai, who was sitting cross-legged in a small bamboo clearing, suddenly opened his eyes wide. His thick eyebrows furrowed slightly as he muttered, Peacock plume? When the rapport between a heaven-grade weapon and its master reached a sufficiently high level, there would seem to be a telepathic connection between the two, which could not be explained or described clearly. This was the case between Si Wuyai and his peacock plume. Sect leader. A subordinate in a black robe heard the commotion and appeared nearby. Si Wuyai replied, "I'm fine." He didn't understand why he had suddenly thought of the peacock plume. The subordinate said, "Sect leader, how about I make a trip to the heavenly master path?" "No need." Si Wuyai slowly stood up. "Eldest senior brother has promised to send someone to the heavenly master path. If I send someone there again, it would be like not trusting eldest senior brother. Second senior brother injured by Yu Qing, so we shouldn't provoke him at this time. Then, how about I make a trip to Pingdu Mountain?" Si Wuyai didn't answer immediately. If it were before, he might have directly issued this order. But now he hesitated. "Wait, please give your orders, sect leader." Si Wuyai asked, "Has there been any movement from the Heavenly Sword sect recently?" The subordinate reported, "The Heavenly Sword sect has sent out invitations, vowing to attack the Demon Heaven Pavilion." Luo Jingkong couldn't help but want to make a move, but no other sects responded. "The Heavenly Sword sect's power is weak and can't accomplish anything." Si Wuyai nodded and asked, "Has there been any response from Old Eight?" "There has been no movement from Eighth Gentleman for 10 days now," Si Wuyai also guessed. "As I expected, he must have been imprisoned in the Jade Cave. I didn't expect Old Eight to provide many clues anyway. He will be much safer in the Jade Cave." Many coincidences recently have made Si Wuyai suspicious. Also, I suspect that there is a spy in the dark web. From today onwards, anything related to the Demon Heaven Pavilion, no matter how big or small, must be shown to me. Yes. The last matter. Tell the 5 rats. Forget about rescuing Old Eighth. Switch to stealing the peacock plume. As you command, sect leader. The black-robed subordinate then shot down the mountain. After the subordinate left, Yu Shangrong, who was playing with a bird nearby, said, "Seventh junior brother, doing this will waste all your previous efforts." On a sky-high treetop beside the little bamboo grove, Yu Shangrong looked down at Si Wuyai with a faint smile. Si Wuyai replied, "It seems I underestimated Master's abilities." Yu Shangrong pressed. "How did you know?" Si Wuyai slowly explained. "The reason I let Old Eighth return to the Nether sect was twofold. First, to ensure his safety, and second, I needed him to provide information on what was happening inside the sect. Though Old Eighth is clumsy, he won't meet a deadly end. If necessary, I can also order the 5 rats to rescue him." Yu Shangrong chuckled dismissively, shaking his head. "I'm afraid the 5 rats are just rats scurrying across the street." Next, I deliberately gave the peacock plume to 4th senior brother to test Master's abilities. But just now, Si Wuyai paused for a moment before continuing. "The peacock plume is in danger." Yu Shangrong chimed in. "The conditions for refining a heaven-grade weapon are extremely harsh. I've already helped you. You shouldn't regret it." Hearing this, Si Wuyai looked at Yu Shangrong. "Second senior brother is right," Yu Shangrong calmly said. "It's your turn to help me." Si Wuyai clasped his hands and replied, "Please instruct me." Second senior brother, Yu Shangrong, opened his eyes. Sunlight piercing through layers of leaves, falling on his distinctly angular features. Yu Shangrong gently leaped down, his figure as straight as a willow branch. Flying in front of Si Wuyai, Yu Shangrong conveyed the message to the eldest senior brother. "Even the best blade needs regular sharpening to maintain its edge. See you in half a year at Pingdu Mountain." Whoosh! Yu Shangrong flew back up to the treetop, truly living up to his title as Sword Devil, appearing and disappearing in a flash. After hearing Yu Shangrong's appointment with Yu Zhenghai at Pingdu Mountain, Si Wuyai's heart trembled. Since he founded Darknet, he had heard countless news. Some lived, some died. Every day there were special events happening, some as big as the sky, some as small as sesame seeds. But he had never been so shocked. Yu Shangrong's words made his heart tremble. Si Wuyai knew that the eldest senior brother and the second senior brother were always at odds, and also knew that their working styles were very different, and they were not satisfied with each other's way of doing things. He also knew that there would be a battle between the two, but he didn't expect it to come so early that he was surprised. Si Wuyai looked at Yu Shangrong on the treetop and said, "Second senior brother, is it impossible to?" Before he could finish his words, Yu Shangrong raised his hand to interrupt him. "My mind is made up. I only hope that he will not be injured in these 6 months." Lonely masters will naturally hope that their opponents will respond in the best condition. Dealing with the weak is very boring. So boring that they don't want to take action. With the cultivation of the eldest senior brother, only Maester, the old man, can hurt him, so tell him not to provoke Maester. After saying that, Yu Shangrong gently tapped his toes, his whole body like a gentle breeze, flying away through the air. When flying in the sky, dozens of meters above the ground, Yu Shangrong suddenly flew back in front of Si Wuyai, instructing, "Remember to take care." Si Wuyai also quickly replied, "Please rest assured, senior brother, I can protect myself. See you later. See you later." The two clasped their fists and said goodbye. Yu Shangrong did not stay for long. He put his hands behind his back and flew away through the air, then disappeared into the horizon. Meanwhile, Si Wuyai was still in a salute posture. One was to respect the senior brother, and the other was that he was still frozen in place because of what happened just now. Si Wuyai shook his head and sighed softly. He returned to the little bamboo grove, looking at the mountain of intelligence piled on the table, and thinking about the things he needed to do in the future. For some unknown reason, Si Wuyai, who was originally calm and sober, suddenly became angry, waved his sleeves, and scattered the intelligence materials in front of him all over the ground. Si Wuyai asked himself, "What am I doing all this for?" At this moment, Si Wuyai suddenly cried out in pain. Another black-robed subordinate appeared, kneeling on one knee. "Sect leader, your body," Si Wuyai frowned. I'm fine, it's just a backlash from trying to break through the body-binding curse, the subordinate said. Please take care of your body, sect leader. At the same time, in the nether sect, a system notification sounded. Punish evil disciple Si Wuyai, harvest 200 merit points. Although Lu Zhao didn't know what Si Wuyai was doing at this moment, the reward of 200 merit points made it clear that he was suffering a backlash. Lu Zhao shook his head, looking at the peacock plume. Want to break the shackles of the body-binding curse. Easier said than done. Don't say that this body-binding curse was cast by the system, even if it was cast by a 6-leaf, 7-leaf cultivator of the Celestial Master Tao. Once hit, Si Wuyai would not be easy to break through. Thinking of the various conspiracies Si Wuyai had made during this period, Lu Zhao shook his head slightly. Evil disciple, I'll take back your weapon first. He waved his hand, and the refining talisman disappeared. This was the first time the master and disciple had fought in the air, and Si Wuyai had completely failed. Lu Zhao put the peacock plume down. At this time, Zhao Yu's voice came from outside. Master, there are 2 flying letters, 2. One is Jiang Ai Jian's flying letter, and the other is a flying letter from the bottom of the mountain, Lu Zhao ordered. Read them. First. Zhao Yu opened Jiang Ai Jian's flying letter and read aloud. Old senior, the third piece of news is a major national event. I didn't want to say it at first, but after thinking about it, I thought it would be better to tell you. 4 deputy generals of Wei Zhuoyan led 50,000 troops to Liangzhou to quell the rebellion. 4th Prince Liu Pingkai returned to the court. I know that the old senior doesn't care about the war, but now there is a major change in the palace. There will definitely be problems. Be careful of Mo Li. Hearing this, Lu Zhao's expression was still calm. After all, this news is related to the behind-the-scenes man Mo Li, and Lu Zhao is not interested in paying attention to other forces in the palace. Whether Wei Zhuoyan can do the job is his business. Zhao Yu reported. Finished reading, Lu Zhao ordered. Continue. Yes. Zhao Yue opened the second flying letter, glanced at it and said, It's the challenge letter from Tianjin sect. Lu Zhao heard this. His expression was still as calm as usual. It's really a troubled time, Zhao Yu said awkwardly in summary. Master, Lu Xingkong arranged a challenge arena, wanting to duel with Master. Don't sweat him? A measly little 1,000-sword sect? Lu Zhu couldn't care less. Besides, right now his mind was totally occupied with that jade key and trying to get a handle on the heavenly book. Plus, he had to figure out how to deal with those 3 unfilial disciples. Si Wuyai, Yu Shangrong, and Yu Zhenghai. He barely had time to blink, let alone bother with this nonsense. This disciple understands. This disciple takes his leave. Zhao Yu turned and went down. But by the next morning, Zhao Yu was back in the East Pavilion with another flying letter. Master, this time Luo Xingkong sent someone with a letter. It's still a challenge letter as before. Luo Xingkong says his cultivation has greatly increased and he wants a fair duel with Master. Lu Zhujiao replied dismissively. Luo Xingkong's got some nerve. Usually, the 10 great sects would give the Evil Sky Pavilion a wide berth. Now he dares send disciples to deliver messages. He's really blinded by the hatred of losing his son. In the future, you don't need to report any letters from the Heavenly Sword sect to me. Disciple obeys. After that, for 10 days straight, the Evil Sky Pavilion received a challenge letter every day. The messenger got killed every time, but Lu Zhao didn't accept the challenge, and he seemed to get annoyed and impatient. All the letters were intercepted by Zhao Yu, until the 13th letter was brought before Zhao Yu by a female disciple, 5th senior sister. This is the 13th letter in the past 10 days. Zhao Yu thought it was another challenge letter, so she opened it to take a look. After reading it, she immediately raised her eyebrows and asked, Where's the messenger? The female cultivator replied. At the foot of the mountain, they just left. Zhao Yu coldly ordered, Catch them and hack them to death. After all, the 3 female disciples came from the Moon Dazzle sect, and they hesitated upon hearing this order. Zhao Yu's voice lowered, carrying a hint of anger. Do it, yes. The 3 female disciples hurried down the mountain. The cultivator, who had gone some distance, turned back when they noticed someone chasing them. The girls were chasing each other in circles, panting heavily. The female cultivator shouted, Please stop. Seeing these cool babes, big bosom, the messenger then felt pleased. You've finally come to your senses. Willing to come down the mountain to be my Dacio companions to find joy, huh? Before he could celebrate not having wasted all the effort of coming here every day, he then saw the girls running over with knives. And he was shocked. Then he just saw the girls gathered around and then swinging their hands wildly. Red liquid splattered everywhere, followed by a shrill scream. At the Evil Sky Pavilion, Zhao Yu was extremely angry. Since returning to the Evil Sky Pavilion, this was the first time she was so angry. She walked coldly to the Evil Sky Pavilion. As soon as she entered, she saw Ming Xiyin feeding pigs nearby. Ming Xiyin asked, 5th junior sister, who messed with you? She handed the letter to Ming Xiyin. 4th senior brother, take a look. Zhao Yu flicked her hand slightly, and the letter was wrapped in energy and flew towards Ming Xiyin. Ming Xiyin took the flying letter and read it. The expression on his face was very special. After reading it, he immediately cursed. That old thief Luo Xingkong dares to call us trash, and dares to set up a life and death arena at Lotus Terrace to challenge the Evil Sky Pavilion? What's this? Below the foul language was an oval shape, inside of which were small polygons, that was shaped like turtle shell. Lu Xingkong probably thought Lu Zhao was turtle-heading, hiding like a turtle in its shell. Ming Xiyin looked at it strangely for a while and didn't know what it was. He was about to ask, when Zhao Yu said, Senior brother, this must be reported to Master. Okay. The two went into the Evil Sky Pavilion together, just in time to see Zhao Yanhair practicing the coordination and control of the Brahma sea bell in the courtyard. The girl tossed the Brahma sea bell and strangled several birds and pigs, wanting to make an animal feast. Zhao Yanhair excitedly bragged, "Senior brother, senior sister, look! My Brahma sea bell is more powerful than before." Awesome, awesome! Ming Shiyin and Zhao Yu had no time to hang out with little junior sister. He and Zhao Yu ran quickly into the main hall to pay respects to Master. "Greetings, Master." The two saw Master holding a writing brush. Not knowing what he was writing, Ming Shiyin glanced at the paper on the table, on which was a drawing of the bronze key found in the secret chamber. Even the patterns on the key were drawn accurately to every detail, looking just like the real thing. Ming Shiyin quickly knelt down to salute. "I didn't expect Master's calligraphy and painting skills to be so high, broadening my horizons." Ming Shiyin was thinking in his heart. Master's handwriting used to be worse than a dog's breakfast. How can it be so beautiful now? This calligraphy and painting thing isn't something that can be practiced in a day or two. Without certain talent and long-term practice, no matter how high your cultivation is, you can't draw so beautifully in a short period of time. Lu Zhao put down the brush in his hand and looked at Ming Shiyin and Zhao Yu. "What's the matter?" Ming Shiyin presented the 13th challenge letter. "Please take a look, Master." Lu Zhao took it and glanced through it. Although the contents of the letter were not very decent, his expression didn't change. Ming Shiyin said, "Master, the Heavenly Sword sect is spreading rumors everywhere and dares to openly insult the Evil Sky Pavilion. We can tolerate it, but we can't endure the humiliation. Disciple requests to go down the mountain and kill them until they don't have a single piece of armor left." Zhao Yu followed suit. Disciple agrees. Fortunately, Duan Musheng wasn't here. If he read this challenge letter, he'd probably rush down the mountain without even saying hello. Lu Zhao calmly said, "Luo Changfeng of the Heavenly Sword sect died at my hands. Luo Jingkong doesn't have the guts to do this. He must have made preparations in advance." Ming Xinyin, battle blood was already rushing to his brain. Master ignored him. "What preparations? Since he has the audacity to provoke us, the Evil Sky Pavilion will not tolerate it." Lu Zhao nodded slightly and said, "Send a flying letter to Jiang Aijian. Tell him to investigate Lu Jingkong. No convenience in all. Investigate the thing in this drawing as well." Lu Zhao pointed to the piece of paper with the drawing of the bronze key. "Disciple will do it right away." Zhao Yu collected the drawing and turned to leave the main hall. Ming Xinyin took the letter, stepped forward, pointed at the oval shape and asked, "Master, your calligraphy and painting skills are extremely high. Can you explain to Disciple what this is?" He was purely curious because he couldn't figure it out after looking at it for a long time. Disciple doesn't understand, so of course I have to ask Master for guidance. Lu Zhao glanced at the drawing, then picked up the brush and redrew it once. After Ming Shiyin saw Lu Zhao's drawing, he immediately widened his eyes and shouted, "A turtle retracting its head." That's right, the oval shape in Luo Jingkong's letter was a turtle. And a turtle retracting its head and neck. How could the Evil Sky Pavilion endure this humiliation, Master? This matter, can you even tolerate this? Ming Shiyin was so excited that he almost bit his tongue. If it was the hot-tempered master from before, he would have led his disciples to a bloody battle without saying a word. Lu Zhao asked in return, "What do you think should be done?" This question made Ming Shiyin panic. How should I answer this? What trick is Master playing again? Ming Xinyin pondered for a moment and still replied, "He who insults others will be insulted. Luo Jingkong deserves to die," Lu Zhao calmly said. "Then do it that way." Ming Xinyin was slightly startled, his eyes widened, and a feeling of excitement rose in his heart. This was the feeling he wanted. Ming Xinyin's blood was boiling. He couldn't wait to go down the mountain and start a massacre. He had been suppressing himself too much during this time, to the point where he was no longer himself. Not long after, Zhao Yu returned, holding another flying letter in her hand. Disciple has sent a flying letter to Jiang Aijian. This is a flying letter sent by 7th junior brother. Zhao Yu spoke very cautiously and carefully. This time, Si Wuyai had angered Master quite a bit, so Master probably wouldn't want to read his flying letter. Lu Zhao said, "Read it." Zhao Yue opened Si Wuyai's letter, and read in a low voice, "Master is high above. Disciple has something to ask of you." As soon as Zhao Yu finished reading the first sentence, Ming Xiyin cursed. "First, this bastard still dares to ask Master for something. Now, I really regret not being ruthless with him back then." Seeing that his reaction was a bit excessive with Master present, the young Ming Xiyin had to restrain himself. "Junior sister, continue." Zhao Yu glared at Ming Xiyin and continued to read. Disciple begs Master not to refine the peacock plumes. The coordination between the peacock plume and disciple has reached its peak. Back then, Master rewarded peacock plume to me, and I've always treasured it. In this world, you couldn't find someone more suitable to be peacock plume's master than me. I believe Master wouldn't want to see anyone tarnish peacock plume's reputation either. I heard Heavenly Sword sect has been sending out invitations, provoking the prestige of the Evil Sky Pavilion. I've thoroughly investigated it. Luo Xing isn't just grieving over his son. He's betting his life on this, and other righteous sects are sitting back, waiting to reap the benefits. Please grant me a month, Master. I'll definitely wipe out Heavenly Sword sect and avenge Master's grievances. Ming Xinyin cursed again. What a self-obsessed narcissist. After reading the letter, Zhao Yu spoke up. "Well, that's alright. Senior Brother 7 really did put in a lot for the peacock plume." Lu Zhao was still pondering. How did Si Wuyai know I planned to refine the peacock plume? In other words, Si Wuyai's rapport with the peacock plume must have reached its peak, allowing him to communicate telepathically and sense the threat. Ming Xinyin asked curiously, "Master, I have a question. Si Wuyai's dark web is spread throughout the cultivation world, and most of them are ordinary people who can't even trust a chicken. How does he plan to deal with Heavenly Sword Sect? Lu Zhao shook his head slightly and said, "It's the Nether Sect." When he cast the spell, he was clearly aiming for the person sitting on Kui Niu, but Si Wuyai was the one who got hit. That clearly shows that Si Wuyai and Yu Zhenghai are extremely close. The destruction of the Pure Clarity School must be related to Si Wuyai. Ming Shi Yin scratched his head, feeling a little unwilling. With the Nether Sect taking action, can we relax a bit then? Lu Zhao immediately replied, "No." Lu Zhao waved his hand and continued in a deep voice. "1 month is too long. Lu Xing is challenging us like this, so this master will fulfill his wish." Your disciple obeys. Your disciple obeys. The two bowed simultaneously, master's words greatly exciting them. If Luo Xing isn't being arrogant like this, how could the Evil Sky Pavilion continue to suppress its anger? A new mission appeared on the system's taskbar. Restore the Evil Sky Pavilion's reputation. Reward: 15,500 merit points. The next day, as soon as dawn broke, in the Evil Sky Pavilion's main hall, Lu Zhao scanned the crowd before him. All of them stood solemnly, quietly awaiting Lu Zhao's instructions. Only the old codger Pan Lishan had bleary eyes from waking up early and lacking alcohol, while the young Zhu Jifeng clutched Pan Zhong's portrait in sorrow, as if Pan Zhong was already dead. Granny Xiao Yanhair was extremely excited because she was about to fight, about to demonstrate the Brahma Lufan. Lu Zhao looked around with a headache, thinking to himself, Pan Zhong is seriously injured. Pan Litian ingested the Black Lotus root a few days ago and is still recuperating, and although Lang Luo has recovered some of his cultivation, he's still drained from using all his energy at the Shuyu Lake last time. Lu Zhao can't rely on these three. Master, Jiang Aijian's flying letter says pretty much the same thing as 7th senior brother, but there's one difference. Xiao Yu presented the flying letter in her hand and continued, Heavenly Sword Sect isn't without help, it's just that these guys aren't part of the top 10 famous sects. Their movements are secretive and couldn't be investigated. Lu Zhao nodded slightly, which showed that Jiang Aijian's information was much more accurate than Si Wuyai's. Lu Zhao didn't say anything more but clasped his hands behind his back and walked out of the main hall. Let's go! Yes! Hua Wu Dao, Duan Musheng, Ming Shi Yin, Zhao Yue, Xiao Yaner, Zhu Jifeng, Hua Yuexing, and 10 female disciples followed closely behind. Even women will fight when the enemy is at the door, and the female cultivators each held a knife high, ready to fight. Lu Zhao instructed Elder Leng and Elder Pan to guard the home, and the two old men coughed and replied, Yes, Pavilion Master. A moment later, everyone arrived at the cloud-chasing chariot. Ming Xinyin asked curiously, Senior brother Duan Musheng, I heard from junior sister that your driving skills have improved a lot? Duan Musheng waved his hands repeatedly. Compared to junior brother, my skills are not worth mentioning. Not worth mentioning? Ming Xinyin seemed to want to speak privately with Duan Musheng. I wouldn't lie to you, senior brother. Driving is great for cultivators. Besides, it has another advantage. Duan Musheng perked up his ears, and Ming Xinyin whispered, It can cultivate one's moral character, especially tempering one's temperament. Are you saying I have a hot temper? Ming Xinyin waved his hands repeatedly. Not at all. Not at all. Duan Musheng nodded upon hearing this and said, Fourth junior brother, how do you feel about my overlord's spear? Ming Xinyin praised, majestic and unparalleled in the world, truly a top-grade treasure. Duan Musheng sighed and shook his head, saying, Senior brother knows that you're not comfortable holding a useless weapon with no clear characteristics. Never mind, I'll drive well and temper my temperament. As for the weapon, as long as it's heaven grade, I don't care if it's majestic or not. Hearing this, Ming Xiyin jerked. Ugh, what the heck, trying to scam him but failed. Duan Musheng patted Ming Xiyin's shoulder sincerely and gave him a hard push. Go, go! Ming Xiyin reluctantly flew to the driver's seat. I didn't say I liked majestic weapons. Ming Xinyin then turned his head to look at little junior sister, who was playing jump rope, and thought to himself, if there's a chance, I must let little junior sister drive to temper her temperament. She must feel uncomfortable holding that red cloth and waving it around every day. Ming Xinyin glared lightly at the drum, and the flying chariot sped away like a shooting star. After everyone had settled in, Duan Musheng approached Lu Zhao. He breathed on the overlord's spear, and happily wiped it until the spear body was glistening. With Ming Xinyin at the helm, the flying chariot flew smoothly in the air. Hua Wudao also approached Lu Zhao, clasping his hands and observing the surrounding scenery. The Evil Sky Pavilion's barrier at Golden Court Mountain can also be clearly seen. Hua Wudao opened his mouth and said, I would like to ask Pavilion Master, did Pavilion Master absorb the barrier's power in the secret chamber that day to maintain his peak state? Lu Zhao glanced at him and replied, You think so too? Hua Wudao also felt that he was wrong, and lowered his head and replied, I wouldn't dare. Lu Zhao continued, This seat will repair the barrier. Outside, it is rumored that the power in the barrier is constantly decreasing, which is the same as saying that his strength is declining day by day. It's just that he has no way to repair the barrier at the moment. If he asked his disciples to repair it together, it would take at least 3 years. Lang Luo and Pan Lishan are both 8-leaf cultivators, but now they are both weak and sick, and cannot be relied upon. The fastest way to repair the barrier is to use the peak state card again. But how could Lu Zhao casually use his trump card? Hua Wudao then said, The Lotus Dice is a place for the righteous factions to discuss matters. I'm afraid Luo Xing is deliberately provoking us and setting up an ambush there. Luo Zhao nodded. Your worries are not without reason. Ming Xinyin was busy piloting the flying chariot but still nosy and eavesdropping. The young man exclaimed, Elder Hua, no need to worry. All schemes and tricks are useless in front of my master. Of course, I trust the Pavilion Master's abilities. Just then, Hua Yuexing approached. Perhaps because she had only recently joined the Great Void Sect, so she was still a bit restrained. Hua Yuexing bowed slightly and said, "This subordinate has something to report." Lu Jiao ordered. "Speak," Hua Yuexing softly said. When this subordinate was in the tower near the Heaven Sword Sect waiting for Elder Ye Cheng to appear, this subordinate saw an acquaintance. Lu Jiao pressed. "Who is it?" Hua Yuexing replied. "The fourth prince, Liu Ping." Hua Yuexing hurriedly knelt down. She quickly reported. "When this subordinate was still following Consort Yu, I once accidentally saw the fourth prince's portrait. When I saw the real person, I wasn't sure, so I didn't report it in time. Please forgive me, Pavilion Master." Lu Jiao thought to himself. The fourth prince, Liu Ping, has been stationed on the frontier for years. Because of his merits, the forces in the palace can't do anything to him. The question is, why did Liu Ping return at this time? Lu Jiao's gaze turned to Hua Yuexing, suddenly remembering Jiang Aijian's identity, and asked, "Have you also met Jiang Aijian?" Hua Yuexing nervously replied. "When I was at Yunquei Tower was the first time this subordinate saw him," Lu Jiao ordered. "Stand up," then said. "Thank you, Pavilion Master." Hua Yuexing respectfully stood up. "Did you ever transmit information to Jiang Aijian?" Lu Jiao suddenly asked a question, taking advantage of her relaxed guard. Hearing this, Hua Yuexing was startled. Thump, thump. Hua Yuexing immediately knelt down, kowtowing, forehead full of sweat. Hua Yuexing wouldn't dare. Hua Wudao hurriedly cupped his hands and said, "Hua Yuexing is a disciple of the Luo sect, strictly disciplined, and would never do such a thing." Ming Shiyin, who was drumming up a storm on the flying chariot, also cocked his head to watch the drama. Hearing Hua Wudao's words, Ming Shiyin turned his head and asked, "Strictly disciplined? Then why did she leave the Luo sect?" This, Hua Wudao found it difficult to explain. Ming Shiyin frowned, glared, and said, "Can't say it, huh? I thought I couldn't understand how Jiang Aijian knew everything, so it turns out he's following the path of Old Seven." Lu Jiao's eyes turned to Hua Yuexing. Just now, he repeatedly pressed her, but Hua Yuexing's loyalty didn't drop at all, which shows that she wasn't lying. "Stand up," then said. "Yes," Lu Jiao asked. "Your talent is not bad. Have you been to the West Pavilion to see the classics?" Hua Yuexing replied. "Still, haven't had time to go yet," Lu Jiao casually said. "In the West Pavilion there is a cultivation method called swiftly condensed gang qi, which is very suitable for you." Hua Wudao hurriedly waved his hand. "Why aren't you thanking the Pavilion Master?" "Thank you, Pavilion Master." Hua Yuexing knelt down again. Seeing this, everyone was speechless, not knowing what to say. Truly the habit of people in the palace, kneeling at the drop of a hat. All a bunch of rotten rules. Hua Wudao continued. "The Luo sect doesn't have the swiftly condensed gang qi cultivation method to teach you. Archers are strong in attacking from a distance, but the weakness is also very obvious. Once other cultivators get close, archers usually don't have enough time to condense qi to shoot. This swiftly condensed gang qi cultivation method can just make up for the archer's shortcomings." Hua Yuexing immediately nodded solemnly. "Thank you, Elder Hua, for your guidance. This subordinate will definitely work hard. Loyalty plus 10%. Sometimes Lu Jiao felt that although Hua Yuexing had many rules, she was a simple person who hadn't been completely assimilated by this world. Giving a reward of cultivation method wasn't such a big deal, but it increased her loyalty by 10%, which surprised him. At the same time, in the clear Tranquility Cottage, Si Wuyai opened his eyes. He looked at the rays of sunlight filtering through the cottage door to estimate the time. Sure enough. Soon after, a cultivator in a black robe flew from afar, kneeling down to report. "Pavilion Master, as you expected, someone is indeed leaking information to the Great Void Sect." Si Wuyai then asked, "Do you know where the information came from?" "No." The cultivator in the black robe replied concisely. Inside the palace, Si Wuyai immediately raised his eyebrows, puzzled. Master always disdained interacting with the forces in the palace. "Why is it like this now?" Si Wuyai ordered. "Tell the eyes and ears in the palace to investigate." "Yes." Si Wuyai's eyebrows relaxed, revealing a confident smile. "It is normal for Master to trust this person. Since that's the case, we'll use their plan against them, and cooperate with them. Should I go look for Senior Ma?" "No." Si Wuyai shook his head. "Go to Pingdu Mountain." This subordinate obeys. The cultivator in the black robe turned and left the clear Tranquility Cottage. Si Wuyai took off his robe, the word curse written in red seal script emblazoned across his chest, looking extremely jarring, hardly concealing anything. Si Wuyai sighed softly. Since being hit by this divine curse, he has repeatedly tried to break through it, but unfortunately, the curse hasn't diminished in the slightest. Pilly. He looked at the pile of materials and books related to the curse piled up on the table, then shook his head slightly. Reading all this is useless. He had tried to apply the curse-breaking methods in the books, but they had no effect whatsoever. Si Wuyai changed into another robe, then raised his head to look at the sky. "Is anyone there, Swish?" 3 cultivators in black robes suddenly appeared in the cottage. "Pavilion Master, they are ready to await your orders. I want to make a trip to the Lotus Dais." The leading cultivator immediately raised his head upon hearing this, cupping his hands and saying, "Pavilion Master, you currently have no cultivation. For you to go there is too dangerous," this subordinate suggests. Si Wuyai had finished tidying his clothes and replied, "I know, but some things if I don't do them myself I will feel uneasy," the cultivator worried. "But," Si Wuyai turned to look at his subordinates, loudly. "No buts. Do you think I'm useless or something?" The subordinates were shocked. This subordinate wouldn't dare. This subordinate would die to protect the pavilion master. Si Wuyai nodded, a look of helplessness on his face. He sighed and said, "You have followed me for many years, risking your lives to protect me completely. How can I risk your lives? After so many years, you should understand who I am." The several cultivators in black robes lowered their heads, not daring to say anything. Si Wuyai instructed, "Notify the 5 mice. It's time to set off. Let's go." This subordinate obeys. On the lotus dais, one standing in the middle said loudly, "The lotus dais, a place praised as the Holy Land for discussing Tao among the great sects. The lotus dais is located in the north of Yangzhou, 10 miles away from the Huai River." The lotus platform was split into 2 levels. The upper level was a platform for discussions, while the lower level was shaped like blooming flower petals, with the lotus leaves spreading out in all directions, creating an area several miles wide. On each petal there was a huge pillar, big enough to hold at least 5 braziers to provide light at night. The lower level was covered in bluestone, while the upper level was paved with marble. Surrounding the lotus platform were all kinds of guests and restaurants. Observing the lotus platform from these places wouldn't be restricted in terms of visibility. On the marble stage, outside the lotus platform, were all sorts of unexpected encounter spots, with magnificent buildings all around. A great view. Right now, the area around the lotus platform was bustling, with quite a few people. Someone piped up, "What you're saying doesn't seem to match what we're seeing, huh?" That guy immediately glossed over it. That's how the travel guide described it. Probably the writer didn't know what they were writing either. Details aren't important. Day after day, year after year, today is the 14th day that the Heavenly Sword sect sent a challenge letter to the Demon Heaven Pavilion. Another guy, showing off his 2 missing teeth, loudly chimed in, "They've already sent 13 letters. They'll probably send another one later. Heard yesterday's letter was full of insults. With that old devil's temper, he's bound to show up. Wonder whose idea this is." Cultivators in the top 5, top 3, have been gathering around the lotus platform, constantly watching. 13 challenge letters sent, and still no one from the Demon Heaven Pavilion has bothered to show up. Some people even reckoned the Demon Heaven Pavilion wouldn't come at all, so everyone's guts grew bigger, and they all got closer to the lotus platform to watch the fun. On the lotus platform, Luo Jingkong was closing his eyes to rest. He sat quietly on his chair, pretending to be deaf and blind, not giving a damn about the discussions of the cultivators outside. Behind him, on 10 chairs, a group of cultivators in robes of various colors were sitting, each carrying a sword. Luo Jingkong was the same, wearing a white robe, with a banner hanging behind him that read, "Blood debt for killing my son. Irreconcilable." Several elders looked resentful. The bald one spoke up. "Sect leader, is that Demon Heaven Pavilion devil really not coming? Don't rush, Thillicrush." Luo Jingkong opened his eyes wide, his gaze profound as he looked at the sky. "I've humiliated the Demon Heaven Pavilion so much, he'll come sooner or later. That old devil has a hot temper. He won't be able to hold back." Another one added, "Sect leader, maybe the power of the barrier has been absorbed by that old devil. His strength must be very strong." Now Luo Jingkong transmitted his voice. "No need to persuade me. The arrow is already on the string. There's no turning back. I've been in seclusion for so many years. How could I not have some tricks up my sleeve? With Changfeng dead, there's no point in me living. If that old devil comes, follow the plan I've prepared." The cultivators behind him replied in unison, "We respectfully obey the sect leader's orders." After a while, still no sign of the Demon Heaven Pavilion, and the audience around started to get noisy again. "Sect leader Luo, hurry up and send the 14th challenge letter. I suggest you ask about his parents." Although Luo Xingkong was the previous sect leader, he was considered the current sect leader. Luo Xingkong glanced at the crowd without saying anything. Trisk. I thought there'd be some exciting stuff to watch. Looks like the rumors are true. The Demon Heaven Pavilion isn't what it used to be. Back then, the Demon Heaven Pavilion was so powerful, who would dare say no to them? Sigh, the Heavenly Sword sect wants to make a name for themselves in the cultivation world. One guy raised a flag and cheered. Following him, some people who called themselves righteous gentlemen always supported the Heavenly Sword sect. Demonic cultivators cause trouble everywhere, act recklessly, kill innocent people. Everyone should punish them. But not many people bothered to agree. There were also some cowards, with no stance, hiding in the tea houses around the lotus platform, watching the movements over here with wide eyes. The elders and disciples of the Heavenly Sword sect were all present on the lotus platform. Luo Xingkong shook his head slightly and gave his order. "Send the 14th challenge letter to the Demon Heaven Pavilion." At this time, a Heavenly Sword sect disciple came to Luo Xingkong's side and whispered, "Sect leader, the disciple in charge of delivering the 13th challenge letter hasn't returned yet. I'm afraid he's met with misfortune." Luo Xingkong's face darkened, and he continued, "Send the content in the challenge letter written by yourselves. As long as you can force the Demon Heaven Pavilion to come down the mountain, anyone who is afraid of death will be immediately expelled from the Heavenly Sword sect. Whoever is willing to deliver the challenge letter will be rewarded with 1,000 taels of gold, and the intersects Tai sword technique. There will be heavy rewards. Bravery is found where rewards are given. The wealthy buy their lives with money, the poor earn money with their lives. That's always been the case." As soon as Luo Jingkong said this, several outer sect disciples volunteered. Elder Luo Zhen angrily said, "Let the public write this challenge letter." Yes. The Heavenly Sword sect prepared a long sheet of white paper, a foot long, spread out on the table. Just as the brush, ink, and inkstone were brought out, they heard someone shout, "What's that?" Someone piped up, "Looks like a shooting star?" Another one disagreed and retorted, "Wrong! When have you ever seen a black shooting star?" In the distance, an object with a long tail flew through the clouds and slowly appeared in everyone's view. Many knowledgeable cultivators recognized its bright, long tail, cloud-piercing flying shuttle. It's the Demon Heaven Pavilion's cloud-piercing flying shuttle. Several cultivators shouted as they ran for their lives. It's the Demon Heaven Pavilion's cloud-piercing flying shuttle. Run! One busty girl even ran so fast her slippers fell off. The crowd standing on the lotus platform immediately dispersed, running towards the lotus leaves. Some cultivators who had just learned to fly lost control due to nervousness, and their primordial QO became unstable, and they fell straight to the ground, dizzy. The scene was chaotic. The Demon Heaven Pavilion may not be what it used to be, but the little characters who like to watch the fun can't afford to provoke them. Everyone fled far away, watching from the lower level. They didn't think the Demon Heaven Pavilion would shift its target from the Heavenly Sword sect to dealing with low-level goods like them. Luo Jingkong's group's eyes were blazing with anger as they looked at the cloud-piercing flying shuttle flying in the sky. Old man Luo Jingkong glared and muttered, "Finally here." Luo Jingkong wasn't afraid at all. His eyes even had a look of expectation and strong fighting spirit. "You are about to die. What is there to be afraid of?" On the contrary, the 10 elders behind him were restless and uneasy. Their faces were ugly. Luo Jingkong looked around. The crowd stood densely on the lotus petals, looking towards this side. Only a few Phantasm Sea Realm cultivators could fly, floating above the crowd. The cloud-piercing flying shuttle slowed down and stopped in the sky east of the lotus platform, a few dozen meters away from the arena. Everyone looked up. Lu Zhu and Hua Wudao appeared in everyone's sight. This is the master of the Demon Heaven Pavilion, the master of the 9 great devils. Some cultivators who had never seen Lu Zhao's true appearance until now couldn't help but let out a sigh of admiration. That little girl should be the youngest female disciple, Zhu Yaner. Although her life experience is not much, she can kill people in the blink of an eye. The rest of the people in the flying shuttle were hard to recognize. The audience could only guess. Lu Zhao's eyes looked at the Heavenly Sword sect disciples on the lotus platform. This old master is very pleased. His voice, full of confidence, echoed throughout the lotus platform, and the surroundings became quiet again. Zhao Yanher ran into the flying shuttle and pulled out a chair, placing it behind Lu Zhao with a giggle. "Please sit, master." Lu Zhao nodded and slowly sat down. This girl is finally all grown up and has been growing in the direction of being the master's caring helper. Elder Hua's face flushed red with embarrassment. If one knows to respect elders and care for the young, shouldn't you have gotten yourself a chair too? Seeing this, a female disciple hurriedly brought a chair for the elder to sit. "Thank you." Hua Wudao clasped his hands and sat down. Lu Zhao looked at Luo Jingkong, who was leading the Heavenly Sword sect formation. "Are you Luo Jingkong?" Lu Zhao's voice formed a sound wave that flew down to the lotus platform. The audience standing around all praised. As expected of the founder of the Demon Heaven Pavilion, the older he gets, the tougher he is. Not inferior to back then, his voice is still full of energy, extremely loud. Luo Jingkong said in a deep voice, "I thought you wouldn't dare to come. Even so, I had to send 13 challenge letters. Since when has the Demon Heaven Pavilion become so timid, afraid of trouble?" Lu Zhao didn't bother to answer him and turned his head to say to the disciples standing behind him, "It's just the Heavenly Sword sect. Leave it to you all." Granny Zhao Yaner was the most active, and she immediately accepted the order. Disciple obeys. Ming Xinyin waved to Zhao Yue, 5th junior sister, "Come steer." Ming Xinyin was in a hurry to die at this moment, and immediately called someone to replace his position. Stabilizing the rudder doesn't require someone with high cultivation. Zhao Yue alone is enough. Zhao Yue agreed. Ming Xinyin jumped out and looked at the people below. "You old geezer, you're not worthy to fight with my master," Luo Xingkong immediately retorted. "Worthy or not is not for you to decide." Ming Xinyin's eyes widened and he grinned. "Hey, Luo Chengfeng is your son, right? A guy like him deserved to die. And you even had the guts to send a challenge to our Evil Sky Pavilion." Luo Xingkong didn't seem flustered at all. He raised his head and said, "What a foul mouth. You're just one of the 9 beasts of the Evil Sky Pavilion." The cultivator, watching the excitement, hurriedly shouted, "Everyone lie down and watch. Don't get accidentally hurt." The audience lay down to watch, their blood boiling with excitement. They didn't expect the Sky Sword sect to dare humiliate the Evil Sky Pavilion in public, and a wave of fighting spirit began to spread fiercely on the lotus dais. Luo Jingkong's eyes stared straight at Lu Zhao. "You lot aren't worthy of making this old man take action. The only one who can make me act is you." The last 3 words he said to Lu Zhao. Lu Zhao still had his eyes closed, seemingly not paying much attention to the old man Luo Jingkong. Ming Xinyin immediately spoke up. "If you want to fight my master, you have to defeat me first." As soon as he finished speaking, Ming Xinyin flew into the air, his azure energy radiating extremely powerfully. Luo Jingkong waved his hand, and 5 people stepped out from behind him. The Sky Sword sect's 5 great disciples. Who dares to come and fight? The Sky Sword sect's intense fighting spirit was beyond the audience's expectations. Is the Sky Sword sect really not afraid of death? Duan Musheng gripped the Overlord's spear tightly. "Too much, let me!" Just as he was about to jump off the flying chariot, someone suddenly flew up and shouted loudly, "Let me deal with this one, he's..." Elder Luo Zhen of the Sky Sword sect, Hua Wudao, slowly stood up, cupping his hands. "It's better to let me go first." In front of everyone, Hua Wudao stepped down slowly, his eyes still fixed on Elder Luo Zhen. Hua Wudao's whole body radiated extremely powerful energy, but Luo Zhen took a step back. The 5 great disciples immediately rushed forward, surrounding Hua Wudao in the middle. Ming Xinyin finally understood the other side's strategy and turned his head to say, "Master, this old fox is playing trick." Lu Zhao still didn't open his eyes. just gave a slight nod. Tianji's horse racing. Meaningless. Lu Jiao continued to ponder. Besides, Hua Wu Dao has already entered the seven-leaf realm, and his six-harmony Dao seal is unparalleled in the world. These five are only in the divine court realm. How could they be Hua Wu Dao's opponents? The five Sky Sword sect disciples stood in a circle, surrounding Hua Wu Dao in the center, the long swords in their hands emitting vibrating energy. Luo Jingkong sneered. I thought it was someone important. Turns out it's Yun's sect. Elder Hua Wu Dao, I really feel ashamed for you. Hua Wu Dao stood upright with his hands clasped, the expression on his face unwavering. In the past period of time in the Evil Sky Pavilion, he had thought clearly that from the moment he joined the Evil Sky Pavilion, he would definitely have to face these things. Hua Wu Dao clenched his fists and shouted loudly at the five Sky Sword sect disciples, Make your move! The five disciples waved their swords, slashing towards Hua Wu Dao. Six Harmony Dao Seal. Hua Wu Dao took a step forward. Six large seal characters surrounded his body. The sunlight could not even overshadow the light emitted from the six characters. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The crowd watching were shocked. All the sword energy slammed into the Six Harmony Dao Seal. Hua Wu Dao was calm and collected, not affected at all, and took another step. Luo Jingkong was slightly startled. I've heard about Hua Wu Dao's Six Harmony Dao Seal before. Many people sneered at this turtle shelling technique, but now that I've seen it with my own eyes, I know that this technique can be used like this. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The disciples unleashed their full strength, but the Six Harmony Dao Seal had far exceeded their expectations. Like ants trying to topple a tree, they couldn't even make the Six Harmony Dao Seal budge an inch. Hua Wu Dao took another step. Luo Zhen shouted, What are you waiting for? Five swords unite. The five Sky Sword sect disciples replied in unison, Yes. Immediately, the five great disciples simultaneously flew into the air, the five people merging into one. Just at this moment, a huge green circle suddenly appeared where Hua Wu Dao was standing. The diameter of the circle was about 5 meters. This wasn't Hua Wu Dao's 8 trigrams energy seal, or the Buddhist technique, mirror platform. Mind, like a mirror platform, seeing clearly all things and the enemy's movements. The recipient of the blessing will have a great increase in cultivation, while the one corroded will have a very rapid decrease in cultivation. This is an harm others, benefit self-ultimate technique. To perform this technique, one must have at least a nascent soul realm powerhouse. The higher the cultivation, the more terrifying the effect. The Sky Sword sect is directly under the Taoist sect. How could they cultivate a Buddhist ultimate technique like this? But Hua Wu Dao wasn't afraid at all. His expression was indifferent. He continued to step forward, and the 8 trigram circle appeared under his feet. The remaining 3 characters of the Six Harmony Dao Seal also appeared. Luo Jingkong began to offer rewards. Disciples, listen to the order. Anyone who kills a member of the Evil Sky Pavilion today will be heavily rewarded. Hua Wu Dao shouted softly. I'm afraid you won't be able to kill a single one. The Six Harmony Dao Seal suddenly swelled. 9 large seal characters glittering with golden light shot out in all directions. The 5 great disciples' sword techniques hadn't even had time to land before they were blown away by the large seal characters. 50. The 5 people looked up to the sky and vomited blood. Their long swords left their hands, and their energy was like glass that was shattered in an instant and dissipated in the air. Even the support technique that increases power, like the mirror platform, could not make up for the difference between the two sides. The Sky Sword sect disciples' screams rang out, I just showed my face and I don't want to die. But it all seemed too late, and all that could be seen was Hua Wu Dao standing in the middle, launching a palm strike. The Sky Sword sect disciples all spat out fresh blood. A female cultivator with a big heart observed Hua Wu Dao and exclaimed loudly. Someone hiding behind shouted, Everyone pay attention to your own safety. We won't compensate you if you die. Even if you stacked up all the Buddhist monks and made Fuqiang as big as a mirror stand, it wouldn't make up for the difference between them. Hua Wu Dao is a prime example of using a realm difference to crush opponents, leaving them almost no hope. The audience felt like they were watching Grandpa beating up his grandson. They weren't even on the same level. Who says turtle-style techniques can't counterattack? Who says turtle-style techniques can only take hits? The audience watched with boiling blood, then erupted in exclamations. I didn't expect Elder Hua of the Yun sect to really join the Evil Sky Pavilion. The Evil Sky Pavilion has gained a powerful helping hand. The Sky Sword sect is screwed this time. Old man Luo Jing stared at Hua Wu Dao without looking away. He gave you a glance when he saw Hua Wu Dao approaching. Hua Wu Dao's 6 Harmony Dao Seal was extremely dazzling. Although it's a turtle-style technique, when he unleashes it, it's actually very aesthetically pleasing, extremely beautiful to watch. Especially when the 9 large seal characters scattered outwards, the golden light blooming like golden camellias. Lu Koxing ignored the light seal, and the mirror stand on the ground slightly raised its eyebrows. Hua Wu Dao continued to move forward, and the 6 Harmony Dao Seal appeared again. The 5 great disciples had all fallen to the ground, 4 were unconscious, and 1 vomited blood and died. Seeing this scene, Ming Xinyan shook his head slightly. In the end, it's because he stayed in the Yun sect for too long and couldn't bring himself to be ruthless, but it seems he has made some progress. Remembering when he first joined the Evil Sky Pavilion, Elder Hua wouldn't dare to kill anyone. Lu Jiao still kept his eyes closed. He was thinking about the lost jade pendant and key. While considering how to capture those rebellious disciples, completely ignoring the admiration on the lotus dais, Hua Wudao was still moving forward. With each step he took, another large seal character appeared around Hua Wudao, glittering with golden light, extremely gorgeous. Luo Xing, while watching Hua Wudao approaching, said, "Hua Wudao, I really didn't expect that you, as an elder of the Yun sect, would actually help the enemy. After this, I will definitely go to the Yun sect to demand justice." Hua Wudao's figure suddenly flashed, and his 8-trigram 7-leaf avatar stood tall in the sky. The Sky Sword sect disciples facing the avatar all collapsed to the ground. They were too close and completely suppressed by the avatar. The Sky Sword sect disciples tried their best but still couldn't stand up. Too strong. The 5 great elders and Luo Jingkong all looked up, their faces showing shock, while the audience gaped. 7 leaves. This is the 7-leaf avatar that many people can't achieve in their entire lives. With Hua Wudao alone, the Evil Sky Pavilion is already impossible for the Sky Sword sect to overcome. The audience buzzed with chatter. How can they even fight anymore? What's the point of fighting? The Sky Sword sect really brought this humiliation upon themselves. Just then, Ming Shiyin, standing on the cloud-piercing flying chariot, suddenly smiled and said, "Elder Hua, don't bully the small with the big like that." Hua Wudao nodded slightly and lightly tapped his toes. The avatar immediately disappeared, his whole body as light as a swallow, flying back to the flying chariot. "The difference is too big. It's not interesting to win. I'll do it." Granny Xiao Yanhair immediately flew down. The audience standing hidden around, observing, were all puzzled. What kind of trick is this? Isn't Hua Wudao alone enough? Why change people? But on the contrary, the audience were all looking forward to seeing such a scene. After all, the scene of crushing isn't interesting. Seeing the little girl Xiao Yanhair hovering in front of them, the people discussed. This is the Evil Sky Pavilion's 9th disciple, Zhu Yanhair. A dumb idiot then spoke up. Why is she carrying a bright red rag? Does she want to get married? As soon as he finished speaking, the little girl Xiao Yanhair controlled the Brahma Sea, coiling like a dragon, and swooped over. The people were so scared that their souls flew away, immediately retreating backwards. That person didn't even have time to react. And the Brahma Sea swiped quickly. He was just a cultivator who had just entered the spiritual guidance realm and was immediately slapped to death by the Brahma Sea. A miserable scream rang out, and red fluid splattered everywhere. Xiao Yanhair coldly said, "Rag, I'll smash your grave." The people who witnessed this scene couldn't help but exclaim in horror, "What a fierce little girl." Some discerning people immediately exclaimed, "Heaven-grade weapon! I didn't expect that to be a heaven-grade weapon." I've heard that there are many treasures on the Evil Sky Pavilion, and now that I've seen it with my own eyes, it's true, it's better not to be nosy. This brother is really miserable. Xiao Yanhair didn't bother to look at the audience outside the field. The Brahma Sea, like a majestic red dragon, flew back and hovered around her. Xiao Yanhair smiled slightly and looked at the people of the Sky Sword sect. And she quickly pointed her finger at Luo Jingkong. "Old man," she taunted Luo Jingkong. "Old man, I'll fight you." The Sky Sword sect disciples took a step back. Many people already felt regret. Why did they have to go head-to-head with the Evil Sky Pavilion? Even the weakest little devil in the Evil Sky Pavilion is so scary, how can they even fight? Standing among the elders behind Luo Jingkong, Luo Zhen couldn't bear it anymore and shouted, "Little girl, I'll fight you!" His surging sword broke through the air and flew over, and sword essences formed on the lotus platform. Crescent moon-shaped sword essences appeared all over the sky. Someone exclaimed, "Luo Zhen is a nascent soul realm that hasn't bloomed a leaf yet, and is considered one of the current masters of the Sky Sword sect. I heard that the Evil Sky Pavilion's 9th disciple's cultivation is only in the Shrine realm. The Sky Sword sect should be able to save some face." The cultivator was still speaking when he suddenly jerked back in shock. The actual situation was very different. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Luo Zhen is actually being suppressed. Xiao Yanhair didn't dare to be careless. She took 2 steps back, and Brahma Sea swung up to block the sword essences. Xiao Yanhair's Brahma Sea suddenly danced, and what was unexpected was that Xiao Yanhair's Brahma Sea kept attacking Luo Zhen, and he could only try his best to block the blows. Xiao Yanhair took to the skies, stepping on the Fan Tianling, her figure flashing and appearing all over the place. This is the 7 stars colorful cloud steps. Boom, boom, boom. She used the Fan Tianling to grind Luo Zhen into oblivion. Luo Zhen totally didn't expect his opponent to be so strong. His face darkened as he retreated back to the mirror platform. Just as Luo Zhen retreated into the circle of the mirror platform, his avatar suddenly lit up. One of the guys recognized the power and shouted, "Under the effect of the mirror platform, Luo Zhen's avatar will explode with leaf energy, and the power of his sword Q will skyrocket." Ming Xiyin immediately yelled out a reminder. "Junior sister, be careful." Luo Zhen, with murder in his eyes, pointed his sword straight at Xiao Yanhair, yelling, "Take my sword!" Luo Zhen stomped his feet hard, his whole body flying straight forward, holding his sword with both hands, shooting out like an arrow towards Xiao Yanhair, golden light flashing on the tip of the sword. Ming Xinyin raised his eyebrows hesitantly, wondering whether he should step in and help Xiao Yanhair. The surrounding crowd marveled. Xiao Yanhair's avatar appeared behind. Moreover, the way the avatar appeared was a bit special, looking like a child that had grown up, or rather, her avatar was a zang taller than before. Everyone gaped in shock. Does this mean her avatar is sprouting leaves? Is it possible she's sprouting leaves? Sprouting leaves in battle? Is the nascent soul realm one leaf, not the divine court realm? Xiao Yanhair's performance has changed everyone's perception of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Many people have the talent to cultivate, but only Xiao Yanhair has entered the realm of the nascent soul realm, one leaf, in less than 6 years. Unprecedented. Xiao Yanhair looked at Luo Zhen attacking. Not only did she not retreat, but she also stepped forward to meet him. Too late, Luo Zhen snorted coldly, his sword multiplying in his hand from 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8. 8 sword Q attacks. Under the influence of the mirror platform, the power of the sword increased greatly. Xiao Yanhair's wings grew out again. The surrounding crowd exclaimed, "What is that? No way! Yunsheng dance dress?" Not only is it the Yunsheng dance dress, but also cloud stepping shoes. Cloud stepping shoes combined with the 7 stars colorful cloud steps. Xiao Yanhair wielded Fan Tianling to welcome Luo Zhen's sword, Qi. Hearing the reminder, the audience noticed that Xiao Yanhair's body was emitting the blue light of clothing and shoes, and the sword Qi was completely nullified. Luo Zhen gritted his teeth and endured the pain, sweat pouring down his face like rain. At this moment, Xiao Yanhair was already in front of Luo Zhen. She smiled playfully. "You're too weak." Then she lightly kicked him in the lower jaw. Boom! Just in time to see Xiao Yanhair kick Luo Zhen away. She kicked him in the head like kicking a shuttlecock. One kick was enough to send Luo Zhen flying out of the arena, the system announced. Successfully killed a nascent Soul Realm target, gaining 1,000 merit points. Both levels of the Lotus Dais became silent. The audience swallowed a mouthful of saliva, their eyes wide open as they watched Luo Zhen fall straight to the ground. One of them exclaimed, "The dignified elder of the Heaven Sword sect was kicked to death with one kick." Luo Zhen's body lay sprawled on the ground. 2 disciples ran up to check. Elder Luo Zhen is dead. Xiao Yanxia didn't care at all. She floated in the air and beckoned to Luo Xingkong. "They can't take a beating, you come up." The 4 great elders of the Heaven Sword sect couldn't bear it any longer. Luo Xingkong ordered Elder Luo Yong, "Capture this girl. Avenge Luo Zhen." Luo Yong is one of the 5 great elders. He raised his super huge black sword with murder in his eyes. Seeing this scene, Ming Xiyin frowned. Ming Xiyin quickly flew out of the flying chariot and rushed to junior sister. "Your speed is too slow, let me handle him." Xiao Yanhair rounded her eyes and pouted. "Senior brother? I haven't fought enough yet." Ming Xiyin immediately picked up Xiao Yanhair and pushed her away. "Be good. You've shown off enough." Xiao Yanhair snorted coldly. "Let me play a little longer. My hands and feet are still itchy." The audience's eyes shifted to Ming Xiyin, presumably the 4th disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Xiao Yanhair stepped back into the flying chariot. Ming Xiyin stood with his fingers raised on the lotus platform, looking towards the Heaven Sword sect people opposite and challenged. "I'm not like my little junior sister who doesn't know how to measure. Come on." The audience now understood that the Evil Sky Pavilion not only wanted to destroy the Heaven Sword sect, but also wanted to prove to the cultivation world that the Evil Sky Pavilion was still as strong as ever, and even wanted to recreate the glory of those years. Everyone has overlooked a very important thing. What about the Great Disciple, the 2nd Disciple, and the 7th Disciple? It is true that they have left the Evil Sky Pavilion. However, the Evil Sky Pavilion still has other disciples. In this posture, they have the spirit of Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shengrong back then. Arrogant. Luo Yang held the longsword in his hand, tilted it 45 degrees. His eyes were cold, as if he had seen through life and death. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, then slowly opened his eyes again. This is Luo Yang, one of the 5 elders who is most skilled in the one-hit kill technique. It is rumored that cultivators who stand in front of him do not live more than 3 moves. The surrounding crowd gaped. Is he that strong? Very curious. After all, he is an elder of the Heaven Sword sect, and he is not afraid of death. The Evil Sky Pavilion is making a profit. Should Hua Wudao be called out to fight next? There was no expression on Luo Yang's face. He just stared at Ming Xiyin standing in front of him. The longsword shook, and the primeval essence burst out. His figure flashed, leaving behind after images. The crowd exclaimed, staring intently at this scene. Luo Yang's speed was so fast that it seemed like dozens of figures were attacking Ming Xiyin at the same time. Ming Xiyin smiled. With a strange look in his eyes, his figure flickered, and he rushed forward. The surrounding crowd was puzzled. Why is he suddenly smiling? Swish! The sound of tearing spread throughout the lotus platform. The sound of primeval essence vibrating and the sound of the sword body fluctuating suddenly stopped. What's going on? Many people with low cultivation levels could not see the moves just now. Clearly, they only felt that the 2 figures touched briefly, and stopped in an instant. The battle ended just like that. There was no gorgeous collision of Genki, no Dao seals or Dharma seals appeared, but there was a very clear tearing sound. Luo Yong's eyes widened, his whole body was motionless, and a lot of fresh blood spurted out of his mouth, the system announced. Killing a nascent Soul Realm target, rewarding 1,000 merit points. Luo Yong struggled with his last breath, his lips trembling. How could it be? This is impossible. Thump. He fell to the ground. Meanwhile, the young Ming Xinyin stood coldly with his arms crossed, indifferent as if nothing had happened. Luo Xingkong frowned and looked at Ming Xinyin. The audience was completely shocked. Wait a minute. From beginning to end, he only used 1 move. How is that possible? How? Our cultivation level is too low? We can't see how he made his move at all? Only 3 of the 5 great elders are left, and they can't do anything. Ming Xinyin's faint voice sounded. Anyone else? Failure is certain. The Heaven Sword sect is finished. Only 3 of the 5 great elders are left. What can they do now? The audience shook their heads. With the help of the mirror platform, they were still crushed like this. The cultivation world has underestimated the Evil Sky Pavilion. The remaining 3 elders are only at the peak of the Divine Court realm. How can they be the opponents of the Evil Sky Pavilion? A roadside stall vendor grabbed a flag, pointed to a seat with a good view and advertised. There is a good viewing location there. We have professional commentators. Ming Xiyin glanced at the crowd, and then opened his mouth. Luo Xingkong, you come up. An observer exclaimed. Luo Xingkong didn't move at all. Although he was extremely angry, he still sat still, as if he was waiting. waiting for an opportunity to strike. He would occasionally look up at the flying chariot. It's a pity that Lu Zhao on the flying chariot always had his eyes closed, showing that he didn't care about the world. Lu Xingkong felt extremely uncomfortable in his heart. He turned his head again and looked towards his rear. Empty. The group behind them continued drinking, and as the wine flowed, so did their gossip. How could he see that? Luo Xingkong fumed. Duan Mushang brandished his overlord's spear. Fourth junior brother, it's my turn. Ming Xiyin was speechless. You're even fighting over a fight? First come, first served. Don't be like that. I haven't shown off enough yet. Ming Xiyin's eyes darted around, then widened as he said, Third senior brother, a small-scale fight like this doesn't need you to get involved. You should be like master. These kinds of opponents would lower your status. He actually managed to say it, but these words, reaching the audience's ears, took on a different meaning. One guy, munching on sunflower seeds, blurted out, could it be that the third disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion is at the same level as the ancestral founder? This speculation is very likely true. A female cultivator with, ample assets, chimed in. After all, the eldest disciple, Yu Zhenghai, and the second disciple, the sword devil Yu Shengrong, are both top-notch cultivators of the era. Rumor has it they've already reached the 8-leaf realm. The third disciple entered the sect a long time ago, so his cultivation must be very high now. Ming Xinyin said to the people of the Heavenly Sword, sect opposite him. No one else. His voice was low, and the atmosphere became tense. Luo Xingkong turned his head to look at the 3 elders behind him. Those 3 elders unexpectedly took a step back. Damn it, how are we supposed to fight the Evil Sky Pavilion? Any random disciple they pull out can crush a Heavenly Sword Sect elder? Are they supposed to just rush forward and offer their heads to the enemy? One elder suddenly threw his longsword to the ground. I withdraw. The Lotus Dais instantly erupted in commotion and chatter. In righteous sects, betraying your sect and retreating in battle are unforgivable acts, despised by the world. The Heavenly Sword Sect, one of the 10 great sects, actually dared to do such a thing in front of the world. How could Luo Xingkong not be furious? I also give up. Another elder spoke up. 2 of the 3 elders had already tossed their longswords away. Luo Xingkong's eyes changed, and he lifted his right hand, a golden shimmering hand seal flying towards the 2 elders. The remaining elder was also about to stand up, his mouth trembling as he said, I also. Before he could finish speaking, Luo Xingkong's golden shimmering hand seal flew towards the 2 elders who had given up earlier. Boom! Red liquid splattered everywhere. The 2 elders died instantly. Luo Xingkong, without changing his expression, said, Heavenly Sword Sect elders Luo Zhang and Luo Hong betrayed the sect in battle, executed on the spot. The remaining bald elder paled and quickly sat down. The audience was filled with terrified gasps. Such ruthless methods. It seemed they had realized that the conflict between the 2 sides had reached a boiling point, signaling what was to come. Everyone looked at Luo Xingkong, whose face from beginning to end only showed coldness, anger, and hatred. Just then, a voice suddenly came from the cloud-soaring flying chariot. Sect leader Luko, what's the need for this? Everyone turned their heads to look. The one who spoke wasn't Lu Zhao, nor was it Hua Wudao, but the former eldest disciple of the Heavenly Sword Sect, Zhu Jifeng. Lu Xingkong raised his head and glared, rebuking. Traitor, first. Zhu Jifeng glanced at Lu Zhao. Lu Zhao didn't open his eyes, but simply waved his right hand, signaling him to continue. With Lu Zhao's permission, Zhu Jifeng stepped off the flying chariot. He stopped in midair, looked at the surrounding crowd, and shouted loudly, Everyone, today I need to clarify a truth. A gossipy person immediately perked up. Looks like we have drama to watch. That's just how people are. What's important isn't the fight or the outcome. Everyone strained their ears, looking at Zhu Jifeng hovering in the air. He used to be the eldest disciple of the Heavenly Sword Sect, so his words have a lot of credibility. Seeing the crowd pushing and shoving, the innkeeper announced, Guests in the back, please form a line. We still have a spot here. Zhu Jifeng's appearance made the gossiping crowd extremely excited. After all, the one-sided crushing battles from earlier weren't interesting anymore. 1 or 2 matches were impressive, but too many became boring. The Heavenly Sword Sect disciples immediately started cursing when they saw Zhu Jifeng. Zhu Jifeng, traitor of the Heavenly Sword Sect. You've already joined the Evil Sky Pavilion, yet you still have the nerve to show your face here. Traitor! You damn traitor! Since ancient times, traitors have been looked down upon by the entire cultivation world, whether it's the demonic path or the righteous path, especially in a situation where the Heavenly Sword Sect and the Evil Sky Pavilion are in conflict, and the Heavenly Sword Sect is even provoking the Evil Sky Pavilion with death. In this critical situation, what is Zhu Jifeng suddenly appearing for? Luo Xingkong raised his head and said in a deep voice, Zhu Jifeng, this old man truly regrets not telling Zhang Feng to kill you with 1 palm, to let you live until today. Zhu Jifeng turned to look at Luo Xingkong, then replied, Luo Zhangfeng nurtured me only to enhance his own cultivation realm. He killed my parents, shamed my whole family. Who am I supposed to settle this debt with? Zhu Jifeng's words, though calm in tone, were filled with abundant primordial qi, spreading throughout the Lotus Dais. The crowd whispered in discussion. Luo Zhangfeng is considered a role model for righteous sects. How could he do such a thing? Moreover, Zhu Jifeng was one of the disciples Luo Zhangfeng valued the most. The faces of the audience were filled with disbelief, but it was truly lively. This trip seems to be worthwhile after all. No way! This melon is huge. Innkeeper, another packet of sunflower seeds. Luo Jingkong immediately denied it, saying, "Nonsense. This old dog has always been upright and honest, with a clear conscience. Now that you're a member of the Evil Sky Pavilion, you dare to spout such slanderous lies?" Zhu Jifeng had long anticipated that no one would believe him, so he raised his voice and said, "My original surname is Jiang, from the Jiang family in Yizhou." Someone exclaimed, "The Jiang family? The Jiang family in Yizhou that produces cultivation geniuses every generation. Zhu Jifeng is from the Jiang family. How can this be proven?" Zhu Jifeng continued, "I have a special mark from the Jiang family on my body, and my cultivation path is completely compatible with Luo Zhangfeng." The nascent divinity realm is divided into three major realms: Dao origin, convergence origin, and harmonious Dao. Only harmonious Dao can merge two into one. Zhu Jifeng then handed the megaphone to a female cultivator. "Hold this for me, thank you. Oh, and can I borrow your sword?" The female cultivator accepted the megaphone with one hand and handed Zhu Jifeng her longsword with the other, replying, "Here, your fate is so miserable, I'll lend it to you." Zhu Jifeng then performed a few sword forms. Someone who saw this exclaimed, "The longsword in Zhu Jifeng's hand is humming." It soared up and circled a few times. As the primordial chi vibrated, the longsword transformed into several afterimages, finally merging into one. The onlookers sighed in admiration. As expected, it's the sword control technique that Luo Zhangfeng is most skilled at. No one in the heavenly sword sect has learned it, yet Zhu Jifeng can actually master it. Swish! Zhu Jifeng's longsword brushed past him, the myriad sword shadows controlled with extreme precision, the clothes on his body being cut off by this one sword. The crowd let out another gasp. Although this move wasn't very powerful, such precise and meticulous sword control was still rare. As fast as the wind, yet as light as willows, it's truly Luo Zhangfeng's cultivation path. Zhu Jifeng's bare back appeared before everyone's eyes. On his left shoulder was a long, narrow birthmark, extremely distinctive. With such a large crowd, there was bound to be someone who recognized it. Seriously, that's definitely the Jiang family's unique mark. In the Jiang family, every newborn gets this mark on their back, this birthmark, no doubt about it. A cultivator who knew a thing or two piped up. 30 years ago, the entire Jiang family was wiped out in one night. They say a swordplay master was the culprit. From atop the flying chariot, Zhu Jifeng looked around and corrected in a loud voice. "It wasn't the Evil Sky Pavilion that destroyed my family, but that so-called righteous sect. It was Luo Changfeng of the Heavenly Sword Sect." His voice echoed around Lotus Dais, his hand pointing straight at the Heavenly Sword Sect. One or two people might not believe it, but when a whole crowd says it, even those who don't believe it will gradually be convinced. I spit on that. I can't believe the Heavenly Sword Sect is so despicable. They always claim to be a righteous sect, yet they did something. Something that makes both gods and men furious. The excited and indignant onlookers condemned them, spitting everywhere. The combined mouths of the crowd could erode gold. Once they start cursing, it's 10 times worse than those 13 challenge letters. "Luo Jingkong, I'm so ashamed for you. You have such a shameless son, and you still openly demand to punish others. If I were you, I'd find a deserted place and just slit my own throat." The cultivators kept cursing Luo Jingkong as a man obsessed with face. He couldn't tolerate even a grain of sand in his eye, and wouldn't allow any disgrace to tarnish his reputation. How could he bear being humiliated by everyone? You! Luo Jingkong glared at Zhu Jifeng standing midair, staggering backward, Ptui. He was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. The disciples worriedly cried, "Sect leader!" 2 disciples rushed over, never expecting him to be angered to the point of vomiting blood. The people around didn't stop their insults. On the contrary, they mocked him even more. Serves him right. Punishment fitting the crime. Retribution. All sorts of jeers and curses made Luo Jingkong dizzy. Ming Xinyin calmly sneered. So, the old coot had internal injuries from before. Ming Xinyin continued to glance knowingly. Judging by Luo Jingkong's condition, he won't live much longer. No wonder he wanted to take revenge so quickly. Zhu Jifeng quietly looked at Luo Jingkong, then shouted, "I can't kill Luo Changfeng to avenge my family myself, so now I'll kill you." As soon as he finished speaking, Zhu Jifeng launched his attack. The longsword on Zhu Jifeng's person immediately moved dozens of sword beams neatly flying towards Luo Jingkong. Luo Jingkong lifted his hand and pointed. With a light tap, the sword beams and Zhu Jifeng's sword spun 180 degrees and shot back toward Zhu Jifeng. The lean camel is bigger than a horse. Even if Luo Jingkong was angered to the point of triggering his old wounds, a divine court realm cultivator like Zhu Jifeng couldn't possibly bully him. Seeing this scene, Zhu Jifeng's face turned deathly pale. Too frightened, the young man could only stand rooted to the spot. Boom! A dharmic body suddenly appeared in front of Zhu Jifeng, blocking all of Luo Jingkong's attacks. Ming Xiyin said with a smile, "Your opponent is me." An unlucky pig had an incoming sword stuck in its butt, and it complained in pain. "Holy moly, what bad luck!" Luo Jingkong's eyes seemed to burn with fire. "You can block my attack." Ming Xiyin waved his hand dismissively. Trisk, they're right. You really are shameless, old man." Luo Jingkong turned his head to look at Lu Zhuao and said coldly, You killed my son, and I'll kill your disciple. That seems fair. He no longer looked at Lu Zhao but focused on Ming Xiyin floating in midair. Luo Jingkong held up his right hand, and narrow streaks of primal chi appeared between his fingers. A treasured sword suddenly flew out from the row behind him, Bipe sword. The Bipe sword spun in Luo Jingkong's palm. Luo Jingkong and the sword suddenly burst into flames. Luo Jingkong then jumped and soared into the air. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. Sword beams formed a storm-like assault. Luo Jingkong put in even more effort. You're just at the one-leaf stage. How dare you challenge me? Nearby, a chubby guy exclaimed. That's a heaven-grade weapon. Fancy weapon, huh? Ming Xiyin retracted his dharmic body and descended. Boom, boom, boom. The separation hook appeared. The youth Ming Xiyin's eyes were just as fierce as the old man's. Suddenly, Ming Xiyin broke through the sword beams. Dodging and darting forward, the separation hook slashed straight ahead. Luo Jingkong slightly lifted his hand, and the collision of ki created a shocking sound. Luo Jingkong quickly retreated. The surrounding crowd, witnessing the intense situation, couldn't stop exclaiming. Amazing! That close-quarters attack was excellent! No wonder he's a disciple of the evil sky pavilion. He knows to avoid the sharp edge and play to his strengths. This close-quarters attack is no joke. Under the influence of the heaven-grade weapon separation hook, Luo Jingkong had to take several steps back to barely stabilize his body. Ming Xiyin stood upright and smiled. Who told you I'm only at the one-leaf stage? Luo Jingkong raised an eyebrow. 2 leaves wouldn't make a difference either. Ming Xiyin smiled again. Who told you I'm only at the 2-leaf stage? The audience was shocked. But when Ming Xiyin looked down, the circle emitting a golden light under his feet shone again. The circle under the ground unexpectedly grew larger and larger, perfectly encompassing Ming Xiyin. It's the Buddhist's mirror platform again. There's a Buddhist expert around here. The mirror platform is considered a type of formation that can only be used once after being set up. If you want to continue using it, a Buddhist master nearby must cast the spell. This proves that there's a Buddhist master hiding in the shadows, assisting the Heavenly Sword sect. Seeing this circle of light, Ming Xiyin couldn't help but wonder, is this the backing the Heavenly Sword sect has to set up a life and death arena? At the same time, behind Luo Jingkong, suddenly about 10 people flew over. A voice echoed, seek tolerance and magnanimity. The crowd standing around the lotus platform were all attracted, and the nuns of the Yunzhao nunnery around them let out bursts of exclamations. More than 10 nuns descended and bowed to the group. This humble one is Wu Senian of Yunzhao nunnery. Greetings to all benefactors. The appearance of Dharma Master Wunian of Yunzhao nunnery silenced the entire lotus platform. The fatty nearby exclaimed in shock. With such help from the Heavenly Sword sect, the outcome is still uncertain. Po Wu Dao turned his head to look at Lu Zhao, who was closing his eyes to rest, and said softly, Did Pavilion Master know? Lu Zhao still didn't open his eyes and said, Of course. Lu Zhao was already mentally prepared for the opponent to have support, and not just one group. Lu Zhao Jingkong clasped his hands at Wu Zhaonian. Thank you, Dharma Master, for your assistance. No one expected Yunzhao nunnery to choose to help the Heavenly Sword sect. Wu Nian looked at Luo Jingkong, one hand clasped in front of her chest, gently chanting a Buddhist mantra and waving her horsetail whisk. Under Luo Jingkong's feet, a light blue circle of light appeared, sparkling with specks of light. The fat guy quickly recognized it as the Buddhist's healing technique, universal salvation. Luo Jingkong was very moved and spoke again. Thank you, Dharma Master. Wu Shenyan nodded slightly and turned to look at Ming Xiyin, saying, Benefactor, this humble nun has been observing in the pavilion over there for a long time. The Heavenly Sword sect has been seriously injured. The Nether sect bullying the weak with their strength is not the way of a gentleman. Ming Xiyin grinned. Haha, why are you talking to me about the way of a gentleman? Am I a gentleman? I just like bullying the weak with my strength, so what? If you're not convinced, come and fight me. After saying that, Ming Xiyin looked up at his master. I freaking love this feeling of a dog relying on its master's power. Wu Tianyan replied, Benefactor, why must your words be so vulgar? Justice resides in the hearts of people. Where there's smoke, there's fire. This humble nun couldn't bear to watch any longer, so I came out to discuss the principles with you. Ming Xiyin rolled his eyes. Another nun who likes to preach principles. Wu Sinian continued. This humble nun only wants to settle things peacefully, and does not want to aggravate the situation. Ming Xiyin laughed. Why didn't you come out when he was beating up people from the Nether sect just now? Now you're running out to protect your little sweetheart. Wu Kanian was speechless upon hearing this, as she was extremely angry. Wu Kanian was a master of Yunzhao nunnery, and had always been respected and praised by the world, so how could she endure such humiliation? Just as she was about to get angry, Wu Kanian, the call suddenly entered the ears of everyone around the lotus platform, and they all heard the sound very clearly. The sound came from the cloud-piercing flying chariot. The crowd looked up. Dharma Master Wunian looked up, a trace of surprise appearing on her old face, and then immediately said, Old benefactor. Lu Zhao slowly opened his eyes and stood up, stepped to the edge of the flying chariot, put his hands behind his back, and observed the scene below. Lu Zhao asked, You recognize this seat? Wu Xinian shook her head. First time meeting you. Lu Zhao continued to ask, How is Jingyan doing lately? Does the old benefactor know my master? Wu Zhanian was shocked in her heart, and her voice became excited. Lu Zhao sighed and said, It is the teacher's fault for not teaching strictly. How can Jingyan have a disciple like you who can't distinguish right from wrong? Wu Xinian glared in surprise. Why did the old benefactor say these words? This Siat originally thought that bestowing the jade whisk to Jingyan would allow her to cultivate in peace and manage Yunzhao nunnery. What a pity. Speaking of the 3 words Jade Whisk, Wu Minian's expression immediately changed. The Jade Whisk comes from the Nether sect. The crowd immediately burst into an uproar. Seeing Wu Jianyan's unsightly face, Luo Jingkong quickly said, Dharma Master, don't be deceived by this old devil, help me. Lu Xingkong stood in front of Wu Nian, looked up at Lu Zhao. Too arrogant, old devil, do you think this old man is afraid? Lu Zhao looked at the pavilions around him. He had always wondered where the other person hiding in the shadows, helping the Heavenly Sword sect, was hiding. Isn't he showing himself? This seat thought that you, as the former sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect, would be able to distinguish right from wrong, but the events that just happened on the Lotus platform have greatly disappointed this seat. Lu Zhao's voice was both strong and gentle, calm and full of righteousness and morality, but he exterminated the entire clan, claiming to be the righteous path but speaking vulgar words, and still does not know himself or others, stubbornly believes that he is right, and all the faces of the sect leaders of the Heavenly Sword sect have been lost by you, old fool. You, Luo Jingkong, suddenly felt a tightness in his chest, especially since these words came from Luo Zhao's mouth. The killing power was even strong. Ming Shiyin seized the opportunity to add another knife. Could it be that you don't know everyone is laughing in your face? Laughter spread from all around the Lotus platform. Does anyone care if you are righteous or demonic? A famous sect or a small sect? They only remember the acts that Luo Changfeng committed that made people despise him. Right now, all Luo Jingkong heard was cold laughter from all sides, and the insults just kept getting worse. Luo Jingkong, what a waste of living for so damn long. You can't even beat someone else's disciple, yet you dare to challenge their master? You're shameless. This old geezer thinks way too highly of himself. He's just an old, weak dog barking nonsense. Utterly shameless. Tui. Luo Jingkong's eyes went wide, and all the air that had been building up in his chest forced out a mouthful of blood. Sect leader. Sect leader. The Heavenly Sword sect disciples cried out in worry. Luo Jingkong's eyes were bugging out like they were about to pop, and his chest heaved violently. Seeing this, Abbot Wu Nian immediately said, Amitabha, quickly, stand back. The Heavenly Sword sect disciples took a step back. Wu Nian waved her jade whisk, and a faint blue light fell on Luo Jingkong. Tui? He spat out another mouthful of blood. Ming Xinying clicked his tongue and shook his head, saying, he's suffering from chi deviation due to anger. A healing technique like the Qihang Universal Rescue will only kill him faster. Hearing this, Abbot Wu Nian quickly glanced at him, then withdrew her jade whisk. 10 nuns stepped forward, surrounding Luo Jingkong, placing their palms together in a salute, and chanted, Sutras. The sutras were extremely difficult to understand. Purification mantra. I will send you off. I send you far away. Ming Xiyin choked on a laugh. Old geezer, don't bother trying to hold on. What's the point? If you live, you'll just keep getting humiliated by the world. You, Luo Jingkong gasped for breath. Death ends all debts. And you won't have to worry about anything anymore. Take my advice. Close your eyes, and go on your way. Anyway, you have no chance of beating my master. This way is good too. You'll be the first opponent Maltianges makes die of anger. It's kinda glorious, you know? Tui. Luo Jingkong's chi was in chaos from his rage, and his meridians burst, red liquid shooting upward in a long spray. He immediately breathed his last, his head lolling to the side, and he collapsed to the ground. The entire lotus dais became deathly silent. The nuns chanting the purification mantra also stopped. The audience looked blank, not understanding what had just happened. The former sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect, Luo Jingkong, just died of anger like that. It was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Lu Xiao heard the system notification that he'd received 500 merit points. Looks like Lu Jingkong really was angered to death by Ma Tiange. Lu Zhujiao really didn't expect Lu Jingkong to die like this. He didn't even have a chance to make a move. He feared this would become the biggest joke in the cultivation world ever. Ming Xiyin innocently said loudly, Don't look at me, everyone. How is this my fault? I was just giving him some good advice. Amitabha. Malicious words wound people. This humble nun has done her best. Wu Nian sighed softly, then turned to look at the 10 nun disciples and said calmly, Let's go. Lu Zhuhao suddenly spoke out. You can't leave. Wu Nian and the nuns were stunned. The disciples understood his meaning. The first to move was Duanmu Sheng, who had been holding back for so long. Duanmu Sheng waved his hand, raised the Overlord spear high, and threw it with all his might. The Overlord spear was enveloped in Gang Kui, the tip of the spear glimmering with light, tearing through the sky. Any discerning person would know with one glance that this was a top-grade, heaven-tier weapon. Even heaven-tier weapons had different grades, but there wasn't a clear ranking system for them in the cultivation world. For example, Yu Shengrong's longevity sword could cut off Zhuo Ping's twin hero swords, from which you could tell the differences. Moreover, only cultivators at the nascent divinity realm could control the heaven-tier weapons. 1 leaf is just the door. Only at 5 leaves are you considered among the powerhouses. Strength and cultivation base combined well with weapons can bring out the greatest power. So when Duanmu Sheng threw the spear, a burst of thunderous applause erupted. The Overlord spear carried a stream of Gang Kuis and plunged straight into the ground in front of Abbot Wu Nian. Taking the spear tip as the center, cracks appeared on the ground extending for more than 10 meters. At the same time, Xiao Yanher tossed out the Brahma sea silk. The brilliant red silk stretched out into a path. She walked on the Brahma sea silk and appeared in front of the nuns. This grandma shouted loudly. My turn. Wu Nian glanced back. Ming Xinyin crossed his arms, casually walked over to the nearest pillar and slammed the departure hook fiercely into the pillar. A grin filled the corner of his eye as he whispered to himself. The audience became even more excited. Perhaps because of the opponent's identity, their excitement was even higher than before. After the affair with Heavenly Sword Sect's Luo Jingkong, most people felt disgusted by the Heavenly Sword Sect's ways of doing things, and the nuns of the Yunzao Temple seemed hypocritical and annoying to everyone. Wu Nian asked in confusion, Amitabha, what does this old benefactor mean by this? Lu Zhao stood on the flying chariot looking down at Abbot Wu Nian, his gaze falling on the jade whisk in her hand. Leave the jade whisk and cripple your cultivation, then you can leave. Abbot Wu Nian and the nuns were speechless. Lu Zhao's voice was unhurried, neither loud nor soft, as if he were saying something very ordinary and unremarkable. But because of Lu Zhao's identity, everyone fell silent and listened when he spoke. Although Lu Zhao did not use primordial ki to transmit his voice, everyone could hear him clearly. Wu Nian appeared innocent. Old benefactor, Yunzao Temple, and Ma Tiange have no grudges. Why must you target this humble nun? Lu Zhao sighed and shook his head, not bothering to question her, but simply said, Did Jingyan never tell you? Abbot Wu Nian didn't understand. Her intuition told her that the sect leader of the Ma Tiange on the flying chariot had a special relationship with her master, Jingyan. She entered Yunzao Temple from a young age and grew up there, taking Jingyan as her teacher. But in the past 100 years, she had never heard her master mention Ma Tiange even once. Abbot Wu Nian put one hand in front of her chest. Old benefactor, this humble nun is confused. Please explain clearly, Lu Zhao scolded. Shameless! Lu Zhao could know about this because of Jian Tiandao's memories. Recalling the events that happened 100 years ago, Jian Tiandao's memory of this was extremely clear, but unfortunately things had changed and the scenery was no longer the same. Wu Jianyan questioned. Old benefactor, why the name-calling? The 10 nuns behind Wu Nian immediately formed a battle formation, surrounding Dharma Master Wu Nian in the center. Wu Nian muttered scriptures. The 10 nuns of the Buddhist sect also put one hand in front of their chests, chanting. Dharma Master Wu Nian sighed and said to Lu Zhao, Although this humble nun does not know what the relationship between the old benefactor and my teacher is, this humble nun has a clear conscience. If this humble nun could invite the old benefactor to Yunzao nunnery, this humble nun would be willing to discuss the Tao with the old benefactor. Farewell. Wu Nian and the group of nuns decided to leave together. With the formation protecting them, circles appeared under the feet of the 10 nuns, which was an upgraded version of the Mingjing stage that could move with their steps. There were complex patterns and unique energy fluctuations within the circle. The square-faced cultivator pointed and said loudly, This is one of the most commonly used tricks, and also the most difficult auxiliary trick of the Buddhist sect. The 10 of them float in the air, with Wu Nian as the center. A halo covers all 10 of them, and then they fly up. Duanmu Sheng snorted lightly and stepped into the air, arriving instantly. The Overlord's spear on the ground was quickly drawn in by a surge of energy, emitting a buzzing vibration. Whoosh! The Overlord's spear flew back into Duanmu Sheng's hand. Duanmu Sheng thrust forward with his spear. This is Duanmu Sheng, the third disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion. It is said that he cultivates the Heaven One technique with extreme domineering ferocity. Seeing it with my own eyes today, the rumors are indeed true. The circle lit up. Boom! The Overlord's spear struck the halo. The 10 of them continued to fly up. Duanmu Sheng glared and shouted, 100 Tribulation Cave Illumination! The 2-leaf golden lotus dharma body appeared beside him, the 2 lotus petals rapidly spinning. The speed was so fast that it looked like 10 petals combined into one. Dharma Master Wu Nian shook her head and sighed, Amitabha, let us all board the small boat and cleave through the waves. Dharma Master Wu Nian frowned. Amitabha, break! The jade whisk suddenly emitted a burst of light, and grains of Gangqi fell from within the halo like a torrential rain. The chanting of the 10 nuns grew louder and louder. This novel fighting style of the Buddhist sect shocked everyone, leaving them gaping in astonishment. A pillar of Gangqi shot towards Duanmu Sheng's 100 Tribulation Cave Illumination. Everyone focused their attention on Duanmu Sheng, the third disciple of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Duanmu Sheng swept the Overlord spear horizontally. Bang bang bang, the Dharma body blocked the rain of Gangqi, but due to the force of the impact, Duanmu Sheng had no choice but to descend. When he landed, his 2 feet stomped hard on the marble floor, causing stone fragments to fly everywhere, and huge cracks appeared on the ground. The audience all retreated, but their eyes remained fixed on the sky. Let me! Hua Yuexing stood on the roof of the flying chariot, drawing his bow. Hua Yuexing shot an arrow, his Gangqi flowing like water and clouds. Boom! A loud explosion rang out. The square-faced cultivator exclaimed, There's even an archer! The Evil Sky Pavilion is too heaven-defying. Although this arrow could not break the Mingjing stage of the Buddhist sect, the power of this arrow is probably at the nascent soul realm. As soon as he finished speaking, 10 more Gangqi arrows shot out, streaking through the air with 10 golden lights. The nuns and Wu Nian continued to maintain their defensive formation. At this moment, Zhao Yan'er and Ming Shiyin also rushed forward like lightning. The scarlet heaven-splitting silk bloomed in the sky like a rose, attracting the attention of most of the cultivators. Ming Shiyin's eyes were firm, and the separation hook in his hand shone with a strange color. Ming Shiyin, Zhao Yan'er, and Duanmu Sheng all charged towards Wu Nian. Seeing this scene, Dharma Master Wu Nian let out a soft hum and said, You are seeking death, Amitabha. Her eyes flashed with killing intent, and 4 Buddhist Dharma seals flew out from the jade whisk. The 10 nuns suddenly scattered, forming a large circle. The halo under their feet was stretched out, becoming extremely large, almost covering the entire center of the lotus platform. The energy in the halo poured down below like a flood. Wu Nian muttered, "Another little girl. A pretty little girl. Her name is." Immediately after, Wu Nian unleashed the skill Boundless Sea of Suffering. The sound of chanting scriptures concentrated in one place. A feeling of suffering enveloped the surroundings, causing those nearby to fall into a state of mental and physical exhaustion. Ming Shiyin, Zhao Yan'er, and Duan Musheng were all enveloped by this energy and could not advance. Just as Hua Wudao was about to get up, Lu Zhao, who was sitting next to him, raised his hand to stop him. Lu Zhao took out a card-type item and said coldly, "I will personally reap the consequences of the karma that I have sown." Hua Wudao nodded slightly and stepped aside. The observing cultivator commented, "The Evil Sky Pavilion's ancestor is finally about to make a move." All the cultivators behind them stood up. Lu Zhao stepped into the void and flew out of the cloud-piercing flying chariot. Everyone's eyes immediately focused on Lu Zhao. The aura on his body was not strong. He slightly raised his hand and said, "Shameless." A low and powerful hum reverberated throughout the lotus platform, reaching the ears of Dharma Master Wu Nian and her nuns. They saw Lu Zhao stepping into the air and appearing, and their hearts immediately tightened. The Evil Sky Pavilion's ancestor has finally made his move. Lu Zhao gently waved his sleeve, flicking forward in a relaxed and unhurried manner. The space slightly trembled, and primordial energy gathered in the palm of his hand, as if space itself was twisting. A giant bind character, as large as a hand, rapidly shot forward. Some discerning people recognized the origin of this bind character at a glance. Binding Curse! This binding curse flew even faster than Hua Yuexing's Gangqi arrows. There was no grand display, nor was there any dazzling light. Bang! The bind character, looking like a shooting star, effortlessly flew through the halo of energy, piafed. Before anyone could react, the binding curse struck Dharma Master Wu Nian. How is this possible? Wu Nian cried out in pain, her mouth filled with fresh blood, and the chanting stopped immediately. The cultivator in front exclaimed in horror. The nuns couldn't withstand the backlash of energy, and were all blown away, spitting out blood. Bodhi is not a tree, nor is the mirror a stand. The greater the power of the Mingjing stage, the more energy it requires. Without Dharma Master Wu Nian in the center transmitting energy, their technique was like a building with its support pillar removed. No matter how large the structure, its fate was only collapse. The energy dissipated outwards and then disappeared. The nuns were blown hundreds of meters away, and the cultivators behind them clamored, "Don't block our view of the show." Seeing Wu Nian fall, Ming Xinyin cursed in disbelief. "What kind of trickery is this again? I'm out." He stepped into the air to dodge. Dharma Master Wu Nian's expression changed drastically. She wanted to mobilize the primordial energy in her body, but found that her body was empty, without any trace of energy fluctuation. When the energy circle dissipated, it was also the moment she fell straight to the ground. Xiao Yan'er retracted the heaven-splitting silk, and Duan Musheng's overlord spear suddenly changed direction, turning and plunging straight into the ground. Clang! Duan Musheng stood on the end of the spear, his face unchanged, and watched Dharma Master Wu Nian fall. Bang! Dharma Master Wu Nian's entire body crashed onto the marble floor, kicking up dust everywhere. Cultivators, without cultivation, could only fall straight to the ground. With her current level of physical condition, Wu Nian's entire body was like a lump of iron slamming hard on the ground, creating a human-shaped crater on the lotus platform. It was deathly silent. The audience rubbed their eyes, unable to believe what they were seeing. The #1 expert of Yunzhao nunnery was laid flat by the Evil Sky Pavilion's ancestor with a single strike. A cultivator raised a large sign, "Line up if you want to see the next good show." Meanwhile, Lu Zhao remained perfectly calm, as if he hadn't expended much effort at all. Hua Wudao exclaimed in admiration, "Pavilion Master's methods have truly broadened my horizons." Hua Wudao was also considered to be knowledgeable. This binding curse technique was almost impossible to execute without extremely high cultivation, let alone with Dharma Master Wu Nian being strengthened by the Mingjing stage. Pavilion Master is too strong. Whoosh! With a flicker, Lu Zhao left the flying chariot. Lu Zhao descended from mid-air, one hand behind his back, the other stroking his beard. The crowd around him didn't even dare to breathe, their eyes wide open as they stared at the #1 demonic master below. Wu Nian was sprawled out next to a pile of rubble, her horsetail whisk flung not far away. Her eyes were filled with fear and disbelief. A thread of blood trickled from the corner of her lips, her face was pale, and her lips trembled uncontrollably. She tried to push herself up but couldn't move an inch. Jade whisk. Lu Zhu flicked his hand slightly, and the jade whisk flew into his palm. The system notification popped up. Jade whisk retrieved. Requires re-refining before use. Lu Zhao recalled the events from 100 years ago. Although these were just Ji Tiandao's memories, they felt like his own, leaving a very clear aftertaste, as if he had fallen into a strange realm. At that time there was a nun holding an alms bowl, begging Ji Tiandao. "Benefactor, give me a coin and I won't bother you," Ji Tiandao coldly and decisively replied with one word. "Get lost." On Yunzhao Peak, the nun kept pestering him. "Will you give or not?" Ji Tiandao was still very decisive. "No, I'll leave immediately if you give me a coin." Debating scriptures on Yunzhao Peak, watching the moon on Ziha Mountain, fishing at Baiye Lake, every scene flashed vividly before Lu Zhao's eyes. The nun continued to say, "Amitabha, if Benefactor Jian doesn't give, you will go to hell," Jian Tiandao still insisted. "Scram, don't bother me." As if thinking of something, Lu Zhao asked, "Is Jing Yan still well?" Wu Nian's eyes widened as she looked at the old man in front of her. My teacher has long since passed away. Hearing the words passed away, Lu Xiao's attitude remained calm. Lu Xiao sighed softly. Birth, old age, sickness, and death. The cycle of reincarnation. There is no reason in this world for all living beings to be reincarnated. Living is the greatest principle. Xiao Yanher saw that her master seemed troubled, and she was secretly surprised. Since joining the Evil Sky Pavilion, she had never heard of her master having any friends, male or female. Now, suddenly, a former female mage appeared. According to her master, the relationship between the two was not bad. Lu Zhao being like this suddenly surprised all three of his disciples. Xiao Yanker curiously raised her head and asked, Master, who exactly is Jing Yan? Lu Zhao didn't answer her, but looked at Wu Nian and opened his mouth to ask, Who ordered you to meddle in my affairs? Wu Nian shook her head. No one ordered me. This poor nun accepts defeat. I accept defeat. Lu Zhuo keenly noticed her choice of words. Gamble. What gamble? Betting on which side is still standing on the lotus dais. Betting on whether the Heaven Sword sect wins or the Evil Sky Pavilion fails. Wu Nian coughed and spat out another mouthful of blood. She tried to support herself on the ground again. Russell. Finally, using all her strength, she managed to crawl out of the pit. Seeing Wu Nian's miserable state, the audience was secretly shocked, swallowing their saliva in amazement. The methods of the #1 demonic master of the time were unexpectedly so terrifying. Lu Jukao continued to ask, Where is Jing Yan buried? Wu Nian immediately replied, Near Yunzhao Peak, inside Baiye Lake. Lu Zhao was silent for a moment. Then he shook his head and said indifferently, I remember that the Jade Whisk recognized Jing Yan as its master. How did it fall into your hands? Answer honestly. If there is one lie, then next year on this day will be your death anniversary. Wu Nian's whole body trembled slightly. She originally thought that with her ability, even if she wasn't a match for the Evil Sky Pavilion, she could at least leave comfortably without having to look at their faces. Now she realized how ridiculous her thoughts were. Wu Nian said in a low voice, After my teacher passed away, this poor nun had no choice but to take over as the abbess of Yunzhao Nunnery. The jade whisk was bestowed upon this poor nun by my teacher. After speaking, Wu Nian cowered. Lu Zhao looked at Wu Nian and said, Shameless thing, how could Jing Yan have a disciple like you? Wu Nian was silent. She had no more words to say. Lu Zhao put his hands behind his back and said indifferently, I